It's time! Day 2. Prince Cup Winter Invitational. Here we
Travelers,
go.
welcome back yet again. We are back at the Cat's Tail Tavern.
Ew.
There's Prince, baby! That's what we're here for. You are here for the Prince Cup Winter Invitational Day 2.
It's time.
Oh, Day 1 was so much fun, but Day 2, it's time to get serious.
We're
It's
here
time
for
to get
Prince and
try
Prince
hard.
only.
Welcome back to the tavern, my friends. My name is Slex, and I will be your host for today as we have brought together, yet again, the best Genshin Impact Genius Invocation players in the entire world for your viewing pleasure. Now, yesterday, you guys helped us out by creating a bunch of decks with specific characters that they got to earn by winning those games with a little bit of challenges of our own. However, today, they've won their characters. It's time for them to build some try-hard decks and go head-to-head in one of the best Genshin Impact Genius Invocation events you will ever see. But before we can get started with our best of 7 here today, I figure we should check in with our teams. So let's go ahead and welcome to the stage from Team Astra, aka Blue Team, and Joggy. Come on up again, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Oh, your team
I'm here
claps
for
you.
Kat.
They're so proud of you.
Me too.
Now, yesterday, the Blue Team
I'm also
absolutely
here for
dumpstered
Kat.
all of our challenges. You guys
The
did
gamer
a fantastic
pose.
job on
The arm
most of
cross
them.
is the classic
You
gamer
guys got some
pose.
pretty meta cards. How was the deck building process for you yesterday?
We definitely tried to make all 7 decks good rather than making 5 very good decks and maybe 2 suboptimal decks. So hopefully every match we have a chance to win.
All right, are the folks feeling recovered? Are you guys ready to play today? I mean, yesterday was a long day of varied challenges, you know?
Yeah, my team feels ready. Yep.
How long were you guys making decks last night?
2-3 hours.
2 or 3 hours? And then you did it for about 8 hours before the show today because you procrastinated, correct?
Sure.
He
Okay,
said
fantastic.
sure.
So, are you ready to go head-to-head against Robot Wizard? Now, I know that you guys are both the captains of your teams, but you guys have the first series today. You've elected to go head-to-head and take the captains on. Is this something that you're excited for? You guys have a lot of history. You've played once against each other before.
Well, so I do have a 100% win rate against him, but I do have a 0% win rate at invitationals. So we'll see which one is right today.
Oh, I hope to indeed.
Do you guys
This
see the
should
pinned
be
message at the top?
Extremely exciting as we get ready to go. Now, give me a preview here. Is there any deck that we should be excited
Yes?
for? Do you
Okay.
have one in particular that you're
Cool.
excited to play today? And if it's too much information, you don't have to say. But do we have one that should at least be fun?
I guess the most unique one would be the first and the last.
Oh, all right. Well, don't go anywhere for our first and our last.
Cool,
but
cool, cool.
first, may I introduce you to your opponent, the captain of our red team, Team Carnival. Let's bring him up, Robot Wizard, to the
Hi, Zack
stage.
Attack.
Welcome back, Robot Wizard. Your team did not clap for you. Thoughts?
I mean, we're all pretty defeated already.
Oh, Robot Wizard! No. This is what he does.
Don't
Every
lose
single time he's
hope.
been on the stage, he's like, I'm no good. You know, we're not going to do it. And then he lulls his enemies into a false sense of security and destroys them.
Was
Is that
he?
the plan today?
I will say that was actually partially the plan, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, I know that you guys didn't do too well on the pre-made challenges, but when it came to playing with the
Hopium.
Twitch decks, you guys absolutely destroyed yesterday. A lot of variety, a lot of creativity. So, now that you guys have that creativity under your belt, you've worked your way with some characters that you got through the draft. Confidence level, be real.
A 4 out of 10.
Okay, that's better. Yesterday, he said less than 10%. I'm not good at math, but that sounds better, my friend. With your creativity, did you give any speeches to Team Carnival? Have you pumped them up?
I think I've made things worse.
All right, fantastic. Well, much like my life, that is what happens almost every time I talk to any human being. However, today is the day where the two captains come together. Now, I know you guys have this bitter rivalry. I know how much you both just absolutely despise. No, you guys are actually friends. But any words for your enemy captain?
Don't make me look too bad.
Okay, Robot Wizard.
Don't make me look too bad.
Okay. Well, I think you both look absolutely great. So before we get started here, I'm going to need you to put behind all of your past grudges and have a gracious handshake Yes. Wow. Look at that. Okay, get to the stations, my friends. We're about to get going on game 1 of our potential 7 games here today. And who better to walk us through this incredible event than the professor himself, Mr. Blep and Windflower Leia. Up to you, our casters.
Thanks so much, Slacks. Welcome back to the Winter Invitational. My name is Leah, aka Windflower Leah, Lore Keeper and Resident Bard.
This is Blep, Dean of Invocation Academy at Blep the Cat on YouTube. I'm so excited for today.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am pumped for this. Is a great format.
It really is. Like, you know, the first day yesterday was pretty fun. There were a lot of unconventional things that we saw, both in the actual gameplay and like the
Here we
structure of the
go.
challenges.
Actually,
like, that second challenge with the drawing was so chaotic.
Oh my god.
Tears in my
more
eyes.
excited about today because
we're
it's
getting
going to be the
into something a
showdown.
little bit more competitive, right?
Yes, very much.
Yes.
I mean, you could see, you know, watching these
Yay.
players between day 1 and day 2, you can see the gears kind of
I
turning
love
in their head. They were laughing and
competitiveness.
smiling and having fun
It's
day
nice.
1, but as soon as everything came down, you know, they got their cards, they got to their deck building, the stakes were in, you know, they're playing for real prizes. They are serious.
So, day 2 overview. Rules: 2 teams will compete in a best of 7 series, which means one team has to win 4 games in order to basically win the entire prize, right? Each team must use a different deck of character cards for every game selected from their day 1 card collection, which basically means, you know, those cards that they drafted into their respective teams yesterday, they went and built decks. They can't have any overlap. There's no overlap between teams or within the decks. So, yeah. This is Team Astra. Of course, I am repping Team
They
Astra
win
wearing the blue
glory.
shirt today. So Jackie is our team
Glory
captain, who's also
and
the Southeast
honor.
Asia Prince Cup winner. Very, very, very excited to see. I think this first game is actually against the other team captain.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, they
I think
played
they get,
together on.
well, the
kind of
last
just practicing
event, they
together, but
won, like,
officially
these
speaking on this stage here
gift
in
bags.
LA, you know,
I'm
they've
not
both
sure
played on
about
big
this
stages
one,
before,
actually.
so they're used to it, but against each other, not yet. And of course, Team Carnival, the one we are representing here in the red here with Zero, Robot Wizard, Atoncha, aka Lumi, and Rev. Definitely the underdogs. I know I looked over the chat from yesterday's stream. You know, there was a lot of Carnival fans in the chat, so shout out to all of you guys. Hashtag Justice for Sino.
I see your strategy. You guys are saying that you're the underdogs. Both you and the team captain are like, oh, it's doomed. But I feel like there's going to be a good showing today.
I know the first
So, yes,
time Robot
game
Wizard
schedule.
won several
Game one
$1,000s.
is our
Oh,
team
okay.
captains, Injaki versus
That's cool.
Robot Wizard. Game
Oh,
2,
here it
Ichigo
is, the
versus
schedule.
Rev. Game 3 is Doom versus Otomcha, aka Lumi. And Game 4 is Birdie against Zero. And then, of course, you know, if the winner has not been decided by then, we will go on to 5, 6, and 7. But those decks, just immediately looking at those character cards, did they match your predictions at all?
Yeah, we both had a chance to try and predict them. I actually did. So Team Astra had a very stacked side. I managed to predict a
Oh,
couple
no one's
of their
playing
decks,
that
except
one
for a
meta
couple of
deck.
card choices. Like Inzaghi said, they chose to make the average deck stronger rather than focusing all their strength into a single deck. Definitely a good strategy
I see.
for a best of 7. But you'll really notice that there aren't that many
Best of
we would say
7.
traditionally
Here
meta
we
decks.
go.
You probably don't recognize any of those decks on that list. That's because there's so much restriction going into how to build these decks with basically
No one
half of the
playing your.
card
It's
pool,
not
and
even
also
my
consider
deck.
you're building decks
The
against
deck
your
I'm
opponent
playing
with
is
a
just,
restricted card pool
or
as well.
was playing was just
You're
one of the
seeing
most
Jackie's
meta things
player
ever.
profile. Winner in
Apparently,
Castle's
I don't
Gathering
even.
Asia
I don't
Season
even know.
2. Also, winner in Astro Carnival, the Prince Cup
Shao
C,
Hyper.
tournament, as I mentioned earlier. The first deck he's
Interesting.
playing today is Bennett, Shao, and Raiden, which is not the deck that we thought he would be
No.
bringing today. Yesterday, we were anticipating he would bring the deck that he said in his player interview was the favorite one. Bennett, Yoimiya, Child, Vape, I believe. But
Yep.
we are not seeing that today. There is Bennett, but
Yeah.
Shao and Raiden instead.
I mean, I think he's actually played this deck before. He's kind of switched over from that Child one-turn kill deck. It's a very similar deck. Both decks play a similar style where you're getting your Bennett burst down, going to combo off in one turn, but this just replaces Child, who used to have you know, King Squire, with Shao, who recently got Moon Piercer.
Here we have Robot Wizard's player profile. Winner in Astro Carnival, the Prince Cup NA. Winner in Cattail's Gathering NA Season 3. And also Asia Season 4. So he has won multiple regions. What do you have to say about the deck choice that he has? I see Baishu,
Yeah.
Cube, and Klee.
It is very unusual. Baizu, of course, being a new card. The deck actually contains a ton of new cards, which is why the list last update has been so impactful. You know, it's enabled all of these different decks. We'll hopefully see them showcased here And it's so cool with that graphic as well. But yeah, I'm always excited to see Cube. Cube is obviously both you and our favorite cards.
Whenever Cube shows up, we have to play rock,
So
paper,
what is
scissors.
this
and
one,
whenever
D?
Cube
What do you
uses
mean?
It's rock, paper, scissors combo. We have to play rock, paper, scissors. So for those of you watching at home, your chat interaction
Dude, I'm
for
such a
today is
noob.
keeping track of who wins rock, paper, scissors.
I'm a noob.
Also, Baishu? Baishu?
I think we're ready to go back to the stage for and maybe interview with the players.
We are coming
Let's
back.
go.
It is time, my friends. It is time to get this game started. We got that bad Bennett coming out from Team Astra and Cube! Cube, Robot Wizard! Can we
Oh, I
give
thought you were asking me about a
Cube?
deck. What is this?
Cube!
This is the Prince Cup Day 2 Winter
Cube!
Invitational
Here we go,
Astra
my friends.
Carnival
Game one,
Invic
best of
Genius
7.
Invocation
Are you
TCG.
Are you ready? Okay,
The
very
Orange
ready. Let's get this
Mechanique
party
d'analyse
started, baby.
cardinal.
Start game 1 now, my friends.
That's what it does.
Cube!
I love the host.
Cube!
Why is he screaming? Because he's hyped.
I'm so
I don't know.
excited to see
I
this
like
match.
hosts that are really
you know,
passionate.
Again, it's such a unique deck coming out of Robot Wizard.
I know it might be like too much for some people, but I personally like it. I think like you need like the hype. Oh my god, he's falling asleep.
Okay.
To
All
bed.
right, we are getting into this first game. What double Bennett talent? What is that high roll?
Definitely one of the cards that he wants to see in this opener.
Yeah,
I mean,
Slacks is
Robot Wizard,
great.
I know, says is very unfavored into this match. The Cube deck is a bit of a stall deck.
Also, if you see that QR code on the screen between the players' face
QR
cams, if you
code.
scan it, it will lead you to a survey. Please
It's over here.
tell us your
I'll
feedback.
put it on my
as
screen
always.
so I don't forget.
I also see an artifact at the bottom there. Shadow
Yeah.
of the Sand King?
Yeah,
Sure,
Shadow
I
Sand
think
King,
I
one
might
of
need
the
to
new
move my
artifacts
character
added.
around, 'cause I think I'm
know
gonna
I've
block
talked to
the
Robot Wizard
dice.
before about this card. I personally don't know how
Over
strong
here,
it is,
maybe?
but he very much believes in it. It's basically like a strategize, but as an artifact. And we see Yayoi there. Definitely a deck built around artifact synergy.
I noticed that Inzaghi threw away both of Bennett's talents, mulliganed his entire hand. I wonder what he's looking for.
Yeah, I wonder if he's changed up his
Vertical.
playstyle against his opponent's deck. You know, normally you would want to rush out Bennett talent here, but you're against a slower deck. You know, the Baizu Cube deck is
Wait,
looking
I
to
remembered
stall
the
out the
cube.
game a little bit longer. So maybe you have more time to draw into that
From
Bennett
you,
talent. But, I mean,
V2,
Inzaghi's
the
master
cube.
at playing these Bennett combo decks. He's showed us this
I
several
have-
times. In
I have
Southeast
PTSD
Asian
from
Prince
the
Cup.
cube.
So I'm gonna let him teach us how to play this deck.
Oh my
I
god.
overheard some chatter amongst the players earlier, and I heard this Baiju Cube deck being referred to as Cube Stall.
Cube stall, yeah. I mean,
Cube
Baizu
stall.
definitely is a character. His kit primarily focuses on healing. You know, his skill heals the active character, and his burst applies
shoot.
extra
QR
shield.
code
So
needs to go
it's looking
here.
to drag out the game, maybe cast Cube skill a couple of times, and then Klee's your finisher. Yeah, Klee's your anchor in this deck. You know, you want to finish the game with her still alive.
I feel like Klee is a very versatile character card to choose because she can either start really strong or she can finish really strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, in this case, I would agree that you're trying to stall out your opponent a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how Inject deals with that, considering he has Overload and also Swirl.
Yeah.
Lots of damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main... I don't know if the deck really focuses that much on reactions, and mostly it's going to be focused on... Xiao's really good single-target damage output, very similar to Child. I think what Inzaghi is really looking for here is Moon Piercer. It's a spear that adds damage to Xiao's attacks, and that will really let him deal a lot of damage in a single turn.
Definitely. Also, we have to play rock, paper, scissors.
really?
Before this, I thought when Cube appears,
When
we
Cube
play rock,
appears?
paper,
Okay,
scissors.
sure.
All right, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh, it's a
Oh,
tie.
both scissors. Okay.
It's a tie.
It's a tie.
That happens a lot.
It does happen a lot. I feel like we
Let's
both go
see
for scissors
here.
at first.
It might be. But I definitely will go for scissors next time.
Injagi tuning a card for an extra electro. I think we're gonna see Raiden's skill come out.
Looks
Yeah,
like-
another tune coming in, and there's Raiden's elemental skill.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate.
What does
here.
Raiden's
I think he was
elemental
deciding
skill
if he wanted
do?
to normal attack or give up 2 cards to tune. But having to give up 2 cards this early in the game without a great way to refill the rest of his hand is going to be
Never
quite
played
a big setback.
Raiden.
I know you mentioned that Klee is gonna be a strong finisher, but I do see those 3 Pyro dice on Robot Wizard's side. I wonder if we're actually going to see a swap onto Klee and her skill.
It could be. The thing is, Raiden in that deck
Hit
after
3
she
times
bursts
over
is
3
not
turns
the
increases
most
burst damage by
important.
1.
I
Ooh.
wonder. I almost wonder if we're going to see Robot. So these are very top players. One thing that this is going to be very unusual is we haven't had 2 Prince Cup champions competing like this against each other. They're going to be playing mind games with each other. Each one knows that the other deck is capable of certain lines of play. For instance, in this case, if Robot Wizard goes to Cube, he is threatening to one-turn kill Raiden. Even though we know his dice don't line up for it, he doesn't have 5 Electro, it could be something he tries to do.
That's a good point. I mean, we know that those 3 Pyro are Pyro, but with 5 dice, Robot Wizard could use Rock, Paper, Scissors combo. If Inzaghi ends on Raiden, that would be threatening her, right? Especially with the Dendro application on her, we would have Quicken, which boosts the damage of both Dendro and Electro.
Although I think even with Klee, is that enough? Klee's skill will do 4 damage, put Raiden down to 5, apply Burning Field. I believe it would be, and then a charged attack would be...
Robo looking...
3 plus
yeah.
1 plus 1.
Robo looks a little EP.
Yeah, so he can actually threaten a first-turn kill here with Klee. So
Robot Wizard swapping to Klee slow swap. I do see a quick swap in hand. I was wondering if he was gonna like go for the guaranteed elemental reaction onto Raiden, but it looks like he's slow swapped. He did use changing shifts, so 1 dice was refunded. He didn't have to spend anything to swap over.
yeah, and you know, the reason he doesn't want to use the quick swap there is because he doesn't need to. You know, his opponent has the choice to stay on Raiden or not. If he swaps either way, and he's gonna stay, or Robot Wizard smiling.
-4 with that burning, and of course the burning summon is on the field. That's gonna recharge the burning. Oh, Klee's charge attack, doing another 2 pyro damage to Raiden.
This is not
her out.
yeah. Inzaghi having to tune 3 cards to get Raiden's skill out and into burst is now going to lose all of that energy to a first turn kill by Klee and
Holy.
Baizu.
Well, Raiden falls immediately. FTK first turn kill. I feel like Inzaghi, there's no way he didn't see that coming, right?
No, he definitely saw that coming. You know, you know, he took a long time to decide. As soon as he played that Storm Terror Glare,
Robot
he
Wizard
was
looks really
basically
happy
telling
about
Robot
that.
Wizard that he's okay losing
He like
the
stretched
first
and then he
character
like
this,
smiled
which
about
is
it.
A very big surprise, but man, I can't. It's so hard to read these professional players because again, not only are they just playing these decks against you know, each other, but they're playing mind games against the person behind the desk as well.
I believe they only had about an hour or 2 before
Yeah.
showtime to review the 7 decks that were submitted by the other teams. So they have an idea of what to anticipate, but
Oh,
who
they
knows
got
if
to
have
look at
everything
each other's
memorized,
decks.
right?
That's interesting.
They probably do. These guys are pros.
Okay, so I just had a thought. You know, this whole time we've been overhearing the players talk to each other. Robot Wizard and his team have been calling this the Cube Stall deck. I actually think it was never a Stall deck to begin with. I think that was just a mind game to let them think that. Just actually looking at the characters and the cards now, I'm thinking that maybe that's not how this deck plays at all. I think it has the potential to be a little bit stally. It has a lot of healing artifacts as well. We have access to the deck
No
list as
stall.
well. It is running the new
Aggro,
artifact, which
cube,
heals
aggro
characters for 3
deck.
and adds damage, but it can't. Obviously, we saw here. It has
Ah,
the
that makes me
potential
want
for
to
a first turn kill.
play, but I can't play till
The
Monday.
overload is gonna send Klee into Baiju, but with those Dendro dice, I think this is exactly
Can't play
what
till
Robot
Monday,
Wizard wanted.
but I'm not even streaming on Monday.
Yeah, I think Klee here
Tomorrow.
has done her job to first turn kill
Mother.
on the Raiden, and what we might
Darn it.
start to see is Baizu and Cube here take over. Of
I
course,
can.
Robot Wizard
I
doesn't
actually
have
played all
enough
my
dice,
NPC
to
matches.
both use Baizu's
Don't get
skill
any
and Cube skill in
XP.
this turn, so he's gonna have to plan it pretty
Sad.
carefully.
What I think is interesting, so I commented earlier about Inzaghi throwing away both of Bennett's talents, but I mean, with Storm Terror Slayer in his deck, I think it makes sense because you can draw a talent card. He just gets it right back. Bennett's talent is in hand, which it looks like he's going for Bennett's Burst right now.
Yeah, yeah.
We should be seeing that very shortly.
Yeah, Bennett's Burst is going to be one of the only ways for him to really come back in this game.
You can
And
practice
with
to
that
become
overload
pro,
reaction,
yes.
there's no longer any electro application other than Raiden's skill, but if we look at Robot Wizard's hand, I'd see a card that could spell some trouble.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. He does, of course, have a send-off, which will allow him to take out the opposing Raiden
A
summon.
bitter pill to swallow.
If that was,
Using it right now.
yeah, with Inzaghi's game plan, I think really, you know, he spent so many resources tuning 2 cards at the beginning of the game, which is quite a big lot to sink in to using that Raiden skill. If he loses it here, could be quite devastating. And really, Inzaghi's dice not agreeing with him, having to normal attack on Bennett as well.
Having to tune to normal
Yeah.
attack, and I think those 2 cryo are going to be used to put down Worf.
Most likely.
Unless Bennett's being threatened by something, we'll have to see. I mean, Robot Wizard is sitting on 5 dice at the moment, so...
Yeah, Worf is going to be tricky. I mean, I don't think there's any better option, but the game might not last that long. You know, Worf will be a great way to recoup kind of the lost cards from before, but still in a tough spot for Inzaghi. He's smiling. I think
see
he
him
knows.
smiling, yeah. I think he knows something.
Well, I think he knows just how bad of a spot he is in. I think his opponent definitely got a lot better of a roll,
Oh.
and he's lost out
Is
on
that
a
a
lot of
cube
cards.
skill?
Cube talent. Cube talent.
Cube
Oh, and it gets
talent.
this discount on Storm Terror's lairs actually makes it really efficient.
Oh,
for
with
those
the
of you
Storm
probably
Terror
haven't played with
layer
Cube Talent before,
too.
what it does, not only does it refresh the revival on
Damn.
Cube's passive, but it also heals
Yeah,
it
I
for
feel
3. It was
like-
recently buffed from 3 cost down to 2, which is a huge upgrade.
Cube talent can revive Cube a second time.
A second time.
A second
yeah.
time.
Which could be very devastating for a deck like Xiao one turn kill. You know, you're trying to get all your opponent's characters down in 1 turn, but if they apply an extra revive, especially for only 1 dice,
Bennett
it
talent
can
coming
really
out.
throw off your game plan.
I really need some Team Astra in the Team Astra chance in Twitch
true.
chat right now.
Yeah, I mean, things are looking pretty good for team. I mean, you know, in these best of 7s in the long game, momentum can matter a lot, morale as well. Winning this first game, especially between these 2 captains, can be a really big setback for you mentally.
Oh, definitely. And of course, they're playing a lot of mind games. Robot Wizard and you both
And me.
Oh, he
both,
also has
you
the
know,
Paimon.
not having the confidence. But maybe it was all a ruse.
Maybe it was all a ruse. We'll have to ask him afterwards. You know, it's really tough to say with these cards. These decks are nothing
Bennett
like
talent.
we've ever seen here in the booth. We're used to casting, and this is really the first competitive tournament with this new set that we've seen. You know, we
Definitely.
haven't had another competitive tournament. We haven't had a
So much
chance to watch
stonk.
pro players toy
So
around
much
with the new cards.
stonking.
And there were a lot of changes in the last patch.
I really like this format, though. It's been so fun to watch. You know, yesterday
Bennett
and
talent,
then today is
Xiao
when we're
talent,
gonna really
and
get into, like, the
gamblers.
competitive side of it, as
True.
you've already seen. Also, just noticing, Inzaghi has
Oh, yeah, he
Xiao's
does have
talent in hand
gamblers.
now,
Yeah.
which might actually help him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Xiao's talent, I mean, this deck is really running, I think it runs both Storm Terror's lairs and 4 talents between Bennett and Xiao. It's really looking to combo off both of those talents just to make Xiao a really efficient damage dealer.
Definitely. So I know you were saying before, Xiao is really good at single target damage. So, I mean, even with Raiden gone, should be fine, right?
Yeah,
It should
yeah.
be fine.
Mostly should be fine. You know, Raiden is, I think, mostly
The
there as a
timer.
primary game
Mind the
plan
side
of
effects.
rushing out the bursts for Bennett and Xiao. But Raiden going down there, still not a huge deal looking like for Inzaghi.
It looks
You
so
know, you don't
excited
wanna
to be
focus
there.
too
I
many
think they're
resources
just
on
like
keeping her
thinking
alive
a lot about their
if there are
moves.
better ways to enable your other cards.
Interestingly, Robot Wizard goes for Baiju's skill instead of his burst. Inzaghi playing Bennett's talent, of course, and bursting as well in response. Ooh, Robot Wizard tuning his last quick swap. And
Taking
also
it one
Flyer
for the
Song.
better.
There's Baiju's burst.
Interesting, yeah. Choosing to deploy it in a slightly different order. Maybe just waiting to see what his opponent does. I think it's also trying to play around... Oh, I see. So it's trying to play around the talent, the Bennett burst there. If you deal damage, of course, to Bennett, he's just going to heal it right back. So choosing to use a burst there denies your opponent that extra value while also being more defensive on your own. He's going to try and wait out that Bennett burst. With that Cube talent in hand, you know, he has a Lotus as well, and now Baizu burst. He has a lot of shields.
I think that makes sense too, because I doubt Robot Wizard anticipates using Baiju's burst again, so saving that 1 energy point
There's
doesn't
the
matter too much. It's
Paimon.
more efficient to
Leaving.
play around Bennett taking damage. And we do see a swap onto Xiao. Inzaghi has 5 dice left, of course. If he wants to do something, he's going to
Yeah.
have to
You
tune.
can
but
tune.
might see. I wonder if we'll see Xiao's talent now.
I mean, we'll probably see it next round. I mean, Xiao Talent uses his burst,
So
so he's
what's
going
he
to have to
gonna
build up 2
spend
energy first. But you
otherwise?
also want to make sure you spread out your skills for that Storm Terror's Lair. You know, one of the new cards as
That's
well.
true.
We'll probably see a lot of Storm Terror's Lair. A lot of the talent cards got buffed, and Storm Terror's Lair is a card that lets you draw a random talent card from your deck that you put in there, but also it discounts talent cards and skills that cost more than 4. So both of these decks are perfectly equipped to use it. They have the talent card, but they also have multiple skills that cost 4 or more. We have Bennett Burst and Raiden Burst on one side, along with the Xiao talent, and then on the bottom, Cube, of course, can rock, paper, scissors for only 4, and Baizu's Burst is actually a 4 cost, so will also get discounted.
So many discounts.
Yeah, it's a really good card.
We do see some tuning. I think we might see Xiao's skill come out of Inzaghi. I'm staring at the Gamblers. I don't know if it's going to be equipped right now, but I feel like...
Yeah, there's not many other ways for him
He
to
can't
use
really
his dice
do
at the moment. You know,
anything
unless one of
besides-
those foods could be a Northern Smoke Chicken, which will discount a normal attack by 1.
Oh.
This was very well calculated by Robot Wizard. You're keeping Baizu alive on 1. This deck is very good at dealing damage in big chunks, but if you can make the hits less efficient by
Maybe it
overkilling
does
some of your
have some
characters,
stall.
then it can
Some
really
stall.
hurt the efficiency.
All right, so we see a swap back onto Bennett from Xiao, which is what I thought would
Would
happen.
you be streaming
because
this
Xiao's gonna be
had
your main
you
damage
not
dealer and
played
clean up the rest
Kaya's
of the game,
story
right?
quest?
You don't want
Yes.
him to be the active character. Bennett's burst will last one more turn, and I'm sure Inzaghi anticipates that this game will be ending next round.
Well, that's what he wants, but
That's what he wants.
Robot Wizard playing that Paimon is telling me that
Ooh,
he is
gambler
going to try
here
and
on this
drag
side
the
as
game out
well.
for another turn. So this is the critical turn. If Inzaghi can close out the game this round, and he's really looking to do that, then it'll be a victory. But if he cannot, Robot Wizard will pretty much carry the rest of the game out.
I mean, I said I was gonna do this watch party even
know, one
before
thing we
I
were
did
thinking about
Kaya's
earlier,
story quest, though.
With Cube, you have Prepare Skill with the rock, paper, scissors
Slapstick.
combo, right? And against Injaki's deck that has Overload, you can disrupt that Prepare Skill and send Cube in the middle of his Prepare Skill over to the next character, so he's not doing his combo anymore. It's a waste of dice.
It's true.
But Raiden's gone.
Yeah, there is no
Raiden's
Electro.
gone.
There's
No
no way to stop the
Raiden.
cube up. Although we've seen before in this very booth that stopping cube talent doesn't always mean you win the game. It's a bit of a
Ooh.
throwback
True,
for anyone
true.
who watched the North America
A
series.
lot of
happened here.
It happened
electro.
right here. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
game was
quite the
fun.
moment. That was very memorable.
Shout out to Ting.
So we'll have to see here.
Yeah, so Robot Wizard going first. Not enough Dendro Dice. He's gonna have to tune if he wants to do anything with Baiju. I almost wonder if he's gonna stay on Baiju though, because I mean, there's no elemental application on him right now, and we'll probably just see his skill, right?
Yeah, Baizu not having, having already
Hi,
bested
Blank.
both sides already having
This
Dendro
is
is not going
the
to
trading
be
card game
the
that
most
is
important character here. So we
inside
might see,
Genshin
a
Impact.
swapped cube.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess trying to avoid the Gambler's refresh on Xiao, maybe?
Potentially. I mean, your opponent could have a quick swap, so yeah,
She does.
putting out your
She does.
most highest health one could be a good opening. Dice is really going to be Inzagi's main restriction here. He doesn't have, Paimon or any other ramp cards to give him more dice on his turn, so he's only working with 8 dice on one turn, which sounds like it's normal, but for a combo deck that's looking to take out the opponent in one turn, you really want what Robot Wizard had on his side, which is more than 8 dice to work with.
Yeah, the Junior Zod is just so strong.
It's very powerful right now.
Playing Paimon for only 2 cost.
Yeah, and Inzaghi
Brutal.
shaking his head. He also, isn't rolling super well. I think a lot of this game was decided by the dice rolls at the very beginning, having to tune those 2 extra cards and then getting himself open to that first turn kill.
Yeah, tuning just now, I think we're going to see Bennett's skill? I wonder, I guess...
It's possible, Inzaghi didn't draw into anything meaningful, so it's very possible that he doesn't think he can win this turn. And so his next game plan with that Bennett burst up is to keep Bennett alive, make multiple attacks, and then next round, try and
Jesus.
redeploy Bennett burst and go for it in the next round.
Ouch.
Oh, here we go.
Wait,
We have rock, paper, scissors.
was that rock, paper,
Yeah, it
scissors? We
was.
have to play. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, I
Oh,
won!
no.
I got paper!
Why would you go paper? I was about to...
One,
I always go
left
scissors
0.
first. Ugh.
Chicken.
Okay.
That's a sign that Team Master is going to win this game, by the way.
Ooh.
So we see a normal attack coming out of Bennett. Did not want to tune additional cards for his elemental skill. I think it makes sense. Just kind of trying to stall the
Ow.
turn out, I believe.
Yeah, so one of those cards in Inzagi's hand was Northern Smoke Chicken, so he was able to discount Bennett's normal attack by 1, which will let him make another
He
normal
is
attack.
shooting.
Oh, and it's a burst
Oh,
instead.
there's
kill
Bennett's burst
Cube.
refreshing
Okay.
it. Cube will fall, but it gets revived. That does interrupt his prepare skill.
Oh, no, actually it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No, revive.
Oh
Continuous
my
skill,
God.
revive, yeah, it's just that good. Yeah, actually, that's how it works.
Oof.
That's why the revive is so good. And actually, Robot Wizard has the opportunity to
Give another
revive
revived
Yeah.
if he wants. I don't know if
with
it's
his talent card, right?
great here. He's gotta
Dude,
think about it.
Cube
I mean,
is so
his opponent is all
annoying.
in, having to redeploy Bennett burst means he
Cube
could
is
go
so
for another
annoying.
turn,
No,
but being
me
down to
too.
just
No,
Xiao
I
really,
do
really
not
helped him.
condone
You
this
see how few
behavior.
cards
This
are
is
left in
evil.
Inzagi's hand, so he's really going to be at the mercy of
This
any
is not
dice rolls.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
This
just
is
thinking
not
if you
okay.
Swap the clear and use skill.
The
with two
cube
summons,
is
I still
so
don't think
annoying.
it's enough damage, right? to finish off
To
Xiao.
finish off, no, I don't think you have quite enough dice.
No.
I feel like you would probably, if you don't swap and if you don't equip, well, even if you do swap and you don't equip the talent card on the cube, Xiao's gonna get a
Time
lot
for a
of
house
dice
call.
back
Yeah.
next turn.
I mean, Robo Wizard hasn't really... I mean, it looks like he's in a dominant position, but look at the health of his characters. They're really low, and we have to remember that Gamblers that went on Xiao earlier is still active, which is going to give him Inzaghi 2 dice for every character that he takes down on Robot Wizard side.
Send off in Lotus. I feel like that Lotus might
Lotus is
clutch for
very
Robot
important.
Wizard. I didn't quite see what Inzaghi drew this time. We will see very shortly here.
Ooh.
I'm kind of curious that Robot Wizard went for Leap and Play instead of Baiju's skill.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think
Any
he wants
thoughts?
he
What
wants
does
to really
cube
get...
mean? It's
So he's
the
gonna-
it's
it's
the character
basically a
card that
game of
Robot
who can
Wizard's
use up the
using in the
most
middle.
dice
The purple
the most
cube.
efficiently this round. You know, on Xiao's side, it's going to...
It's
you
just
know,
one
he's
of the
gonna be able to take out
character
at least 2
cards.
characters. Oh,
Ooh.
that's actually
My
a really
God.
good call. So those are 2 new cards added. You may not be familiar with them. One of them
Electrohypostasis.
is Ocean Hued Clam. It will heal the active character for 3 and buff their damage by 1 for
Dude,
every
that
point of
clam.
3 healing. And then Liar Song is a funky card, one of my favorite effects, but it returns an artifact to your hand and lets you replay it again at discount. So that's actually... Robot Wizard has 9 points of healing in his hand right now. 9. It can bring Cube back to full if he wants to.
Oh, Xiao opting for a normal attack, getting that last point of energy for his elemental burst, taking down Baiju and refreshing 2 Omni on his gamblers. We'll have to see who Robot Wizard chooses here.
I was like,
I
he used his
believe Robot
gamblers,
Wizard
right?
is
Yeah.
Going to go
I wonder if Xiao can just
Cube
roll.
and then heal it twice, and then rock paper scissors.
Robot Wizard's hand.
That's going to be very threatening to Xiao here.
no.
And
Damn.
one of the main things that the reason that's important as well is by putting Cube that high, and maybe even equipping Lotus, we could see Cube go up to 12 health in one go. And that would block the Gambler's refresh from Xiao's side. But
That's
Robo has to
true.
do the math to make sure they can survive. It's really important he gets all 5 hits of rock, paper, scissors
That is
off.
so
I
ridiculous.
just saw Robot Wizard shaking his head. I'm wondering what he's thinking
He
right
might
now
be-
after he chose that cube. What is on his mind?
He might be... I think he's doing the math, right? He needs to do the math to figure out, does he have enough dice to put all that healing down? Oh, and he's going
Oh,
to
Ocean
begin.
Hued Clam coming in
So here we
on
go.
cube.
He has 3. And
So that is 1 stack of foam. I believe the artifact has a max of 2 stacks.
Max of 2
Every
stacks.
3 HP healed adds 1 stack, and then when you
True. Oh,
when you trigger reaction,
the Cube talent will actually add another 3 health, so would add 2 damage to the next hit. That's actually amazing. This deck is great.
Lotus?
Here's Lotus. So we're up to 7 health effectively now. Oh, and I haven't lost yet.
wait, burst?
Oh.
Okay. Lightning Lockdown coming down on Xiao. That's -4, and it does trigger Quicken Stacks on Robot
Bye,
Wizard's
Sonic.
side. I believe Cube's Elemental Burst makes it so that if you swap, it takes... You can't swap that.
No, you can't swap Xiao off of Xiao anymore.
Well, that's what I'm trying to
Burst.
say. Like,
Yeah.
you can't swap anymore anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the...
Elemental burst.
I believe Robot Wizard just doesn't want to give up his turn priority. You know, he doesn't want to just auto pass on rock, paper, scissors for the entire time.
Xiao's Burst coming out, of course, with that talent card equipped. Bennett's Burst, you know, the last usage of it is definitely coming in clutch right now.
And here we
Using
go.
Fire Song to unequip Clam from
Oh,
the
did he
electric
mess
cube,
up?
and now I can play another artifact for...
Why do you make that face?
less.
2 less.
And it doesn't have to be the same artifact as well.
I like
so it's a bit
watching
very
the
flexible now,
player
especially
cams
with
because
all
like
the
their
cards
reactions
Oh, yeah.
are
in Robot
they're
Wizard's
so
hands.
funny.
But Inzagi's has played this game so
You're
well.
like, oh my
you know,
God.
Xiao is just staying alive against this intimidating opposition and doing a really good job cleaning up. This is I can see why he really likes this deck.
Robot Wizard could play Capricious Visage, and that's 1 less die on Elemental Skill, and then it could go for...
Yeah, it really depends if he
Cube
thinks that the 3 health is more important. I mean, his opponent is at 5 dice. So, but of course, with Xiao's talent equipped, his elemental skill does cost 1 less. So Inzaghi has 2 more attacks out of Xiao, which is a total of at least 12 damage. Okay, so here we
see
go.
the Ocean Hued Clam coming back, another 3 HP. We'll have to see what Robot Wizard does here. Ooh, there is
Oh.
Cube's talent. Another 3 HP. And another
Jesus.
revive.
Another revive. And interestingly
This
enough, Cube's
is-
talent
this
does
is
actually
illegal,
pass the
B2.
turn
This
to
is
your opponent
illegal.
when used. It's one of the rare cards that will actually... It counts as a skill usage, essentially, even though all it does is refresh the passive.
I feel like if you're in Jackie, all you can really do is just keep going on Shao.
Going on Shao,
There's
yeah.
no real food. I'm not sure what food that is, but it's 0 cost, so it could be something like Northern
Time
Smoked
to make a
Chicken
cube
or-
deck. Yeah.
I think
Can't beat
think
'em,
it must
join
be Northern
'em.
Smoked Chicken.
Join the
Shao
cube
hasn't
deck.
eaten this round yet, so
Ooh.
you will be able to get a cheaper normal attack. Shouldn't need it though. But the precarious thing is, if another character goes down, you know, Shao will get 2 more dice refunded, which I think is going to be
Oh,
enough.
right,
I
with the
think that's going to
gamblers.
be enough to sweep.
Oh my gosh. This is tense.
This is really tense. I mean,
This
and you have to
is
remember,
a pretty
Inzaghi started
intense
this
first
game,
match.
sacrificing
flap
Raiden with
stick?
2 energy, even after having to tune 3 cards, and using.
Ooh.
Okay, so I think Robot Wizard is praying that Inzaghi cannot use those last 2 dice off of Gambler. So if that last card in Inzaghi's hand is indeed a Northern Smoked Chicken, although he still has the discount on
With his burst,
with
right?
his burst, so I think that might be game.
We'll have to see.
Oh.
Wait, Worf coming down. It looks like Inzaghi is going to end his turn here. Bennett's burst will be up next round. He will no longer have that healing, so we'll have
like
to
a
see
corn
if he draws
dog?
anything. Ugh.
Hash brown.
Let's see.
Oh.
And another
Oh,
gamblers.
Let's see
Lotus.
if that's enough.
Need to get some good rolls.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I really would have thought that. Oh, it's because I think if Cube revives, you don't actually get those
Yeah,
gamblers.
you don't
Oof.
get the gamblers
doesn't
back.
count.
And there's no way to access Klee. There's no
Oh.
elemental application.
Oh.
Ugh.
GG.
Just a normal attack there to finish the game. Yeah, Robot Wizard getting the first victory.
Wow, congratulations to Team Carnival. Let's throw it back to the stage.
Ew.
Congratulations, Robot Wizard, you did it! The mind games, I'm not
That is so
confident. I don't
ridiculous.
like the cube, and then you crushed him! Absolutely. For the 4
Freaking
cube fans out there,
cube.
a huge victory. Put your rhombuses together.
God.
How did it feel?
I don't feel like I deserved that one.
You don't deserve it. Come on, Robot Wizard.
I actually misplayed really badly on the very last turn. I was supposed to, I haven't lost yet, Klee burst, and then I messed up. But I salvaged it, so.
It truly was a range of emotions. We saw a lot of smiling, a lot of frowning, a lot of, you know, face palming on the camera there. Pretty crazy game for you?
Yeah, I was feeling really good after the first turn where I killed Raiden, and then afterwards when I realized Inzaghi still had a chance, I was a little bit troubled. We made it work.
Yes, well, congratulations, by the way. This has evened you up against him. Now, you are finally on an equal
True.
ground, potentially. The game, your teams can decide your big victor on your grudge match that has been plaguing you guys for 2
Grudge
decades.
match. 2 decades.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, it was an honor to see you play. Congratulations on yet another win
What he
on the
says,
stage.
right.
And Johnny, tell your team now.
Also, guys, I just wanted to bring your attention over to the pinned messages in chat. If you guys would like to download Genshin, the link is there. Also, if you've been enjoying or been watching the Astro Carnival, the event that we are watch partying right now, you can fill out a survey by either scanning the QR code on my screen or scrolling down to the panel below or clicking the second link in the pinned message to participate in the survey. And then also make sure you guys check out and follow Astro Carnival on YouTube and or Twitch.
There are so many gifts that we can give you here today. Fantastic Genshin Impact Genius Invocation, Cube Games, Amber Game? Probably not, but we will go to our casters and see what surprises they have in store for us.
Prizes.
Thank you so much, Slacks. Welcome back, everyone. So, I think it was Ocean Hued Clam that did the extra damage
It
at the
did.
end there. So, Robot Wizard
I
stacked
still
2
don't have it
Seafoam,
yet, the
and
Ocean
that
Hued
gave him 2
Clam.
more points of damage against Shao. So,
It
yeah.
really, like, you know, that revive, Cube ended up being the perfect card to put up against Shao with gamblers, because again, that revive doesn't count for those extra 2 gamblers, so denying his opponent all of those dice. It was a lot closer than it seemed. You know, Robot Wizard really was on the edge of losing that game.
Yes. It was very, very close, and you know, we are doing the math for both sides, as these players are doing the math only for their side. So
Exactly. And I mean, you saw like, you know, Robert Wizard said it perfectly. He was so confident after, you know, taking out Raiden on that first turn, denying opponent 2 energy, but then realizing Inzaghi still had a chance. Inzaghi really is the master of these Bennett combo decks.
Truly.
You know, he loves these decks, and we've seen how powerful they can be with any combination of characters.
And you know, yesterday, that's why they chose the Mono Pyro, right?
It is.
They
Well, both teams
wanted
did.
the Bennett, both teams did, but we were thinking of Inzaghi specifically when that happened. See that smile on Robot Wizard's face?
But you know, one of the great things about this format, you know, they can only put Bennett in one deck, right? Their team only uses Bennett in one deck. That was their one Bennett deck, and it lost against what seems to be a pretty random assortment of characters on the other side, with Baizu, you know, Cube, and Cleat. None of them really first picks, I think, for either side.
Yeah, of course, Cube talent coming in clutch here, and I am the current leader of Rock, Paper, Scissors. No, we're not gonna see Cube again, so I just won today.
I guess yours.
I scored a point for Team Astra.
Well, luckily that doesn't count for that. I mean, Team Carnival still very much, you know, has a lot of games left to play. You know, we haven't faced Ocean yet. We haven't faced Nahida. Those decks will be coming up, but pretty surely we'll be getting to our game 2.
Yes, so game 2 will be Jibu versus Rev. Of course, Jibu qualified through EU Cat Seals Gathering, but he's also an NA player. He's bringing Zhongli, Magakenki, and Geo Lavatril into game 2, which is, we'll talk a bit about that later. It's pretty interesting. But Rev's deck here, Kaya Kazuha Shenhe, right?
It's very unique. I think
it is very unique.
I was overhearing the players a little before. I think one of them called them Rev's kind of comfort
Bad
deck.
matchup for
Basically just
Shinamo.
a deck that he
Shinamo
loves
versus
playing, feels super
Zhongli.
comfortable with. And honestly, at these high-level tournaments, that
How did
can
TCG
be
go?
a huge advantage. You play a
First
deck
game,
that
red team
other
won,
players are
so
very
Team
unfamiliar
Carnival
with because
won.
it's unusual, but you know in and out, and you know all the lines, all the plays. You can just demolish any meta deck if you can play your deck just a little bit better, even though it may have some unusual choices.
I mean, I'm sure these players, you know, on the big stage, there's a lot at stake. I believe first place split
Yeah.
6,500
charging
USD.
it, and now it's...
So
Yeah, second place
between 4
does.
people.
Where did I
does
put my
go
phone?
away also with some prizes,
Oh.
but it's a really big
Right.
gap between first and second. And it's not, again, I think really for these players on the stage, the prize money, of course, is important, but it's really the pride, the bragging rights, you know,
Definitely.
the color of the shirt. You know, it's their team, and they're not only playing for themselves as well, they're playing for the team. And I know that's a lot of pressure as well, added on to the usual amount that these players face.
I definitely think, though, that, you know, Team Astra has a lot at stake here, and we're going to have to see how Game 2 goes. We will be tossing to the stage in just a moment. See you soon.
Thank you so much, our wonderful casters up there. Yes, game 1 extremely exciting, but game 2 even more exciting, as we are seeing these very non-meta decks come out with the best players in the world. So, if you like any of these characters, start paying attention. In fact, I know that I like somebody on this stage coming up. Used to be Toxic, but now just Jibu. The former Jibu Talk side, now the Jibu Kind side. Come on up! It's Jibu from Team Astra! Oh my goodness, the crowd erupts in applause. Jibu, welcome back to the stage. How are we feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you proud of your boy for his performance?
I think he did as well as he could.
That's some high praise coming out from you, Jibu. Well done. So, tell us a little bit about your deck here. Why'd you guys pick this combination of characters?
Yeah, so I'm going to be playing a Zhongli
Loud
Magakenki
applesauce.
deck. A little bit of a stall deck. We just thought it would be a pretty good deck to bring to the tournament.
That's a very non-information
renamed,
answer.
apparently.
I'm proud
I don't
of you.
know.
Don't let me trick you as we now bring your opponent.
Or he just
Coming
wants
up
to
from
be
Team
addressed as
Carnival.
Jibu? I don't know.
Start your engines, because it's Rev, my friends. Come on up here, Rev. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Over there, Birdie in the audience from your team clapped harder than anyone else for Rev. Rev, you got a special fan over there in Team Astra.
Oh, that's nice.
So, Rev, tell us a little bit about your deck. I hear this is your comfort deck. These are your babies, right?
Yeah, it has Catherine in the deck, and I like using Catherine.
All right. Any particular reason why?
Not really.
Okay, well, that's all that I care about. You know, sometimes you just get attached to a certain character. What can I say except that you will probably be able to feel very comfortable playing this? Do you feel like you're extremely used to this deck? This is kind of normal for you?
No, I just made the deck yesterday.
Okay, well, there goes that. Well, fantastic, gentlemen. Please put your differences aside and much like the Genshin Impact community, come together for a beautiful moment. Shake those hands. There we go. Wow. Professional. Very good. To your stations, my friends. And it looks like these two competitors who respect each other so much will be going head to head. Only one person can walk away with this. And hopefully we will be going all the way to that game 7. So cross your fingers. Get ready to watch
That's a lot of
some
games.
Genshin Impact Genius Invocation action.
It's not a
right after we
pre-cooked
get
deck.
back from our casters.
Thanks so much again, Slacks. So, who do you think is going to win this one?
It's going to be a tough matchup for Rev, I think. I mean, traditionally, you know, we see it's not a swell deck specifically, but with the swell reaction, tenacity is always a pain to deal with. You know, those two shields will block the swell damage. So matchup-wise, it's not looking great for Rev.
Yeah, I mean, so Jibo was saying that this deck that he brought with Zhongli, Magu Kenki, and Geo Laotrail is kind of stylish, which is true. With Geo Laotrail, he's able to bring Geo Resonance, which I'm sure we're going to see. I'm also sure we're going to see
Yes, I did, for today.
Basically, equipping
'Cause I was
Zhongli so
feeling
that
a
he
little
do
bit
what he does best,
tired.
which is stack 10 bajillion shield points and petrify his opponents. So
Yeah, he's the best at doing that for sure. You know, this was a very popular deck when Zhongli was first released along with Vortex Vanquisher. People identified that
doing,
combo
Elemental?
very early on. You know, the main issue with Zhongli is the reactions with Geo are very difficult, but with Magu Kenki here, not only can he swell additional the additional elements, but we have Abyssal
you.
Resonance in the deck as well to provide additional.
yeah, so normally it's Geoshin. We normally see Rodea of the Lock here in place of Magu Kenki, but I actually feel like Magu Kenki is, you know, a suitable replacement.
For sure.
With
I haven't
both
seen.
Anemo and Cryo at Magu Kenki's disposal, you can see a lot of damage out of it.
Interesting.
And then also, if you high roll your Abyssal Resonance,
Right.
you could even be triggering some elemental reactions if it doesn't go to
Shenhe,
Cryo, of course.
Kaya,
So we'll have to
We'll have to
see.
watch out for that one.
Now this
Speaking
deck
of Cryo.
here, yeah, true Cryo.
Wait,
Yeah, we have a lot
Who is
of so
that
this deck
on
I
the
think is
end?
mainly
Am I
focused
going crazy?
around Kaya and his burst. Not something we see usually, but Kaya's burst allows you to deal damage when you swap. So Red
Right,
has two
Kazuha.
copies of Catherine here and two Leave It to Me's. He's basically looking to apply a bunch of buffs to Cryo
Kazuha.
and then just rotate between all of his characters really quickly to get Kaya's burst off all in one go.
Yes, because after you cast Kai's Burst, every time you swap to another character, it will deal 2 points of cryo damage. Of course, Shenhe will buff that cryo damage, and I believe...
Yeah, Kazuha's talent is also in this deck. Not something that we haven't seen a lot of Kazuha competitively.
You
so
know,
I'm really
I
excited
feel
to
that.
see him and Kaya kind of in the same deck here. But his talent is also able to buff
But I'm
cryo
alright
damage,
right now.
especially from not swells, but Kaya's burst. So we could see Kaya's burst each hit doing up to 5 damage this game. So we'll see if Rev can make that happen.
And you know, I just wanted to return to a point we were trying to make earlier. You said that this was Rev's comfort deck. And if they're on the big stage, there's so many nerves going into a game like this. There's a lot at stake. So maybe because it's his comfort deck, he already knows all the lines. Maybe he'll be able to clinch a win, even if it's a very unconventional deck we're not used to seeing.
And definitely drawing that Kazuha talent is very big. I think Catherine was,
What
so I
exactly
might have
is
misinterpreted. I think
teamwork?
it's that Catherine is his comfort character. He loves playing Catherine in decks, but there are very specific decks that Catherine does work well in versus another one, and this is definitely a good example. Kaya, you know, Catherine is a very potent pair.
And also, if you see that QR code on the screen between Jibu and Rev's player cams, if you scan it, it will take you to a survey. You can leave us your feedback about the event. You can say anything you want, and we would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much.
Rev here with a not great set of dice rolls, no cryo, and only one Omni die. Or was an opponent with, Jibu's rolls are great.
They are great. I did not quite see. Okay, so Jibu has Tenacity of the Millith. I do see Super City, which is really good.
That draw, so Moon Piercer off the top there, one of the new cards added, very similar to King Squire. When you played, it will discount your elemental skill by 2, but why is this so important? With Rev's bad rolls, he can now use those 3 Dendro for Moon Piercer and use Shenhe's skill without 2. So that was a huge draw.
That is a huge roll. And of course, you know, Shenhe's skill only costing 1 dice, has 3 more dice at his disposal because of that Moon Piercer equip.
Yeah, without that draw, Rev would have to tune at least 2, maybe 3 cards this round. So that, and not only that, you know, being a weapon, it is buffing damage by 1. So that was honestly the best card he could have drawn off that strategize. Amazing.
Ichibu swapping away from Geolodrill onto Magokenki. I'm wondering if we're going to see some summons start coming out of Magokenki.
Yeah,
The order you want to
possible.
go in is Cryo and then Anemo for the swirl at the end, right?
Yeah, and we saw Jibu starting on Lava Shell there because he was going
Yes,
second.
this is
he
the
wanted to
Genshin
deny his
Impact
opponents the
card
ability
game,
to
trading card game,
swirl
yeah. It's
Shenhe's
called
skill with
Genius
Kazuha. So if he
Invocation
started Magokenki, would have allowed
TCG.
Shenhe to apply and then swap to Kazuha to start swirling right away. But Jibu, knowing that he wants to go to Magokenki anyway, denies that initial cryo
I
application.
mean, Jibu loves playing Windy Iceberg, so of course he's going to
Dude,
know how to
this-
play against a deck that has Cryo
It's so
swirl,
interesting
right?
to see all these decks because
Different
so
name.
many of the cards are still so foreign to me.
We are long past the era of Windy Iceberg.
Alright, so Sumeru City does come down, which allows for Magokenki to summon the Cryo version for only 2 costs instead of 3.
Yeah.
Perfect dice usage.
Yeah.
Ooh, a fresh wind of freedom on Rev's side.
Yeah, going to be very important. You know, it's going to be a race. Rev needs to find a way to build up his bursts, pile on damage quicker than Zhongli can get equipped. Zhongli already has a tenacity off.
Yes.
Yeah, which was a really big draw from Jibu's side. I mean, I think Rev during Moon Piercer, that weapon, the spear that we saw on Shenhe, is the perfect counter to that because it's allowing him to do additional damage for a little cost to counteract the tenacity shields that are about to come in.
Yeah, so at the start of every turn, Zhongli gets a nice 2 shield points. It refreshes every turn.
Yeah, like he needs it.
He's the Geo Archon.
It's true. If anyone deserves the shields, it is him. But, you know, he is still missing a crucial piece of the puzzle here, which is that Vortex Vanquisher. It is one of the best weapons for him, giving bonus damage while shielded, which of course Zhongli always is.
Shenhe's burst coming out. This will boost cryo damage as well as physical damage.
And that actually matters a lot here, because Magokenki now is in range of a normal attack from Shenhe finishing it off. So Jibu can't safely stay on Magokenki without potentially sacrificing him.
And
here.
if you swap to Geolodrill here, you're going to be swirling cryo either way. So
Yeah,
what
we're
would
most
you do?
we're most likely going to see a swap to Zhongli. Zhongli doesn't have any elements applied, and with Shenhe having used Burst, it's very likely your opponent is going to swap off of Shenhe. So Zhongli is probably one of the better characters to go to here.
Ooh, send off immediately
Send
coming
off.
down to get rid of that Shenhe summon. Of course, you see Rev shaking his head.
I actually
Does
rarely
not like
see
that.
send
This
off
was
being
one
used.
Of the biggest weaknesses.
Well,
of
then
Shenhe
again, I've
SC
only
for the
been playing
longest
against
time.
NPCs.
First,
But I
if your
actually, like-
opponent has a send off.
I'm like, I see it and I'm like,
I
man,
think we saw Red
I
actually
rarely
get
ever
sent off
use
quite
it.
a lot in Southeast Asia Prince Cup, so we've seen that reaction from him already several times. But, I mean, hold that thought. So, Jibu sending off that Shenhe burst there means that, to him, no more normal attacks can finish on Magokenki. But we see a Cryo Resonance in Rev's hand, which allows him to add 2 damage to any hit, including a normal attack, and he has a Gambler. So I'm
He
thinking,
does have a Gamblers. I wonder if he's going to go for it. Rev is definitely thinking.
yeah, his opponent has put a lot of energy into Magokenki, definitely is intending to burst next turn, but this could also be a bait. Because, you know, Magokenki already being so low, Jibu knows about that and the possibility of Cryo Resonance. So Rev needs to decide if it makes sense for him. Oh, I think he's going for it.
Aw, see the tune of changing shifts. Tuning I haven't lost yet.
Oh, going for a 3-tune.
Gonna refresh Icy Quills, I believe, right? So Gambler's equip onto Shenhe. This
Okay.
will refresh 2 Omni Dice if she manages to take out Magokenki. And with that Cryo Res in hand, we might
Yep.
see it, but...
So I think with, since Rev decided to tune, I wasn't sure if he was going to spend that many cards, but with the skill here, is actually going to take out Magokenki for 4
Okay.
anyway.
Yes,
This is a
minus
slightly
4 with the
different line.
skill. Refreshes Icy Quills. Also with Fresh Wind of Freedom, he's allowed to go again.
Go again, yeah. We probably see him normal attack here on Shenhe just to get that last 2, or we could see him tune that Kazuha talent just to use Icy Quills again.
I believe that Rev took a second copy of that talent card, so I wonder if this is something he'd be looking to do. But of course, you don't know when you're going to draw the next one again.
Yeah, honestly, when you've already taken... So, you know, Swell is a reaction that goes across all your opponent's characters, so as characters go down, it becomes a little less efficient each time. So it's very possible with the equipment and setup that Rev has on Shenhe, he's going to look to Okay, I guess he is keeping the talent, but it's very possible that he could just choose to no longer use Kazuha anymore after that.
Oh, Shenhe is so strong just on her own. She's been dominating. Of course, that crystallized reaction giving Geological another shield point, which will help.
Shenhe decks are some of the fastest in the game, but
mainly
against
here to
one
absorb
send-off, it's
damage to
Jover.
give you time for
Because of the, because of the summons and stuff.
No,
Okay.
just to, yeah.
Yeah, for Vanarana.
Holy,
Oh,
so many
interesting.
support
makes sense,
cards.
actually.
Or so many location
sense.
cards.
Because you want to play Vanarana first, even if you're not.
Even if you're not utilizing it,
Whoa,
yes, that's
the
true.
swirl.
Because it will. Do you want to explain that a bit?
Yeah, so Tenchikaku, of course, works by if you have more than 5 different dice, including Omni as a different element at each time. At the beginning of the turn, it gives you an extra Omni die, but because location cards trigger in their played order,
Yes.
Vanarana needs to be before Tenchikaku if you want any dice on Vanarana to be counted towards Tenchikaku.
Yes, so Vanarana is a card that will take 2 unused dice and then basically spit them back out to you at the start of your next turn. So if it goes in order, that means the dice you get from Vanarana will count towards your Tenchikaku bonus, which, you know, even though Jibu used those 2 dice to play Tenchikaku, it will matter for this turn.
Exactly.
Of course, we see another Shenhe Burst coming out. Jibu does not have another send-off in hand right now, so
Yeah, it's
cannot
gonna
get rid of
stay.
that summon. It is going to stay.
But this is a good opportunity for Jibu to take out Shenhe, or does have a weapon equipped and a gambler, so, you know, almost certainly going to want to take out Shenhe while he has the chance here. Probably just using the burst because he does have good dice. Or just normal
Going
attack.
for a normal attack. I think this is fine. You know, normal attack, this -2 physical damage, and with Law Churl's burst up and threatening, it's going to force Rev to take out Law Churl in this case.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
think we'll probably see Kazuha talent played now in order to swell and trigger that buff. Of course, you do need to trigger a swell
Yes.
in order for that talent
Hi,
card to be
Miklaus.
buffing any sorts of damage.
It is just the most unfortunate thing.
I think this is like the most common reaction. Wait a second, Genshin has a TCG? Yes, Genshin has a TCG called Genius Invocation. TCG.
That makes sense. It's a
And this
perfect
is
use of, these
and this
dice.
is like a 2-day event that's being hosted in LA. That's comprised of a bunch of pro players that are global from like NA, Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia, EU, and they made 2 teams and they're just kind of like playing against each other in the past 2 days. So yeah, that's what we're watching right now.
Down to
The
the wire
Prince Cup
already, you know.
Winter Invitational.
For the deck that Jibu is playing, getting
Dude,
both of
I'm
those
good at
equipments
this.
is the most important.
I can say the whole
Because
thing.
Omni can go from being very weak on his own.
Can
to
tell you about the
extremely
whole
strong
event.
And, you know,
What's been
durable,
happening?
so
We're gonna go. What
only
to
has one
do?
equip.
Yeah, only has one
I'm
equipment.
good.
Tenacity is the one that you want,
I got
especially against
this.
this deck, if you were to draw either one of them. So he's still in a decent position. It's a little precarious. It's very much going to come down to, you know, whether he can draw things like Geo-Resonance, maybe more. I think I see 1 Lotus Crisp already in hand, but he would really like a second food at this point.
Yeah, the Lotus Crisp might be able to help him next turn, but it's definitely a race against the clock to see
Yeah.
if he can draw that Vortex Vanquisher. Also Georez.
Geo-Res, yeah. The main thing, though, is without Vortex Vanquisher, Zhongli doesn't have a lot of damage. That's going to be his main problem, right? That Shenhe Burst is going to be adding +1 damage to every single hit of Cryo on top of the Kazuha stacks. So the damage is going to pile on very fast, but he's not going to be able to deal the same amount of damage quite as easily. You can see here, he has a Nemo summon plus a Geo summon, which I'm sure we learned, a lot of people learned yesterday, does not react.
Wait, I'm wondering why he did that. So Jiba played a Woven, and then Sumeru City discounted his normal attack for only 2 dice. It leaves Kaya at 1. I'm wondering why he didn't just pass it to Vanarana. Is it because he's making use of the Sumeru City discount? Or?
I think so, yeah. I mean, stall decks really want to make use of all of their resources at any given moment. So, you know, not triggering that Sumeru City there, it would be a pretty big hit there. It's more important than saving it for one.
Tenacity of the Millith also generated another dice that went to Vanarana.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure.
okay. I see Worf, and I see a Quick Swap. Quick Swap is not going to help here.
No,
Oof.
yeah, unfortunately not having set up Kaya's burst here, and we're not going to really see that quick swap, you know, furious swapping between characters to trigger Kaya's burst. Definitely one way you can take out Zhongli very quickly and out of nowhere, but you know, with Zhongli so low, Rev is not quite set up, and unfortunately Kazuha is not a great finishing character. You know, he does have a a plunge attack that does a lot of damage, but you know, you need 2 characters to switch into in order to enable that plunge.
Yeah, if you use Kazuha's burst and you only have 1 active character up, it's essentially you're not going to be able to get that cryo damage off because it's only applied when you're switching characters. So Kaya being at 1 health is actually really, really bad. Of course, there's no more swirls that's going to be coming out of Jibu's side with Mago Kenki Summon gone.
Are the hexagons the mana resources? Yeah, so the cool thing about this game is that the hexagons are dice. And basically, there's different elements, because you know how in Genshin there's different like elements, right? Like there's cryo, which is like ice, pyro, which is fire, electro, which is electricity or electric, animo, which is like wind, dendro is what? How do you even describe dendro? Fruit. Dendro looks like little fruit to me. And there's hydro, which is water, plant life, yeah, fruit, earth. Anyway, so yeah, they have different like elements, right? So in in grass, in the TCG, they also have it, but like you have to roll dice, and you can re-roll once. But basically, each like card that you draw, which can be like an equipment, an artifact, it could be a skill or like some kind of support card, you have to like spend certain dice, and they have to either match like whatever. And then the characters also have like their specific elements, right? So you have to roll the right amount of, or the right kind of dice to use certain skills, or you can like basically like sacrifice cards that you drew in your hand to attune. Basically, like you can change 1 dice if you're choosing with a card that you're like basically sacrificing or trashing to turn it into the element of the dice that you need. And so there's like 2 elements of RNG, right? There's like the drawing of the hand, and then there's also like rolling the right dice in order to be able to use the skills or to have the right elements to use skills that you need. Whether it's like a skill of your character card or whether it's like whatever's in your hand. And yeah, you should try it sometime.
Upon taking damage, and his burst comes out, so
yeah, so with that Lotus definitely clued me into using burst here. He's gonna have 2 extra dice at the end of the round that he won't be able to use, but I think Rev's main goal is to survive this turn and then go first next round. Those 2 summons actually going to do a lot more damage than you might think. Shenhe, even though it says 1 cryo, that will buff itself for 2, plus 1 as well from Kazuha for 3 damage. And Kazuha's skill burst there will actually do 2. So there's 5 damage left at the end of the turn.
If you're Jibu, I wonder if you actually go for the 5-cost skill at this point.
I think you need to.
Oh. And that's exactly what happens?
Yeah, if you don't put up more shields, Kazuha's, the summons will be able to take you out at the end of the round, beginning of the next round, no matter what you do.
And of course, that is the last of the cryo application on Rev's side. There's no good way for applying elements again unless Jibu happens to draw Abyssal Resonance. So we will not see any more crystallized reactions coming out of Jibu, but maybe he's at a point where he doesn't need it.
I mean, Jibu has a really tough time here. You know, not only did he not draw that second Vortex Vanquisher, he wasn't able to draw into any of the Abyssal cards, the Abyssal Summons cards, and losing Mago Kenki so early as well has really kind of crippled his elemental application, his crystallize and shield generation, and not giving him quite enough time to set up his own lead.
I think he's trying to do the math on if he goes for an attack here or if he plays Wharf for the off chance that he draws into Geo-Res or Vortex Vanquisher. It's kind of an RNG.
So I believe if he just ends here, though, I believe with the math, it leaves only at 3. Oh, but then he has the 2 shields from Tenacity at the beginning of next turn at 5.
I mean, either way, he has to end. There's nothing he can do. We'll see what he draws. There's Abyssal Resonance. A bit too late for that. There's a Lotus. The Lotus might help.
Very big. Although there's also a Hash Brown on the other side, but definitely the healing cards would give the advantage to Jibu more in this case. The longer he can prolong the game, the more time that Sumeru City and Tenshinkaku can start generating value.
Definitely, and you know, I'm thinking right now, of course, Rev tuned Cryo Res earlier, and that was the best decision at the moment. But if he had that Cryo Res, it would be just the right amount of damage he would need, right?
Yeah, I wonder, you know, it definitely, you know, could have been better for him knowing that the game would go on for several turns against a Solar to keep that Cryo Resonance in hand and then just be okay with not dealing as much damage in the moment to give a plus, an extra boost later on.
Damn,
so
Jibu has
Kazuha's
so
skill
many
comes out, it automatically
die,
swaps
but
him over to Kaya.
I don't
Of
think he
course,
has enough
Zhongli does not
health.
want to use his burst against 1 HP
Yeah,
Kaya
1 HP
until
is
you'd be
not worth.
petrifying Kazuha.
I mean, this is
So-
GG, I think.
But I do see.
Yeah, he
a
has
low-cost
Lotus.
I believe that was Lotus. We're gonna have to see that equipped.
Yeah, he's gonna need to use Lotus, so if he
But
takes out Kaya
still,
here,
is that enough?
Kazuha would be able to defeat Zhongli with the plunge attack for 4 damage.
I don't think that's enough.
But the Lotus protects it, and he's gonna be able to
Is
counter
it?
as well with his Zhongli burst. But
He kills
Rev
Kaya,
does have a food
petrifies
in hand, so
Kazuha.
even though Kazuha won't be able to act anymore, as long as he can survive this round, he has a chance of making a comeback the next round.
Does. I think it's gonna depend on who ends first.
I mean, it's almost certainly going to be Rev. You know, after he uses this skill, Zhongli is most likely going to petrify Kazuha and prevent him from acting for the rest of the round.
Oh, I'm just thinking.
Although it is actually possible that rather than using Petrify, Jibu might be better served to use another Zhongli 5 cost, discounted to 4 here in order to... Oh, he can't, because if he tunes too many
Dude, I
cards,
think
Sunru
every
City will
single
stop
match
activating,
we've watched so
and he won't
far
actually have enough.
has been so
He has
like
to really think
neck to neck.
here. So, is it
I was
possible to take out Kazuha right now?
I was gonna say neck on neck,
I
neck to
think
neck.
actually Jibu might just need to end the turn.
Normal attack, Abyssal Resonance.
That also works.
Or end tier. No?
I will
Skill?
have
Elemental, wait! Elemental Burst for 2 cost?
Yeah,
Wait a
yeah.
second! Wait,
That
that's
was
it!
close enough.
That's it! That's it!
Oh,
Is it?
No, with Hash Brown it is not.
Front?
oh.
Hash Brown last second is going to leave Kazuha alive at
my
1 health.
God.
Zhongli is going to go back up to 6 though at the beginning of next round, so it is still
Ah.
very much... It is still very much in his... Oh, but I think that's just enough. That's 3 damage. Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, he draws a hash brown.
Rev ended first.
No way, no way, no way.
And
no
a
way, no way.
send-off.
You just your Vortex Vanquisher!
It's too late.
You just
It's
your
one
Vortex
turn
Vanquisher!
too late.
Oh my
Vortex
That Hash
Vanquisher?
Brown saved until the very end. You know, I think had Jibu just ended first and being able to petrify Kazuha at the start of his round next turn, he might be able to win this game. But that Hash Brown
He
plus
didn't end
right at the
first.
end turns the tables.
Damn, the
The 1
turns.
HP
Wait, that's
victory coming out
2.
of Rev with the most unconventional deck
2
possible.
red team
Congratulations
wins.
to Team Carnival for taking another
That's
win.
crazy.
Let's throw it to the stage.
Well done yet again. Rev, you did it. One of the most clutch hash browns I've ever seen. Please join me here. Are you feeling hungry here today?
A little bit.
Well, another win for Team Carnival. Now, I heard you guys complaining all day yesterday. Oh, we don't have the good cards. Oh, we're the underdogs. Absolutely demolishing. Were you expecting to come out with a victory on that one?
Absolutely did not expect to win that.
No? No?
Yeah.
Well, it was a pretty unique experience being able to watch. It was really close. Did you feel like a little bit more confident, or could it have gone really anyone's way even to that last round?
Yeah, it could have gone anyone's way. I shouldn't have won that.
You shouldn't have won. Well, I've got some terrible news for you. You have. Congratulations. Another team for Team Carnival, and I must shake your hand there. Thank you so much for that incredible match. Hash browns, ladies and gentlemen. Eat them up, okay? Good carbs, good for your games, and good for your victories here today. Another victory for Team Carnival. Things are getting a little scary here. I know that I want it to go to best of 7. So we got to see Team Astra get some wins out there. Jibu, get mad. Go over there, tell your team to win, because I do not want to go home soon, my friends. I want it to go the full way, and I know you at home want the same. Hey, I know you at home as well probably want some prizes, by the way, so don't forget to go to the Astra Carnival Twitch channel, type in Astra Carnival, and be entered to win a fabulous little prize. But I have some fabulous prizes for you right now. It is our casters. Over to them.
Back to the casters.
Thank you so much, Slacks. So Team Carnival is in the lead 2-0, and they have been saying since yesterday, basically doom posting on stage that they are doomed to lose because they lost all of the challenges that gave the best character cards.
I
But
mean,
look at them now. I see your strategy.
I don't know. I do think going into both of those games, the decks that they played were very unfavored, but honestly, Astra has had a really tough time. You know, in the first game, we saw Inzaghi really didn't get a lot of good dice, had to tune a lot of cards. In that second game, I think at the very end, you know, Jibu made a slight miscalculation. If he had just used ended first and then used Zonlink Burst into the beginning of the next round, was for a guaranteed win, but he got baited into winning immediately and then got punished by that hash brown. But what a game. What an amazing game.
What a game.
Yeah.
It was neck and neck for sure. And I really, you know, Jibu did not draw Vortex Vanquisher or Geores, and those cards definitely would have
And not only
saved him.
I mean, we didn't see Vortex Vanquisher, we didn't see Georesonance, we didn't see Abyssal Summons all the way until the end. And all of those cards could have made that one damage difference between winning and losing. So again, I think Rev is correct. Going into that game, he was not favored. But sometimes, you know, the cards don't line up your way, and Jibu here, I think, did. Oh no!
Sorry, I'm typing an essay.
Yeah, he used Burst there to petrify.
While they're doing these highlights, I just want to remind you guys that if you haven't done the survey already yesterday, you are still free to do it today if you would like. The survey is just about this event and how you feel about it, your thoughts. It's a survey about the Astra Carnival. And also, if you guys are interested in downloading Genshin, the links are pinned to the top of my chat. And also, if you want to check out Astra Carnival themselves on YouTube and Twitch, the links are also pinned there. So make sure you guys check out those links. Still free to do it today! Dude, leave me and my bitches alone, Pogs. I was just like, if we haven't done it yesterday, yeah, do it today. Do it now.
Yeah, this is one of
just do it now.
You know, put together that would be called a meta deck. You know, Chong, Beidou, Razor, very much a popular choice right now. And of course we have Quicken, a very much classic, not quite favored among the tournament crowd, but again, when you have to build 7 decks with the characters that you're given, it's really hard to not build certain decks.
Definitely, and I feel like, you know, we were trying to figure out some predictions going into today for what decks these teams would be building with the characters that they won yesterday. And so we saw Chongyan and Razor. I feel like we both predicted.
We both did. Yeah,
we both
that
predicted
one was
that one.
almost like guaranteed to be there. You know, none of those characters would have fit with any other characters they chose. And I think we both also predicted from Astra some kind of Quicken deck. I think we didn't get the exact characters correct.
I have to look at my notes. What did I put?
I put Nahida, Terrashroom, and Yae, but they chose Fischl instead.
For Team Astra, right? I
what was your
put
Quicken?
Nahida Yae.
YouTube, okay. So in the same idea, obviously these players are better than we are. I know. I think this is really what Inzaghi was saying at the beginning. He chose, or he worked with his team to decide whether he wants to make an individual deck stronger. So they could have made this Quicken deck maybe a little bit weaker by using Yae and putting Fischl somewhere else. But instead, they swapped Fischl into here to strengthen the Quicken deck, and then put Yae, I think, in one of the other decks that fills a similar role, but maybe is a little bit worse.
Definitely. So, I mean, who do you think's gonna win this matchup, by the way?
That's a good question. So, let's see. Beidou Chong Razor is a combo deck, and generally they're not favored against aggro decks like Quicken. So I think Quicken does have the favored matchup, but I feel like that's the 3rd time I've said that.
We keep favoring Astra's decks, and then they don't actually take the win.
Actually take the win.
So maybe my strategy as Team Astra's rep is to actually vote for Team Carnival.
Well, I mean, you know, we've been saying that Team Carnival has been, you know, doom and gloom this whole time, but you literally have Doom on your team. You have...
You know, I think Doom's gonna perform today, so let's see this game. Let's go.
Thank you so much, my friends. Yes, we are on the stage now for game number 3. We've seen a lot of close matches so far. However, Team Astra, our blue team, not doing too hot. They need a miracle. They need to pray to the gods or maybe something else entirely. May I welcome to the stage, Doom!
Doom!
From Team Astra.
Wait, I didn't see an AEC lineup at all. In the first 4 good night, Miklaus. In the first 4 matches, I didn't see the AEC at all. Did you?
Quicken Chicken. All right, this is not supposed to happen. I thought that this was lost to history, but you have brought it back. What is your reasoning? Why is it here today?
I choose the quicken because I love the quicken. It is simple and strong.
It is simple and strong, unlike you, who is complex and strong. But don't worry about it. Your opponent is no slouch either, also extremely strong. May I please welcome to the stage from Team Carnival, Lumi! Yes, Lumi back once more. Lumi, this is a grudge match. Now, I don't know if you at home did not see yesterday, but you two went head-to-head in our Prince NPC Challenge. You were half a second away from losing, but you barely got a win, and now you're up against Doom again. Did you choose this match on purpose?
I did not. It was completely random.
Completely random? Wink. Yes, I believe it. How do you feel about your deck going in?
I've seen it played in other tournaments.
You know what's
before,
crazy
so
is like it's a best of 7. So if Team Carnival just win 2 more, it's over. Like if blue team somehow doesn't get a single win, it's over.
But before we do, please, you must shake your hands. Put your hands together.
They just need
Let's
4
get
wins
some
and they
good
already have 2.
sportsmanship. Very nice handshake over to your PCs.
It's
and
all
maybe you at home
Jover.
are wondering, did I win the fantastic contest? Well, if your name is Coconut, you did. What a fantastic name there.
Coconut.
Thank you, Coconut. So sweet indeed. And we do have another winner, of course, and that winner is, my friends, coming to you right this second. I can't say that. Well, I hope you can read your name. Skeeth. I'm Skeeth. Well, I'm Slacks, and it's a pleasure to see you winning your prize. By the way,
So
if you want to win,
troll.
don't forget to go to the twitch.tv Astro Carnival. Type in Astro Carnival, and you too will be a winner. Not only stealing decks from the best players in the world, but also fantastic other prizes. With all that out of the way, I hope you're as excited as I am for game number 3. Let's shoot it over to the Academy Master Blep and the Lore Master Leah.
Thank you so much again, Slacks. So this matchup, Lumi versus Doom, I do believe both these players placed in the top 16
Yeah.
in Cattail's Gathering tournament, and otherwise they haven't had any placements in the past, right? So they're both relatively newcomers to the competitive scene, and the reason why I bring that up today instead of yesterday is because yesterday was a bit
fun,
chaotic. It was definitely more fun, but today, like, this is when the players' skills are really going to be shining with the decks that they built last night.
Yeah, and you'll see
So-
the competitive energy really come out. Like I said, these players stayed up really late last night building these decks. Like they're
Very
taking
late,
this
yep.
very seriously.
Yes.
It's fun in games for yesterday and for you viewing back at home and in chat right now, but they are in it to win it.
Yes, and I think they were even practicing like, right
They
before
were.
going live. They
Yeah.
were playing so much Genius Invocation, just trying to make sure they have what it takes to win. So let's go back to these decks that they chose, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see which one is previous. I believe it should be Team Astro side first. Yep, so we have Quicken here, of course, with Fischl, Nahida, and Chicken.
This is
Quicken
not
Chicken.
a standard Quicken list, I believe. I
No.
know Jade Plume Terrace Room, which we affectionately call Quicken Chicken, was more commonly used back when Quicken was first built as like a core. There are definitely more popular variants using Yae Miko and Tignari, but of course they had some limitations on the characters they could be
Exactly.
using in their builds, right? But this is still a very competitive choice, I believe.
Yeah, Nahida's usually used in a different deck, but we see it in Quicken here. But of course, Beidou, Chong, Razor, if you haven't seen this deck yet, you really should get into it. It's a very fun deck. Beidou hasn't been used much traditionally, but this is one of her best decks. One of the things we're going to see out of this deck is we're going to be trying to rush Beidou's burst at the beginning. You might think it's a Chongyun Razor combo deck. That is not at all what it is. It is really focused around Beidou.
Can you explain why?
There's just a lot of cards in the deck that allow you to get Beidou up to 3 energy on round 1 and then burst. And then you're basically just using Chongyun's Frostlayer Field to infuse your Cryo normal attacks. And then Razor is there as your backup plan. So if your Beidou strategy doesn't work out, you have Chongyun's Field left over, you burst on Razor and try it a second time.
That's really interesting to think about because, from my knowledge, I know Chongyun and Razor are a very strong core
Yeah.
together, but I guess Beidou, in this case, can definitely hold her own, especially with the buffs in most recent patches.
Exactly, yeah. She got buffed with her skill damage going up to 3, and that counter shield is also very effective.
So once again, Team Carnival at 2 wins versus a Team Astra at 0. If you see the QR code on screen between the players,
Wait, what is this
please
card again?
Scan it.
I
It
never
will lead
play
you
this
to a
card.
survey, and you can tell us your thoughts
The
about
think
everything.
thonk
Anything,
card.
We would love to hear them.
The think
And look
thonk.
how long these players are taking. Again, they're taking
Chang
this
the
so
ninth. Okay.
seriously.
Yeah, I
They're
never.
spending a lot of time
A card
thinking
draw.
of the
Okay.
cards, and ooh, Lumi choosing to keep every single card, and I think that's a good idea. You know, we have both Chang the Ninth there, obviously one of the great card drawing card if your deck does physical damage. One thing the Beidou deck loves to do is do 3 normal attacks, surprisingly, to start off the game, which is immediately going to draw those cards.
I mean, you know, with Chang the Ninth, it's a very unconventional card. It's used specifically in decks like this, right?
Yes.
So having double Chang the Ninth is going to give so much card draw for Lumi. It's like exactly what she wants. And of course, you know, with that fresh Wind of Freedom Arcane Legend in hand, I guess, you know, it's not going to be applicable right away, but just having it at your disposal, knowing that you will soon be able to use it.
And we see here Lumi leading off just with a normal attack. So one of the things you have to be very careful of when to use Beidou's skill to block an attack, it does delay your turn by 1. So if you use it too much, you might actually leave yourself in a spot where your opponent can kill Beidou in the next round by going first before you have a chance to deploy burst.
I almost wonder if we're going to see that Woven come out for another normal attack
Almost
with Beidou.
certainly. Yeah, it's going to be a normal attack or a skill here. We'll have to see which one. It is going to be Tidecaller.
Oh, so her skill. And we do see Doom swapping to Nahida. I believe we might see a tune into a 3-cost skill from her to trigger Seeds. Oh, we see Woven coming out. Okay. I mean, that works.
Woven here, I mean, that extra dice probably going to go to Vanarana.
Yes.
So Lumi, they're very smart. Instead of starting with Beidou's skill to block 1 damage from Fischl, she led with 2 normal attacks, maybe baiting Doom into thinking that she didn't roll very good dice for Tidecaller. But then once Doom switched to Nahida, now Lumi is able to block 2 damage from the skill, which is extreme. You want to be very efficient against the Quicken deck, because again, it is the aggro deck in this matchup. It is the one trying to pile on damage, and if you can prevent that as much as possible, you have more room to
Beidou,
execute your
Changyan,
combo.
Razor,
I mean, on the other
Nahida,
hand, though, not going for the
Fischl,
normal attack
and...
not only does not, you know, not trigger Chang the Ninth.
What is the
but
other?
Also, that
The
prepare
Fischl
skill
is
is going to take an additional
so good.
turn,
Yeah.
meaning Lumi is going to be ending
Second.
last.
Yeah.
And Doom is going to be able to use another 3-cost skill with Nahida at the start of next turn to
Definitely.
spread the seats to Chongyun and Razor. So.
Yeah. And that's kind of how the Fischl Nahida combo tends to go. You know, you start off on Fischl. It's quite predictable. And, you know, Lumi played very well into this prediction of going Fischl into Nahida and then Nahida skill again. So as long as she can survive the next Nahida hit, then she'll be in a good spot. Once Beidou's burst does go down, you don't care too much if she survives.
It's true. She is definitely thinking hard about next turn because I think we're going to see an end here.
Yeah.
By the way, so Team Carnival is currently 2-0 against Team Astra. We were thinking about some chants for our teams last night, right? Pouring over Twitch chat, seeing the reception. There was so much support for Team Carnival yesterday.
There was a lot.
But we need some support for Team Astra. So for those of you watching on Twitch, can you guys all type add Astra Abyssosque in chat for me? That is our team chant. Add Astra Abyssosque.
You know, I think definitely Team Astra could use some love here. I know predominantly yesterday, looking over chat, it was a love of Carnival. I mean, we were the one that finally delivered justice for Sino, so I
Yes.
think we do deserve it.
Oh, don't spoil it. I think we might see Sino later.
We might,
He was
yeah.
on the list.
He was
on the list.
He wasn't on the initial list that we saw, but if this game goes on, of course, there are 3 more decks from each team not yet revealed.
And ideally, we will be playing all 7 games in this best of 7.
That is my hope as well.
Stove coming out for 2 more cards because it is round 2.
I mean, these players spent so long on preparing these decks. Some of them are so unique, even down to the very 7th deck. You know, they didn't cut corners. The 7th deck is not just a throwaway deck that they don't care about. Each choice is very important.
Another Woven coming out. We will certainly see Nahida skilling again.
Ooh.
Gamblers equip onto her. You know, that Stove giving Doom Gamblers. He did thumbs up there. He knows exactly this is going to be the exact amount of damage he needs to take out Beidou. So Nahida sees coming in clutch for that extra 1 damage, and he will get 2 Omni Dice back for that.
Well, I wonder if Lumi may have miscalculated that a little bit. Losing Beidou is actually pretty big, but this is where the Razor backup plan
The super
really comes
conduct
in important,
damage
you know?
is so dank.
Beidou was able to output a lot of damage. And
They say
trigger those
Beidou Razor
chains, so she's still done. And we saw, of
Chongus is
course,
popular, but
you
I
know,
haven't seen
Gonzaga
this
in the
deck
first round
ever. I've
lost
seen Raiden
still got
instead
very
of
close to winning,
Beidou.
so
I see.
It's a big hit, but still not over.
I wonder
Chongus.
if you're Doom here, do you tune for the elemental burst on Nahida and then just sacrifice her, or what do
I
you do
love
here? Do you
that
swap
people
off?
call him Chongus even though he's
Swapping
not
off doesn't make much
chunky at
sense 'cause
all.
Fischl still has
He's
her
like
skill
small
out.
ice
I think
boy.
the Nahida burst does make sense. You know,
Chongus.
it's never a big deal if you only
so
get to
funny.
use Gamblers once, so I think a burst here would be pretty powerful. You know, it's going to apply Dendro to Chongyun and also buff any more reactions from the team, which Quicken obviously does a lot of by 1.
And you know, I think Doom using both of those Wovens in the way that he did makes a lot of sense, but also we know there's only 2 Wovens in one deck, right?
Exactly.
So that won't come as a surprise to Lumi anymore. It's not something she has to account for going forward, so we'll have to see how that plays and everything.
Lumi, of course, has her own Woven in hand, not yet used, maybe saving.
Oh, Adeptus, that's going to add some damage onto that burst. He is going to have to tune for it. Probably one of those food is going to go away.
Yeah, but I don't think this is enough. This should be 8 damage.
Panorama.
Oh, yeah, and
It is 8 damage.
It is 8 damage, but the
no
seeds,
elemental reactions.
No elemental reactions yet, but the seeds eventually will take out Chongyun. We might.
Oh, Hash! And Chef
and
Mao!
Chef Mao.
But that's exactly what Lumi needed.
I think so. I mean, you still need to swap off Chongyun here because the official skill at the end will take her out. So we might see her swap to Doom. But Doom with those 2 Wovens got to a really... I mean, again, it's being an aggressive deck. That's kind of what you want to do. You want to put pressure on your opponents, deal a lot of damage, put them into these awkward situations where they can't execute the game plan. And this is why combo decks hate kind of this. I mean, this is why I said in this matchup, Doom is very much favored.
Yes. And you know, we've said that for each of these games so far, but this one is truly proving...
Well, for once, you know, Astra is not low rolling here. Doom hasn't had to tune that many cards. Being able to draw into both Wovens, you know, getting that Gamblers.
Definitely.
He's had great dice, good cards, average dice, average cards. That's really what you need in a favored matchup.
And you know, if Doom takes this win, then he will be even against Lumi, because Lumi did win the challenge yesterday.
Yeah, definitely a lot on the stake here. Not just prizes, but a lot of pride here.
We'll have to see. I wonder if we're going to see a Gambler's equip onto Chongyun. Yes, and that's exactly what's happening. Gamblers onto Chongyun. I believe Lumi is willing to sacrifice Chongyun in this case.
Looks like
because those seeds are going to take him out anyway unless she wants to expend Hash Brown there.
Oh,
tuning Chef Mao.
Chef Mao.
Interesting choice.
Yeah. I mean, I think Lumi is really weighing up all of the other cards left in her hand. I mean, Liben might have been a better choice, but maybe she's looking to tune 3 cards this round, because she does need to use skill in order to take out Nahida here. So she has to choose 3 cards to tune. So there goes Fresh Wind.
Fresh Wind of Freedom.
We might see. It's going to be probably going to be Liben as the last one, wanting to keep that Gamblers, Cryo, and the Heavy Strike for
and
Razor.
And the food as well. You really need the food. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just, it's very painful to see some of these cards getting tuned, but that Liben is not going to come into play. So sometimes you have to do this when you're playing this game. You have so many cards in your hand that you want to play, you need to play them. Tuning the Hash Brown there. Okay.
Choosing to keep Liben.
Skill does come out. Nahida falls to that. That's just.
Oh, I see.
Oh, we're going to play Liben instead.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think Lumi is predicting that, you know, Doom is very much incentivized to take out Chongyun here. Before bursting, although he could also just choose to end, let those 2 dice go to Vanarana and just let the summon deal damage at end of turn. We'll see what he chooses to do.
Nope.
Tuning, so he's got a normal attack.
Immediately going to a normal attack. He does not want Chongyun to burst anyone right now. I think that's the right choice.
Good.
I think I like that, you know, just to apply that Electro. So, you know, if you didn't do that, your opponent would start their turn with no elements applied. They wouldn't have any Electro, but this applies Electro to Razor, allows you to reapply Quicken right away.
Yep.
Ooh.
Tuners are a little bit too late, I believe.
A little bit late, but there's Minty Meat Rolls in Lumi's hand, which of course discounts your normal attacks by 1. Razor is not quite yet built up to burst, unfortunately.
Reroll all dice.
Yeah, and what I'm concerned about is that Razor is at 7 health
So
with Electro application on him, and also, you know, Quicken is going to be buffing. Also, Nahida's Burst is going to be buffing elemental reactions. So there's going to be a lot of damage coming out very quickly from Doom's side.
I believe it's 5. Oh, there's no
Smoke
Quicken right now. It'll be 5 damage just from Terra Shroom's ability, and then this Threatening Burst. Oh, this is going to be a lot of damage.
Strike. That is going to be a lot of damage. That is -4.
So this is threatening, I believe, Terra Shroom. Oh no, Terra Shroom would still survive a Razor skill here. But Doom does have to play around something like Electro Resonance into Razor skills, although I believe that's still only 3 damage.
Lotus is going to be enough to protect him, I believe.
Yeah, with Lotus, you know, Doom's going to feel very comfortable here, and this is the power of Quicken when it gets, you know, execute its game plan. It's so efficient with damage. You see how happy Doom is?
Yeah, I mean, Razor is left at 1 HP. Has no food left to use.
JJ,
Even if
wow.
Lumi did, it's not enough. He already
Okay.
ate Smoke Chicken, so
First
-8
game
is
for blue
overkill.
team.
It's enough to take out Razor. And Astra
Alright, we
finally
might
takes
go
a
to the
win.
7.
Congratulations to Team Astra.
It's-
That much needed.
It's 1-2 now for red. I mean, it's not like they're gonna. Yeah, they're definitely gonna play games like 4 and 5 and 6. I mean, sorry, 5 and 6 for sure.
Congratulations, Doom! You're
I don't know about
on
a
the
7, but we'll
board.
see.
Team Astra Codec clutch.
Nice,
Well done,
nice.
well played. Woo! I
Well
can feel the
played.
excitement. That was some finger licking, quick and chicken there, my friend. Well done.
Oh, I'm so glad to win because I lose 2 games yesterday. So and I want to revenge my opponent. So
Well, revenge acquired. Sorry, Lumi. She's still here.
I'm sorry.
But yes, revenge acquired. You came in so close yesterday. Pretty dominant victory here today. But more importantly, now Team Astra is back in the competition for the first time, all on your shoulders. So well done, Doom. Any words for your teammates that are going to come and play pretty soon here? You are the only one who's won so far, so build up their confidence a little. Tell them that they can do it, Doom. Thumbs up them. Give them the Bennett thumbs up.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, baby! Whoa, no! No, don't look at that, guys! Avert your eyes! Avert your eyes! No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. You were incredible out there. Team Astra does have a point on the board. My God. Oh, no, Birdie's crying. But we do have some announcements to make, of course. We have more winners, not just Doom here on the stage. We do have 2 new winners from you from the chat over at the Astra Carnival Twitch. Midhouse is our first one. There you go, Midhouse. Welcome home for you. And also Ram Zafia. This is harder than memorizing the Genshin Impact characters the first time. But well done to you out there practicing and trying to learn these great decks at home. So let's go ahead and get ready for our next match. We'll throw it back to our wonderful casters.
Thank you so much, Slacks. So, Team Astra finally taking a win against Team Carnival. It did go as we predicted.
Yeah, yeah.
Doom's thumbs up into a thumbs down, sending mixed signals, though.
Mixed signals. I mean,
Maybe he's trying to play into Team Carnival's strategy.
Maybe. Well, then it'd be the opposite, right? Then he'd be trying to play himself down. I mean, Doom is a really nice guy. You know, I think I really feel for him finally winning one on stage. You know, it is both of these players' first time on stage. It's very intimidating, and what a brilliant
Hi,
player.
Malchoy.
Yes,
How you
know,
doing?
We just saw Nahida using her skill again in that first one we took out Beidou. I feel like that was really crucial. You were saying she just has fire and she never got her burst off. So.
Yeah, and I do wonder, you know, Lumi did mention she's seen the deck play before, not very familiar. That's one of those nuances that you don't realize. If you use Beidou's Tidecaller against certain decks, by delaying your turn and not allowing you to end first, your opponent has the ability to get in there before Beidou's burst, and that's exactly what we saw. You know, had she just gone with the normal attack, it might have been a very different game.
And so, of course, with Team Astra taking this win, we are now 1-2. Team Astra 1 win, Team Carnival at 2 wins. We will be going to a Game 4 and then...
Not just a game 4.
Game 5.
Once we go to, we'll at least get to a game 5. We'll get to see
Yep.
the remaining decks, and we'll
Ooh.
see if Team Carnival decided to play.
Here we
something
go.
with Sino.
So Birdie is playing those other 2.
You know what's kind of funny? I low-key think that although we're watching like a bunch of pros and people who are clearly very good at the gameplay, I still think it's really funny that all their fates are still determined by some element of RNG. Which is why I always like didn't play. This is just why this is the main reason why I stopped playing like another game that I used to play a lot. But right now it's still really fun. It's like the RNG aspect can be what sucks you into the game and also what might suck you out of the game or make you yeet yourself from the game. But right now it's really fun, so I like it.
It's going to be very interesting to see. But first, we are going to be tossing to the break. We will see you guys very shortly.
10-minute break. Oh, perfect. That means I get to cube sucks you. Grr. You know what? I'm going to play. I'm gonna play next time I play. I'm gonna be like B2. Send me the cube deck. I'm gonna build one. We're gonna be annoying. Very fun to play. It is not fun to play against. It is evil. One sec. Let me use the bathroom. I'll be right back. There is a 9-minute break. We're back. I need to refill my humidifier. Gonna make a cube deck just to spite Wandy. That's messed up. It's messed up, B2. Wait, that was Sure Shot. I thought B2 said that. He already has a cube deck. Don't do it, Sure Shot. Typing. I'm currently typing a letter to your guys' boss. This is a review. It's a character review for your performance for this quarter. Joke's on you, don't have a boss. Same. Well, I guess, but Kiko, baby boy. Two minutes left. One minute left. right, we're back. What are we watching tomorrow? I'm actually not sure yet. There is something I do want to watch though that's on my list.
Ladies and gentlemen, travelers of all ages, welcome back to the Astra Carnival, the Prince Cup Winter Invitational, presented by Genshin Impact Genius Invocation TCG. If you can say that 3 times, you get my job. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So good to have you once again for some more Genius Invocation action. We have seen, finally, Team Astra come from the brink of defeat to our stage once again as we continue our best of 7. But without further ado, we can get into the next match. So let's all take a deep breath. Now, if you thought the Thunderbird was a threatening electric creature, you haven't seen anything yet. Please put your hands together, your claws, your beaks, and let's see if his opponent will rue the day that he arrives on this stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Birdie! Yes, I hope you're all cawing in the chat. Ah! There we go. Welcome, Birdie, to the stage. Good to have you. Welcome back. Now, you were the MVP yesterday. For those that weren't watching, had a lot of challenges. You came in pretty clutch. You won your games. You won your challenges. Will you be winning again here today?
If I get as lucky as I did yesterday, then absolutely. If it's down to just my own skill, that's debatable.
Is it really luck? Come on. You're a person that has yet to even seem challenged yet. Everything has been just going your way completely.
The bigger you are, the harder you fall.
Wow. That is not good news for me, as I'm quite big. Anyway, coming up next, many would consider him the hero of Team Carnival, but will he be a hero again today? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Zero! Zero, come on up! Yes, Zero, the swagger. Welcome again, Zero, to the stage. It's a pleasure to see you once again. How you feeling?
So nervous, but I think I'm gonna
put the flag back on.
Okay, you're gonna do your best today. Now, you guys are already in the lead, but you're up against Birdie. Anything about your deck that you'd like to share? You feel confident?
I think so. My deck, I'm gonna try to do my best for some friends that are watching for me, J Palace, and I want to say them.
Say them! I'm not going to stop you. Give the shot. Hold the microphone. Shout it out. You can even do it in your own language, my friend. Tell your friends.
To all my family, to my team, and for my friends from J Palace, I want to say them, si vivo. I don't know if I'm gonna cool to say them, but I wanna try.
All right, fantastic. Well, we will, no matter what, see a fantastic match. Of that, I am sure. What?
Si vivo.
Okay.
That means I will alive.
Okay. Well, that means that it's time to shake some hands. So let's get in here. Good sportsmanship. Look at that. They even said their names. To your stations, gentlemen, as we will begin a match unlike anything you've seen before. This will be a heart stopper, I am sure of it. But don't stop watching as we will go straight to our casters. Lady, gentleman, take it away.
Take it away.
And welcome back, everyone. Once again, I am Leah, aka Windflower Leah.
And this is Blep from @Blep the Cat, and I'm so excited for this match. These are 2 of the most unique decks I've seen.
Definitely.
And I'm
definitely
really looking forward to this.
Yeah, we were talking a bit earlier about, the composition of Birdie's deck, but do you want to touch a bit on Zero's deck?
I mean, we'll get to them each in turn, I'm sure. We're plenty of time to, but both of these, very unusual. The team chose Daya very early on. If you remember the draft picks from the end of day 1, Daya was an early pick. We both predicted on our notes that they would be playing Daya, Ito, Noel. Which is a very common combination, but they surprised all of us by doing something completely different.
Yes, and so first off, we have Team Astra's deck. Of course, this is the Child Yoimiya Ayato Vaporized deck. I believe it is focused around Yoimiya's normal attacks and Vaporized reactions, with Hydro and Pyro.
Yeah.
Very interested to see how this works differently from
Tighnari burning instead of Din. Dude, there's so many different decks.
And Yoimiya, but without Bennett there and with Ayato, it actually plays, or should play, extremely differently. We don't have a weapon, a bow for Child here in this deck. It's probably most again, we'll have to wait till Birdie plays it to show us, but it's probably mostly based around Yoimiya with Ayato there to buff normal attacks and then Child as a finisher.
And of course, here we have Zero's deck. You mentioned that we both predicted we would see Din, Dia, Ito, Noel, but in this case, we have a burning deck with Dia, Tighnari, and Colette.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what to think of this one. I think, there's some help here from his friends to suggest decks like this. Burning, of course, going to be one of the main reactions to watch out for here. Also has an unusual location card in Chinju Forest. I don't think we've actually seen that card played on the big stage before.
We've never seen that played.
No.
I don't even think I've seen it played in my Catskill Gathering stream days.
Yeah,
so.
it's an unusual card. You know, if you end second, it will give you 1 extra die into the next round. So definitely, you know, a card that's very specific to a deck's playstyle, and hopefully Zero here will be able to utilize it to its fullest to show us its potential.
You know, it's always really exciting when players bring these unconventional cards or team comps and then show us how it's done in some ways, because of course these guys have played on the big stage before. They are professionals, essentially. So I've never seen Chinju Forest played. No. I'm really excited to see if he's going to be able to show us how it's done.
I mean, I really hope so. You know, I mean, there's a lot on the line for both players. If Zero does manage to win this game, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Team Astra because they'll be 1 game away. They'll be at match point from losing the series.
And here we are getting into our game 4. Of course, Team Astra with 1 win and Team Carnival at 2 wins. If you see a QR code on the screen between those player cams and you want to give us some feedback, you just want to tell us what you think about this, scan it, send in your thoughts.
Resident Sumeru hater.
You know, Zero...
Child Double
nice,
Pyro is a pretty popular deck, but since
family
Bennett isn't available, it seems they've opted for
earlier before
Ayato.
the stream, and he said he had some like extended family, other birds watching. So, you know, to those of you watching Birdie play, we wish him luck too.
Yeah, cheer for who you want to win in this matchup. I mean, personally, I am of course rooting for Carnival, but I always love a close series, so I would also love to see Astra tie it up as well. But shout out who you want to win in the chat.
Didn't you say you had a team chant?
I did. I'll reveal it. You know, I gotta save it for the clutchest of moments. But let's watch what's happening in the game here. Oh, we're actually starting Yoimiya.
Yes, so Yoimiya start. We do see a normal attack coming out Tia at 8 HP.
So
is that a parametric transformer in Birdie's hand?
It is. A lot of combo decks love to run that card. You know, it costs 2 to play, but once you trigger enough reactions, it'll give you 3 dice, essentially giving you 1 additional dice here. So it looks like this deck is built around Yoimiya's burst here.
Yes, it looks like Birdie is rushing out her burst, and we might see that parametric transformer come down as his last action, and he will pass because he doesn't have another dice for a 3rd normal attack.
Well,
so
that food in Birdie's hand could be a Northern Smoke Chicken. I believe it is Northern Smoke Chicken, which will reduce normal attacks to only 2 dice, letting Yoimiya fully charge up her burst in 1 round, which could be a very powerful opener, especially with that Chain the Ninth. And this is very similar to how the Beidou deck likes to play. You know, the Beidou deck that we saw before with Chung Razor rushes out Beidou's burst for the same reasons that we see Yoimiya's burst being rushed out now, using the same combination of cards.
And in this case, you know, Zero is not able to take out Yoimiya as quickly. Yoimiya will be able to get her burst off. We do have Dia's skill out, and with those 3 Dendro Dice, we might see a swap to either Kole or Tignari for their skills.
Kole, reporting.
Speaking of which, there's Kole.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if Zero decides to equip the Raven's Bow here. Raven's Bow very powerful, King's Squire, very powerful on Kole, being able to add extra damage, and there we go, it is the Northern Smoke Chicken. Northern
Smoke Chicken coming out for that last normal attack. Yoimiya will be able to cast her burst at the start of next round. That is a huge start for Birdie.
Yeah, but also pretty efficient that, you know, Daya's skill you saw there, blocking 1 damage from Kole, and because Daya is below 7 health, she doesn't actually take any additional damage.
You know, Birdie has Vanessa's Rebellion in hand. It takes 3 dice of the same alignment and turns them into 4 random dice. But I mean, when you're playing a normal attack heavy deck, you normally use 2 unaligned dice anyway when you're making normal attacks. So it doesn't really matter what kinds of dice you get from that card. It's just very cost efficient in the case of Birdie's deck.
Yeah.
Have to see how Zero responds here.
Yeah, so it looks like just going to be a normal skill. Not going to opt to use that King Squire in hand yet, which does make sense. You know, when you have the correct dice, King Squire is great because if you have, say, 3 Electro dice that you can't use, you can use that to equip King Squire, reduce the cost of your elemental skill by 2, and only use up 1 Dendro dice.
You know, this is something interesting we noticed about Zero's deck. He brought NRE, which, you know, used to be a way more popular choice, but since Chef Mao was buffed, he's been way more popular than NRE. But kind of wondering, what are your thoughts on NRE versus Chef Mao in this deck?
Yeah, I mean, Chef, they function different ways. I think NRE is very powerful if you want to draw more cards, whereas Chef Mao is better for generating dice. One way you can think of NRE, you know, it's essentially a strategize. It draws you 2 cards for 1 dice. But instead of drawing you 2 random cards from your deck, it gives you 2 food, right? You play it, you get a food immediately. When you play your second food, it gives you another card. And then it keeps drawing after that.
Speaking of strategize.
Strategize, yeah. There's a lot of card draw in Zero side.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot of card draw. Yoimiya's Burst coming out, that is -2. Birdie opting not to play the Parametric Transformer. I'm wondering if he's going to play it later. Maybe he's looking to play the Leave It instead, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think, so Parametric Transformer is very tricky because it always will activate after 3 elemental reactions.
Yes.
And if you time it incorrectly, your opponents can actually play in a way that activates it on a turn that you don't want.
I
and
wish
makes the
that
dice
like
go
somehow
away. So
they
it's a
had like
very
a
slow-testing card.
interactive
I
kind
think
of
the point of saving
overlay
it here
thing, like
is
a
Birdie
extension,
is
so
waiting
that I
until
can
round
read
3.
what
So
each
round
card
3, you
does
generally
as
let
I'm like
combo decks
watch
do most
parties.
of the
I can
damage,
learn
and that is the
more.
turn you want all of your dice.
Because there's
Do
so
you
many
think that
cards that I
Birdie
still
is
don't
going to
really
be
know like what
focused
they
on swapping
do
to
and like
Child
how
or
they interact
Ayato
and
to
stuff
do
like
the big
that.
red
It's
damage?
definitely Ayato. I mean, I think
I just want to
Ayato
learn.
has the most
There's so many
potential
things I
for,
don't know
normal attack
still.
damage.
So
Child
many things
also
I
is
don't
much
know.
better at soloing at the end than Ayato is, so I'm gonna guess it's Ayato, but I could be wrong.
So we see Woven coming into play for Birdie. I'm wondering if he's going to stand Yoimiya and sacrifice her. Oh, Parametric Transformer coming down.
Here we go, yeah.
In Liben, wait.
This makes sense. So, by doing it this way, you know, Birdie doesn't need to swap off of Yoimiya and spend an extra die. He's just going to let Yoimiya go down. Now that her burst is up, that's all he cares about. And like I said, everything is being set up for that round 3. You know, it's going to line up perfectly. Yoimiya's burst will have 1 turn remaining. Both Liben and Parametric Transformer will trigger next round, almost guaranteed.
I do think just looking at Birdie's hand, he has so much at his disposal here. Even 2 Gamblers, a Vanessa's Rebellion, Covenant, and I believe that's another Northern Smoked Chicken. So we do see Kali's Burst coming out of Zero here that will be triggering Burning on another character at the end as well. Unfortunately, it is only 2 damage, not quite enough to take out Yoimiya, but she will fall to the summons here.
Yeah, this Burning deck is very efficient at dealing damage, but one of the things I'm afraid of for Zero
Play the
here
game.
is combo
I
decks
do play the
prey
game.
on decks that deal
But I
a
have to
lot of
play
the damage
more.
at the end of the round, right?
Yes.
You see all these summons, they're very
TCG
intimidating
should
on
be
Zero
like its
side.
own game.
But remember,
Well,
they're not going to do anything until the end of the 3rd round, and by then the game
I mean,
could be
the
over.
other games
I
are
mean, I'm
still
kind of
within the
wondering
same
if NRE in this
client,
case is actually,
so
like, a really good
it
pick, because if
technically
you have a lot
is
of
the
food, it's
same.
gonna help you sustain against
I would
something
say
like a combo deck.
Geniusification
You
is
kinda
pretty
swap
similar
around
to
and
what you're
stall out
mentioning.
until your summons do damage. Ooh, I
Because
see
those are also
Gamblers
within the
and
same
also
client, and then
Gendro
this is
Res
also
drawn
within
for
the same
Zero.
client.
That could be huge.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
Zero
think
is
it
definitely-
necessarily
his
needs
goal
to be
is
separate.
survive until the
I
end
think
of the
it is
round,
kind of
even
cool
though
though
it
that like
looks really
they.
bad for Birdie right now,
I do see the appeal of having it appear as a separate client, but I do think it's cool that the characters within Genshin Impact mention the card game as if it's a game in their world. So it's like cool that it's immersive.
He said earlier that, you know, if he gets his lucky
You don't have space. What about your PC?
Isn't that what we're seeing right now?
PC.
This might be the luck he needs to even the score for Team Astra and even the playing field for Team Carnival. Oh, this is going to be close.
It's going to be really close.
I'm honestly not
drank all
liking
my
the odds for
coffee.
Zero. Again, as close as it looks right now, it's because Birdie has put all of his resources into setting up for this crucial turn.
Yes, and you know, even if Ayato Falls Child is going to take the stage, that Parametric Transformer is going to trigger after one more application. So Birdie's going to have a lot of dice at his disposal, a lot of damage.
Yeah, Birdie's is effectively, I believe, especially with those gamblers, if you count up all the dice he's going to use this round, it could go as high as 20. And Zero has no way to generate. I mean, he does have his own gamblers, but he already took out Yoimiya, so that's 2 less dice that he has to use for that gamblers.
Ooh, Stove coming out from Zero, so he will draw 3 cards.
Holy.
I believe that's just
Zero has so many
enough
cards.
to 10. If you draw over 10, you're going to be burning, so you don't want to do that.
Yeah, one of the new cards added in the last version, one of the new Arcane Legend cards specifically, I forget the full name. It's got a pretty long name, but it's a Guoba card. It's Stove God.
Call it Stove.
Yeah, we call it Stove. But it basically, the longer you have it in your hand, the more cards it draws. It draws equal to the number of rounds that have passed, up to 4. So being round 3, that just drew 3 cards for 0 cost, which is actually an extremely powerful effect.
And I have to think about how Zero can kind of like work against this combo deck here that Birdie has set up so well and has high rolled into. You know, I feel like, you know, if he has food that will keep his characters above their breakpoints, you know, that will be an additional action from Birdie to take out another character, right? So
yeah, food will be crucial. I'm also wondering really about, you know, that King Squire. Looking to equip it right now.
Yep, just went on to call A immediately. So her skill only costs 1.
Only costs
after
1.
that equip.
It does cost 3 to equip, so the way to think about King Squire is it's essentially a weapon that adds +1 damage for just 1 cost. But here we go. Gamblers.
Gamblers on Ayato, and you know, anything he does will be enough to take Cole out.
Baron, Bunny.
We'll see if Birdie decides to play any food on Ayato to keep him safe. He might be too low anyway and just looking to take over the game with Child.
Northern Smoked Chicken. I think that makes sense if he's only aiming to
sacrifice that card.
Do 1 normal attack here before Ayato falls. So Child is going to have to be the one to end everything, basically.
Yeah.
Does he have enough to end with just Child?
Yeah, Zero. I think he would
Yoi
probably
burst
will see
echoes
Zero
+1
use. So
pyro on
Daya's skill is
everyone.
unique in that if she uses her skill while her summon's already out, it actually has an additional effect to apply pyro immediately. So Daya could take out Ayato here. And yeah, with that Gamblers, this is a really good move, I think, from Zero. I think he's decide, does he want to protect Daya after this from Child? Because Child will be able to take Daya out with a skill.
I mean, I think anything you can do to kind of survive this round a bit longer if your Zero is going to be a good play, right?
Yeah. One of the main problems I think I'm seeing right now, though, with Zero's play, though, is Tignari is not the best character to finish on. Kole is much stronger to end the game as your final character.
I mean, I don't know if Zero has Adeptus in this deck. I do not believe he does, but with Adeptus, Tignari can actually do a whole lot of damage. We do see a Lotus come onto Dia, and that will protect her against Child. I believe it should be enough.
I wonder if we will see a day burst. Looks like not enough dice there, but this should protect. So Child's skill should do 2 damage, 4 into Vaporize, and then 2 more, or 1 more from the hit. So yeah, not going to be enough to take out Daya.
Zero does have a Woven in hand if he wants to go for Daya's Burst.
Yeah, but Daya's Burst, remember, is, you know, you probably don't see it very often, but it is a delayed burst, so it takes 2 hits, and Daya probably is not going to survive that long.
Yeah, 1 more hit and she's gone. Birdie is at a nice 7 dice, and of course there's a Woven in hand, and
Solo Child is insane.
And Covenant.
7. Yeah, 7, but Gamblers and Woven and a Covenant essentially means he is working with still 11 dice. So that is more than enough to end the turn.
I'll lead the way.
And the game.
Yeah, end the game. So very heads up play by Zero. Switching up to Tignari to avoid a potential for another Gamblers.
I think this was a good decision because, you know, you really need the Gamblers refresh if you're Birdie to wipe the game. Now it's a bit more uncertain, but with that Minty Meat rules, each of those normal attacks is only going to be costing 2 dice each instead of 3.
Actually, yeah, but one of the biggest struggles Birdie's going to face here, notice he has 0 Hydro dice right now.
Oh no, you don't want to tune any of what he has, right?
His hand extremely, he has 1 Woven.
Oh, tuning
he's
the
got to
Covenant.
tune the Covenant. That hurts.
That does hurt a lot.
Yeah. And notice he's saving the Woven because he wants to surprise Zero with an extra attack when he's not expecting it.
Well, I also think, you know, it adds up perfectly. You equip Gamblers and you play Woven. Except he's still... No. Wait.
I believe that will be enough, but it depends.
But he needs 1 more Hydro dice.
It depends if Zero can actually protect Tignari here. You know, I think if he has any way to keep Tignari alive through 1 more attack, he needs to take it. This might be the wrong move.
Going for Elemental Skill onto Child. See, what I'm fearing right now, Gamblers equip, and he's going to have to play the Wolf and just do a normal attack, but then he's only left with 2 Electro. Is this going to be enough to take out Tignari? This normal attack?
Because it's a charged attack, it is going to be enough. Yeah, and he's going to get the 2 refunded.
Oh my god, it's Birdie.
-3 just enough. So he does have enough dice to take out Dia now.
Yeah, I think Zero really needed to identify that his opponent
Wait,
could
Child
have
is
had a
kind of
Woven and
crazy.
played one of his food cards. He has 2 in his hand
Oh my
right
god.
now. Needed to delay, again, 1 more round for those summons, but it is not enough.
That
Reverse
last
sweep.
normal attack coming into play, taking Dia out. Congratulations
Damn,
to
it's
Team
2-2
Astro
now,
for
right?
taking the second
2-2.
win.
Yeah, I think it's 2-2.
All right, Big Birdie yet again with another big win. Congratulations. Oh, was it luck? Was it skill this time, Birdie?
Definitely luck.
You always say that, Birdie. But
if I hadn't had a single one of those cards, then I would have ran out of steam just a little bit too quickly, and then my opponent would have taken it.
Absolutely. Well, that is so respectful of you, so thank you, Birdie, for your great sportsmanship, but more importantly, your great plays. I have to say that you've done something truly special. You get us closer and closer to seeing what decks you guys have not revealed yet. Which means to me, there is still a chance for a Sino deck. Now, I know you don't have to confirm, you don't have to deny, but justice could still be served here today. Are you excited to potentially go for the full way for the best of 7?
Well, my next game is game 6, and with this win spread, we're going to get there. I know my opponent has gone on record saying he's not looking forward to game 6, so look forward to that, audience.
All right, fantastic. That's what I like to hear. Well, thank you so much for another incredible game, Birdie. The chat is aloof with cause as it is right now. Go back to your nest, back to your baby soon, as I will now announce some winners from our competition here in our Twitch chat. We do have 2 new winners who have gone to the Astro Carnival and entered in. First one is Yellow Tintin. Congratulations, Yellow Tintin, for that. Well done. Oh, Zero even claps for you as well. Great sportsman, Mr. Zero. Well done out there. And next up is Homa Hum. Like, yeah, that's great. I got to tell you guys, we are getting so lucky with the Twitch usernames. Could get real bad, but luckily for us, Homa Homia is there for us. So thank you so much. We'll go back to our casters and get ready for our next exciting game of Genius Invocation.
So we are 2-2. Welcome back, everyone.
It's always hard to follow Slacks.
We're just kind of laughing up here.
He's great. You can't hear us laughing, but we're giggling whenever he is on. So, yeah. I mean, what an amazing series. Both very unique decks, very close. Again, it came down to the wire at the very end. If Birdie had not clutched that game out at the very last round, then Zero would have immediately taken over those summons at the end of turn, threatening so much damage.
Here we're going to see the highlights. You know, what Birdie said in his post-game interview about it being down to luck was definitely true. I know he said earlier that if he is as lucky today as he was yesterday, he would win, and that is absolutely what happened. It was definitely down to the luck of the draw here. Zero played very well. If Birdie hadn't drawn as well as he did, he would have just been eliminated that round.
I mean, a lot of it really, if you look at that last round, look at the dice on Birdie's side, he did have a lot of dice on his side, but they were all Electro.
They were all Electro.
Even though he needed all of his dice, that was mostly because he really got unlucky with his dice rolls, and it really came out of this critical turn where Tignari went down, the Gambler's Refresh came in, and that gave him just enough.
Yeah, you know, 3 Electro is so painful. I feel like he calculated everything just perfectly so that, you know, he used every single card. So
every single card, and we're so evenly matched here.
We are so evenly matched here. The first 2 wins going to Team Carnival.
I was molding on backstage. Oh, did he say that? That's so funny.
So in this best of 7, a team has to win 4 games in order to win the entire series.
Yeah, so we've essentially brought it back into a best of 3. We're going to see so one of our competitors won't be taking the stage again a second time, but 3 of them will. They need to win 2, and here we go. Here are the decks.
Ooh, so Inzaghi is coming up next, team captain for Team Astra against Rev. This is a rematch.
It is a rematch, and we saw it here at a cheer down there because there is Sino, and actually both of us predicted this deck. Sino, Candace. We didn't get Sarah, but we almost predicted it. And of course,
Agent EC, very
there it is.
Choice. Of course, Yai instead of Fischl, but they did have limitations on the characters they could choose. But this is still a very,
I thought they had the AEC team, but I didn't see AEC in their first few rounds.
I'm so excited to see this justice for Sino.
Hashtag justice for Sino. So you're rooting for Carnival here.
Isn't that the strategy? Isn't that the strategy? Like fair, you have to you have to doom post and then you win.
You do.
Yeah.
You must hate it that Team Carnival got the hashtag Justice for Sino, didn't you?
You know, they got Sino fair and square.
Speaking of justice,
Team Astra had opportunities to take Sino.
Speaking of justice, you know, I got a little note here. According to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, the winners today is going to be Team Carnival.
Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal.
Is that your chant?
That's my chant.
Is that your chant?
Death penalty and life sentence are the 2 main super stall decks. Oh, okay.
To not slip up.
I see.
Okay.
I've been holding onto that the whole day. Yeah, it's great.
According to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal. Anyway, add Astra Abyssosque.
I don't think that's beating my chant, unfortunately. But
Is
we
that
will
what it
see if the
feels like?
players can kind of live up to our expectations here as we, try and figure out who is going to take the crown at this Winter Invitational.
Definitely super excited going into this 5th game. Please, if you're watching on Twitch, put your predictions in chat.
Yeah.
We'd love to see them.
So you have to root for the Sino deck, right? Which means it's Team Carnival all the way.
Okay, if I root for the Sino deck, can you root for
Agent
ECE?
No.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Because I don't know. It's such a meta deck. You know, I always
It is
root
a
for the
meta deck.
underdog.
And it's also the team captain of Team Astra playing it.
is.
So,
Yeah.
maybe it's kind of like, I feel like the favor is in Team Astra's
It is.
direction.
Yeah.
But I mean, the sentiment might be in Team Carnival's direction
Definitely.
for this game.
Yeah,
We're just gonna have to see.
Yeah, I'm not looking at chat right now, but I 100% guarantee we have a lot of Sino love.
Definitely. And for now, let's get into Game 5.
Thank you so much yet again to our casters who love to rub in the fact that they can say or Trees Mechanique. Yeah, very funny, guys. I cannot say that. I'm sorry. I am not that skilled. But I know someone that is extremely skilled, and we will bring them up to the stage right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together for the captain of Team Astra, and Joggy, come up once more time. Or Denise Mechanique, or Trees Mechanique, Denise Cardinal. Yeah, I did it. Welcome back once again. It is time, my friend. Now, I know you have been so supportive of your team. Every single person that's played up there, they make eye contact with you. You give them the nod, then they go and win. But you really need to win on this stage. Are you ready to have your first win on the stage today?
Or Cheese Technique, Denise, Canal, or Cheese Technique, or I just become Denise.
Everyone knows that you're a very good player.
Or Cheese Mechanique, Denise, Cardinese.
The best deck in the game, so
can't say it fast.
There's no way I messed it up, right?
I absolutely
That's such
believe
a hard
it.
tongue twister.
Unless we do have another competitor for you. Let's welcome him back to the stage. Rev, come on up.
You're talking about the players? They're all like pro players from across the globe.
A lot of victories on this stage so far, but most importantly, the Justice deck, all right? Now, if you didn't catch our show yesterday, Twitch chat continuously put Sino in the deck over and over. Nobody picked it until you finally got it yesterday, secured the win for Sino, and now we got him in the deck. Are you ready to play this?
Not really.
Not really? This is Sino Justice! What are your chances out of 10 of winning this game?
I'm against one of the best decks in the game right now, so not looking really good.
And the best player. You're up against one of the best players, too.
That is true.
Yep, you say it so he feels good. And one of the best players.
And one of the best players.
Yes, indeed! Good chances of winning, potentially. It's going to be hard?
It's going to be tough.
All right, well, as they all are, nothing in life is worth it unless it is difficult, my friends. Let's go ahead and shake those hands. Get ready for your match. This is gonna be a big one, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, whoa! I can feel the power behind that one. Well, these competitions are getting harder and harder, and now we will see the most meta deck versus what you guys wanted the most yesterday at home on Twitch chat. We'll find out which one can win as we throw it to our wonderful casters, Blep and Leah.
We've already talked a bit about this match, but we're just so excited to see it play out finally.
Yeah, and specifically this iteration, the cards I have chosen for the Sino deck, it's what I like to call the weapon package. You know, it contains weapons and the Unseen Razor.
The Unseen Razor.
My favorite card in the game. You know, we saw something similar with Liaison earlier. If you're not familiar with what the Unseen Razor does, it lets you return a weapon back to your hand and reduce the cost to play 1 by 2. Fingers crossed we'll get to see it. I mean, it's one of the high points of this deck. I'll definitely explain it if I see it a little bit more detail, but I am 100% gunning for the Sino deck here.
I am seeing Injagi support cards right now, and there is Tubby, and I really like Tubby, and we haven't really gotten to see Tubby a whole lot in the past 2 days, so you know what? I'm going to be rooting for Team Astra still. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, Astra is definitely... This is a scary deck, and we saw it a little bit in action during Challenge 4, right? The speed challenge. It really quickly demolished the other side there. What we thought was a stall vs stall matchup, not quite the case. This deck is capable of very aggressive starts, although that had Fischl. instead of Yae.
And of course, Inzaghi taking home first place in the Southeast Asia Prince Cup against Rev.
Against Rev,
Against Rev.
This
so
is a
this
grudge
is
match.
a rematch. This is a grudge match, and he's playing one of the strongest decks in the game. That was not a joke what he said on
AEC
stage
is not
earlier.
stall.
Agent EC,
It doesn't
which is
feel
Agent
like a stall.
Electro Charge is one of the strongest compositions for GITC.
Kujo,
But here we have
Candace,
Sino,
and
Candace, Sarah, and of
Sino.
course Rev's credentials aren't being shown there, but he came in second, which is extremely good result at the Southeast Asia Prince Cup as well. We had the honor
Well,
of
let's
casting
see
these
how
two
this
players
goes.
already.
Yes,
and we say grudge match,
absolutely.
but they are, you saw with their handshake, they are really good friends.
They are very
They
good friends.
supportive, and you know they're gonna let the cards decide how this match goes.
Here he
Sino
goes.
Candace is a very strong core. It's not
Yeah.
very commonly seen, but you know, players have been picking those two up together. That's why we were able to predict that would be the case for Team Carnival. I'm kind of excited to see Rev showcase this deck to us.
Definitely, and you know, with Candace
Hi,
and Sino both from
Grease.
Sumeru, it allows you to use one of those powerful element location resonance cards here with Sumeru Resonance, which lets you redraw some cards from your hand. Very good for kind of the weapon deck where you have very individually powerful
How
cards
is
that
your
if
Sunday?
you draw at the right time are going to be extremely good. But you also have very situational ones where sometimes you don't want it in your hand, and being able to throw those away at any time is very powerful.
Definitely. And so would you say that this deck is more fast-paced than Agent EC? Which one do you think is the more aggressive of the two?
Definitely anything with weapons usually tends to be pretty aggressive. So the Sino deck is looking to be the more aggressive one. Oh,
Yeah, right away we are getting into game 5, 2-2, Team Astro, Team Carnival. There is a QR code on stream. If you see it, if you scan it, it will lead you to a survey. You can tell us
Better now
all
that
of
you're
your
home from
thoughts
work.
about what you think about this
Yay.
event, what you think about us.
That's good.
And we would love to hear it.
That's
Tubby, there's Tubby!
both decks drawing almost extremely well from the beginning. We have Tubby from Agent EC, one of the main ways that you generate value with the deck over the long term. But Rev did manage to draw Moon Piercer, one of the premier weapons, along with 2 copies of the Unseen Razor.
Of course, I see Inzaghi smiling
Yeah.
as he draws the Tubby. The
should.
Tubby, like, Tubby is one of those cards where you want to draw it as soon as possible because it will maximize its efficiency over time. You play it turn 1, and then you get a free location card every round.
But the one trouble though is Inzaghi has not yet drawn any location cards, so we're probably going to see from his side is he will deploy Tubby, but will also need to deploy Liben in order to start fighting location cards.
I think he
With
has
Tubby Engine.
enough dice to do a single summon into Tubby and Liben.
Oh my god, I actually
he
know
would have
how
to
this
choose
comp
one, I
works.
Uh,
It's my
Tubby
first
no, I think you can play
deck
Tubby
that
Liben
I
summon.
know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it
yeah,
works.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So I believe that will
Yay.
be his line.
Because he has a Hydro dice, so one Omni is going to be left
Now
for...
I'll
it's
get
gonna be
to
perfect
know.
For Inzaghi. That is the line he's going to play. What about Rev?
What?
Yeah, as good as Rev's hand was,
Their,
his dice
what do you
are
call it?
so bad. You can see he
Wait a
started as
What
Sarah.
his,
I
like,
think what this deck usually wants to do
priorities
is
would
start
be.
Sarah and then go to either Candace or Razor with that Moon Piercer equip. But because he didn't roll any Electro
You
dice,
say
unfortunately,
Razor?
he is running King
promise
Squire,
to
which
keep
is a
you
bow that
safe.
Sarah could use, and yeah, he's forced to switch.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. But I mean, those 3 Geo dice can be used for the equip, right?
Yeah, there's 3 Joes that can be equipped, but of course you can only equip Sino or Sarah here. You can see Rev checking. Inzaghi also very confused by this play. You know, he must be expecting that his opponents did not
Unseen
roll
Razor
well enough to
is the
start on
card
Sarah, because
in
otherwise
Rev's
this would
hand.
not
He has
be
to
the
have
line
them.
that they would take.
Yeah, normally, if you
Razor.
start
Okay.
on a character,
I
you're
was like,
intending to do something
Razor
with
the
that character.
character
The fact that you
card?
swap off
Okay,
just
I've
kind
never
of
seen
wastes
that,
one of your dice, which is,
card
you know,
before
one
in the
dice adds
hand.
up to a lot at the end of the game.
Exactly.
1 dice, 1 point of damage, etc. 1 card.
Yeah.
So
And you know, I think Rev shook his head then because I believe, I'm not
Ew.
100% sure
There
how
it
to play
is,
this deck.
the
Oh, it's
two
the
summon.
5 cost coming out. I'm not 100%
this makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah, this definitely makes sense given
Let's
his
save
dice
enough
rolls.
leeway
I think
to, like,
normally you would want to go to Sino, but I guess Sino is going to be the character you end on.
I think this makes sense from Inzaghi's point of view because he has no location cards to play right now anyway, so getting Tubby down is probably not the priority. I
That's
think
true.
he can double summon with Ocean and then play
a
Leben
Leben
Pass,
is
which
pretty
is
good
exactly what he
value and
does.
end.
So Rev did use
Ow.
Candace's prepare skill. It'll be -4
Ouch.
to Oceanid. 3 dice left. We'll have to see what happens.
3 dice
Yeah,
left.
this isn't really awkward. He might need to.
Swap to
I was going to switch to
Cujo.
Sarah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think
Leben
he's still
and end.
intending
Oh,
to use
both
Sarah still
Leben and
beginning next
ending?
turn. But this was a really tough start. You know, his dice rolls did not agree, and Inzagi's off to one of the better starts, I think, for the deck.
Yeah, I mean, I do think this makes sense for Rev, though, because 2 Animo dice, only one of them is going to go to Lieben. It has to be one of each element. Lieben will not take multiples. So using that last dice that he can't use anyway to swap to Sara just kind of puts him in a better position. Both of these players playing very efficient with what they're given.
Yeah, but definitely the advantage in Inzagi's side. You know, Rev not able to punish that slower start as much as he'd like. If he had been able to lead with a Sara skill into Candace, that would have been a very, very powerful opener.
Oh God, what are these
Especially
rolls?
Sara's buff only, you know, her summon buffs skill damage
What are
by
these
1,
rolls for
only after the summon
Inzagi?
deals damage at the end of turn. Ooh.
Finally, Inzagi drawing a location card, and it is one of the most important ones. I believe Sumeru City is so strong.
I guess that'll work
we
with
should see a Tubby into a free Sumeru City, which will actually make Tubby only cost 1 if you think about it.
Yeah,
especially with all those cards in hand right now.
Exactly, yeah, all those cards in hand, you know, Inzagi hasn't needed to tune anything to make the strategy work. And you can see how powerful this deck is when it gets off to the right start.
Yes, and of course Rev going for the Sara skill as we thought, swapping to Candace as, you know, he only has those Hydra left, but...
And what we should see from Inzagi, so if you're used to the official variant, you might have forgotten, but initially when Ancient Electric Charge first came out, Yae Miko was actually the popular choice, and that was when she came first came out as well. But usually you skill twice on her because, of course, if her Sakura have an additional more than 3 or 4 charges on them, they will fire as soon as you end your turn, allowing you to get an extra hit of Electro in.
So most likely to skill twice, he would play Tubby and then play Sumeru City and then be able to skill. Because the way Sumeru City works is if you have more cards in your hand than dice, your elemental skill will cost 1 less.
Okay, and looks like Inzagi is, of course, teaching me how to play this deck, and I'm totally wrong.
I mean, that's okay. It can't be right every time. We see a swap onto Ocean. I wonder what he's intending to do. Maybe another summon?
Yeah,
almost
certainly going to be another skill here.
I wonder what his
that
plan
makes
is.
Sense. Oh, here we go.
Our good friend George.
Yeah,
He's
it will
making
be
a return.
George the Frog. But here we go. Here is the power of the Unseen Razor. We see here returning the equipped weapon on Candace for free, playing it again for 1 dice, and then using her skill for 1 dice. So effectively, what is happening here
is he gonna
the
just
Unseen Razor
tune?
Can be used like a woven to generate
With
an
the
additional
dice
dice each time you return that weapon.
You know,
Wait, what's
the good
the
thing
dice
about prepared
cost
skill in this
reduction?
case is that you're kind of, like, you're going to end up going, like, ending last.
Yeah.
But you can kind of
with
control the state
Sumeru
of the
City.
game by using something like this.
Exactly.
Wait, is that what
because
Sumeru
Inzagi's gonna
City
end up
does?
using all of his dice, and then he's not going to be able to respond to whatever Rev wants to do. So honestly, this is a really strong combination.
Yeah,
I forget
for
what
sure.
Sumeru does.
Luckily, so this is
Reduces
also going to be a
cost
tough
by
matchup, I think, for
1
Rev, mainly because Candace
if
skill
your
is
dice
great against
is
decks that deal
less
damage
than the
up
number of
front.
cards in hand.
But with the way the Electrocharge deck works, it only deals damage at the end of turn with summons, so it actually is better at counteracting Candace's burst
with
than
the
normal.
Sumeru
Here we go.
City.
Lotus onto Rodeo to protect her for another 3 damage. Tubby coming down, and Sumeru City just enough dice to put out that last skill. And of course, the frog gives a shield point.
Yeah, of course. And
Frog.
you know, very powerful stuff. The Electrocharge deck is now operating at peak efficiency. You know, it's being able to play all of its cards
All the
without tuning,
summons.
drawing into its location. So it is really poised to take over the game.
So I wonder how Rev's going to respond here. I know one of those dice should go to Lieben. I almost wonder if he's going to do the same play, though, with Moonpiercer on Candace. Would you do that? Or is that an efficient use of dice?
So
or?
I think I'm starting to figure out how this deck is working. So you kind of have Sara
With you all
and
the way.
Candace to apply some early pressure, but you're looking to burst on Candace once Sino is at 2. I wanna, that's a double
Does Sarah
infusion. That
die
doesn't
here?
work that way. Yeah, I don't know what Teen Carnival was cooking with Sino here, but it sure looks good.
I'm really excited to see it play out because
Never mind.
Candace's burst should be coming down, maybe even
It's very
Sara's
close,
skill. Oh, and that is Sino's talent. That is not commonly seen. I actually don't think I've ever seen it in a competitive setting. So what does it do?
Well, mainly because, you know, before it used to cost 4, but in the recent patch they adjusted a lot of talent cards down in cost, and Sino's talent was not only brought down from 4 to 3, which is of course very important, but its effect was changed. Instead of doing extra damage on odd numbered stacks, now whenever Sino is on an even number stack, he does a +1 damage. And of course, this is ready to take it because right now, of course, Sino is at 2 stacks. So he has an Electro Infusion on his attack, but he can also benefit from that talent.
That's incredible. You know, with the changes to talent cards,
Yeah.
it's definitely a strong choice. If you want to play Sino, you can definitely build a deck around him. That's exactly what Rev has had to do. And I do see, is that two
bows.
Squire? 2 bows.
Yeah, not going to be very good right now because Sarah is most likely going to go down pretty soon. Although again,
Tuning fodder.
Yeah, tuning fodder. But this is where, you know, we see that Nahida looking card is Sumeru Resonance in Rev's hand. And this is where I was saying this Resonance is so good for this deck because you sometimes do draw those useless cards like King Squire at this point in the game. You can simply put them back and draw a completely different card from your deck.
Yeah, because I know if you play Sumer Resonance, you don't always want to get rid of all of your cards.
No.
Like, there are cards you want to keep, but the point is, like, the more cards you have to get rid of, the bigger chance of getting what you want.
That's
but that's
true.
And of course,
the trade-off.
we have Stove God, you know, as the Arcane Legend here in order to draw even more cards. So we'll probably see that before Sumer Resonance plays. But Rev could get a almost completely different hand than what he has now and use that to turn the tables.
So, I mean, we're on round 3, I believe.
We are
so,
round 3.
Stove, which is an Arcane Legend in his hand, would give 3 cards because it goes up depending on what round you're on.
Exactly. And this is really looking to be the turn that Rev wants
For
to
some
finish the game.
reason,
You
when
know,
I
the
watch the
Ancient
time
Electric
tick
Charge
down and the
after
pros
this
haven't
round,
made their
when the
moves yet, it
summons
makes me
go
nervous.
away, but it's also when they deal the most damage. It usually decimates the other side. So he
I'm just
really
like,
is looking to make something happen.
make your move, the time is ticking.
The
Okay,
unfortunate thing about Rev's
another.
hand is
That's
that I do
nice.
not see a Gambler's. There's no Gambler's equip on his characters right now, so he's going
Oh
to
my
have
God,
to use a Super
let's
Resonance
make
to
a
find
move.
it.
The time is ticking.
That's going to be one of the crucial cards. And we
here
do
we
see
go.
Stove. Here we go. 3 cards. No Gamblers, but there is a quick swap and a Lotus.
There is a quick and one of my favorite cards is Golden House. Yeah, it reduces the cost to play 3 cost weapons and artifacts by 1, which again, very good with Unseen Razor because when you return a weapon to your hand, it reduces the cost even further, so you get to play it again for free. I love it.
Wait, that's so busted.
It's so good.
If you have all those cards in your hand, that is so busted.
Yeah, you can only use it once a round, thankfully. You can use it twice.
As long as I'm not playing against a sure shot, you can make as many
Yeah.
cube decks
Very
as you'd
strong.
like.
I mean, that's why he built this deck.
As long
in
as I
this
don't have to
fashion,
play
right?
against it, man.
And Inzaghi here with a very powerful play here. So you notice, you know, he summons on Oceanid, but Oceanid Burst is now ready. And now Rev is forced to either stay on Sarah to deny Inzaghi a good burst, or switch into a character that is going to be open and threatened by that Oceanid Burst. So he really wants to try and take out Oceanid before burst, but unfortunately Sarah does not do a lot of upfront damage.
Ooh, King Squire coming in on Kujo Sarah, I wonder.
Yeah, this is probably just to deal damage and threaten Oceanid, force Inzaghi to either swap off of Oceanid or burst right away. With Golden House down, King Squire is essentially a free weapon to play. It costs you normally 3, but now with Golden House it costs you 2, and by playing it, your elemental skill is reduced to 1 cost. So you only spend 3 dice to basically equip it for free.
I actually feel like this was a really good play from Rev, because if you're in Jackie, you want Rev to swap off, so you could use that Ocean Burst. Ocean Burst is very threatening. I feel like he might even be looking to sacrifice Oceanid at some point to use that I haven't lost yet he has in his hand, but...
Yeah, I mean, losing out Oceanid Burst did also get nerfed, I think, in the most recent patch. So normally here it would be doing 10 damage. It only does, I say only, it only does 8 with those summons, which actually is going to matter quite a lot in this specific game. But Rev is now thinking, does my opponent have a quick swap effect if I swap off here to go back onto Oceanid and Burst?
I'm looking at Inzagi's hand, by the way. So there's a free Sumer City he can play. There's I haven't lost yet. There's also a Star Sign.
Star Signs, yeah. One of the reasons, you know, Yaya is not super popular over Fischl is that it's a little bit harder to utilize her burst, but that's why you run cards like Star Signs, being able to give Yaya that extra energy in order to burst where you normally wouldn't have her do that.
Oh, we see a quick swap coming out.
Are you in danger?
Surely Candace's burst is going to come down.
We shall.
Yeah.
There it is. Elemental Burst, it will trigger Electro Charge, leaving Ocean at 1 and Fatui Pyro Agent at 8.
Yeah, this is tricky.
This is very tricky. I wonder how Inzaghi is going to respond.
I mean, he really has 2
Oceanid,
options.
I feel like
City is
Oceanid's
still active. He also
too
has a second one in his hand, so he can very much play Star
low
Signs
right now to
into
even
Yaya
make
burst,
use
but if
of
he does that, he
its
loses
alt.
all of his totems, because almost certainly Yaya is going to go down, so he's going to summon again.
Yeah, there is the elemental skill coming out of Yai, and you know, her burst is up, but those dice are not working out well. He could play Sumeru City. I believe it would make it 2 cost for her burst.
It would, but
He didn't.
you know, the decision to use a skill there
I wonder
probably
why
tells
not.
me Inzaghi is
Ready to
never
do
planning
my
to burst on
utmost.
Yaya. The energy is not a big deal for him, but you don't want to sacrifice 5 stacks of the Sakura for the Yae burst. So very much looking probably to just sacrifice Yae and then hope for an Oceanid burst pretty soon.
The only issue
Really?
is that the swap to Sino applied Hydro onto Yae, and so Sino would trigger Electro Charge and take out both Yae Miko and Oceanid. So in order to avoid that, Inzaghi actually has to swap onto Agent. Uses a hash on Ocean. I actually think this is really good play. He saw it.
He definitely saw it, but now we have to figure out what is he going to do with that.
Yeah, how is he going to dish out his damage, though?
Almost certainly going to play Sumeru City out of his hand to make sure he has it. He has the option of tuning 1 dice and maybe doing a normal attack.
Does he?
Yeah, he can tune 1. That's not going to do a lot.
So he already used Sumeru City's passive, right? The first Sumeru City. So it would only he's 1 dice short.
1 dice short.
1 dice short. So swap on the Agent. I think that's good. You know, gonna avoid any elemental reactions. You know, Rodea the lock with Electro, Yaimiko with Hydro.
I think normally this would be good, but actually, which infusion takes priority here? I've never seen Candace and Sino together because the infusions do conflict with each other. I'm actually not too sure if he will do Hydro or Electro here. I should know this, but I don't.
Only one way to find out. Where's the unseen Razor?
So this is one of the other powerful things he can do in the deck. You know, I think Inzaghi, looking at his opponent only having 2 dice, was not anticipating an extra skill, but being able to play swap Moonpiercer, and here's a talent card.
Talent?
Ow.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
He had a talent for only 1.
Yeah, of course, the talent uses his skill, which is the same as discounting from the thing, but Inzaghi was not planning around that. Agent has taken a lot of damage that he was not expecting.
Hi, Koi Koi. Have we eaten yet?
Forced to end, unfortunately.
I ate earlier, but I haven't eaten
that card
since
is so
then.
strong, but we saw Razor earlier, so we kind of know where he is.
I might eat after
stream. Yeah, we saw Razor, and he did not so well.
Are you in danger?
Sino is doing better.
Well, someone's looking for him.
That's true. The chat is very much looking for Sino this whole time. But
I have to telepon when Sino's on the board.
Yeah. But of course, don't count.
Have we got a hydration bottle?
Yet. It is
I have
time. Look at all those summons
a
dealing
cup
so
of
much
water.
damage to the other side.
I'm also running out of my cup of water.
AC's strength in the end. Electro Charge with those summons. Inzaghi playing that perfectly. It might look like things are one-sided for a while, but that evened it up quite a bit.
Yeah, of course, Inzaghi has 2 Sumeru Cities out, which basically give him 2 extra dice into this round, and that Lucky Dog in hand, a premier card for Agent. You know, one of the ways this deck finishes the game is by putting that Lucky Dog on Agent, you know, giving the ability to not only heal 2 with every hit, but refresh those stealth stacks to absorb even more damage, giving you basically 4 extra health every time you use a skill.
Definitely, and also I noticed that Inzaghi also brought Cathedral. Maybe he will be able to draw onto it at some point.
Yeah, we haven't seen any Liyue walks.
Oh, wait, he actually has it. No, he has Cathedral. So that will heal him even more if he manages to survive this turn. But I mean, everything could be done at this round.
It could be. I mean, Inzaghi needs to make something happen this turn because Sino currently being at 3 stacks, his talent actually doesn't do anything this turn. You know, you have to time it very carefully because it only works on even turns.
Damn, it's really hard because like
your opponent also has used up both of their unseen razors, so you know there's no more unequipped, free-equipped shenanigans here with the weapons.
And one good thing,
his characters
is that
aren't healthy enough to like last.
Oceanid, any electro charge reactions onto Agent is not going to take her out. See Inzaghi smiling as he's thinking things over. I wonder what he's going to do.
I mean, here we're getting to a bit of a very elaborate and careful dance here. Oceanid really wants to burst on Sino. If Oceanid can burst onto Sino, then the game is almost certainly over for Rev. Whereas if Rev can manufacture a situation where Inzaghi cannot safely go to Oceanid and burst, then Sino will take over.
He's like stuck in a really weird position.
For Inzaghi, no, leave it to me, no quick swap in hand to let him easily do that. But of course, Rev doesn't know that.
Oh, Kiko.
-3 onto Candace. She will fall, and we have to see who Rev is going to
I think if Agent kills
in return.
Candace,
I feel like it might be Kujosara.
Sino kills
Again,
Agent,
it's very
Adeptus
obvious to all of us watching here and at home that, hey, it's perfectly safe to swap to Sino because Rev does not know that he needs to play around cards like Leave It To Me. Because if that card is in Inzaghi's hand, then he
I can't play TCG if flows.
Definitely.
Flow feels so slow.
you know, Candace falling is going to count as a swap, right? So it's going to trigger Electro Charge onto that.
But yeah, I think generally it's like on the more moderate, slow pace.
Sarah does
Hello,
still have
Louie.
a bow
How are you
equipped here, so
doing?
she is going to do 1 more damage than
How
normal.
are you?
Not likely to burst. Sarah's burst is actually one of the weakest skills in the game. Her main utility is in her regular skill.
Oh, Inzagi's shaking his head. I wonder what he's thinking. You know, these players take so much time on their turns. They have to think of every single line possible, doing all the math in their head.
And here we go.
There's that Electro Charge reaction. How will Rev respond now? Will we see Sarah's burst? You have to tune for that.
I don't believe so. Sarah's burst costing 4 is a very big downside. It doesn't do a lot more damage than her skill normally. Either way, it's not going to take out Agent, but I think that's... So Rev really doesn't want to take out Agent until Inzagi is out of dice. Once Inzagi is out of dice, Sino can come in with that Woven in hand, hopefully sweep the opponent's side in 1 round.
Yeah, this is so scary if you're Inzagi. But I mean,
for both players really. Like Inzagi is really looking at his Oceanid, just hoping that he gets that burst off.
I mean, if you just sneeze on Sarah, she falls over.
Ooh.
Oh,
re-equipping that bow.
Oh, it's gonna leave Agent at 1.
Oh my god.
That's incredible.
Yeah, with Golden House out, that bow, of course, is basically free to equip there.
Wait, so if Inzagi takes out Sarah, then that's gonna trigger another Electro Charge reaction.
No, so Candace's burst only, thankfully, works once around. You can't do anything crazy. It's not quite like Kaya's burst, but it will continually work, but it is only once around, so it will run out momentarily and won't be able to do another Electro Charge reaction.
All right, so Inzagi is safe to take out Sarah here. She does fall. He's left at 4 dice. Both of those Subaru Cities coming to play to make that normal attack only cost 1. And now Sino is the only one left on the field. Justice for Sino. Is he going to enact justice?
So Sino's gonna kill Agent, right?
So Rev has
Surely.
effectively 6 dice, so he must be thinking, can he
Adeptus
finish the
burst?
game with those 6 dice? Because if he cannot...
Lotus.
Might be a Lotus end here.
Okay.
Normal attack coming out. -4.
He's protecting himself from the Yai burst and potentially the Oceanid burst that could be coming. So the Lotus will protect him from both of those effects as long as opponent doesn't have Adeptus. But is that Adeptus in hand?
I saw Inzagi counting just now, then he nodded to himself, and now he's sighing. He chooses Oceanid. I haven't lost yet coming in. Is that an Adeptus Oceanid burst? Adeptus?
Does it
believe
kill?
Although this is 6, 9, 8. Yeah, this is exactly
Wow.
Okay. -7 takes
I was like, does his
Sino.
burst
Inzagi
kill?
takes the 3rd win for Team Astra.
Nice.
It was so close there. Sino almost.
It's because of the reaction, right? As well? Because he already had
Absolutely
Electro.
fantastic job.
Wait, because
there
it was 6
in stock. Come on up. It's
or
time
was
for
it
your
because of the
winners interview. Yes, you
Adeptus?
must come up here. I know you're not used to that here.
But the burst is supposed to be 6, right?
Well done there.
I think.
Came in clutch. I saw you doing the math. What was going through your head on that final round?
Mathematicals. 4 plus
I
1
was
plus
afraid
1.
of Lotus plus send off, which
4
might
plus
have been
1 plus 1
problem.
plus 3 plus 1 minus
It was
3.
okay.
Oh, 5,
Yeah, it came
6,
down to a lot
9,
of very,
8.
very small
What?
decisions that could have made that one go either
5,
way.
6,
was that one of the
9,
tougher matches that
10,
you've played so far?
7. Oh, I see. What the hell? Why did I subtract 1? My
yeah,
math
I
is
mean,
bad.
The weapon package isn't that common, so when he's playing Golden House and Unseen Razors and
So
Red of
it's
the Great Dream,
3-2?
it's very scary.
Yes.
3-2 now.
I could tell. Well,
So
super
Team Astra
excited
just needs to
see
kill one
you
more, or
do
just
well
to win
for
one
your
more
team. Your
time.
team was ecstatic watching you play and
One
get that
more
win.
time.
So Team Astra now is in the lead after such a turnaround earlier today. You guys were really getting hammered by Team Carnival, but you have now come back. And one more game, one more win. This could be yours. Any words to say for your teammate?
They can do it.
You can do it! All right, fantastic. Thank you once again, my friend. You played absolutely fantastically. Thank you, of course, Rev, as well, as we will be getting ready for what could potentially be coming up one of our last games. Let's go ahead and throw it back to our casters.
Team Astra with the reverse sweep.
Well, not quite the
Almost,
reverse
not
sweep
quite.
yet. No justice for Sino, unfortunately, today. But that was a really close game. I think it shows you the power of the Electrocharge deck and why it's such a staple in the metagame, why the players consider it the best deck, and the fact that even the Sino deck was able to put up quite a fight like that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Inzaki's very used to those weapon combination decks because the deck that he won in the Southeast Asia Prince Cup also used that technology. So really, really interesting to see it used against him, but he managed to navigate it.
All right, while they're doing a little bit of a
5 losses, I think he said, and he finally got
summary, I just want to bring your guys' attention to the pinned links in the chat. If you guys want to download Genshin Impact, make sure you check out the link that's pinned there. Or if you have been enjoying or whatever opinions you have on the Astro Carnival event that we've been watching right now, you can fill out the survey and also follow Astro Carnival on YouTube and Twitch. You can also access the survey by scrolling down to my panel below or scanning the QR code that's on the top right now. If you look up, look up.
Agent Electrocharge side, and that's about the damage of a Sara skill.
Yeah, this game was very close. I know we were predicting that Sino would be
Man,
able
I'm so hungry.
sweep Agent EC,
Ever
which is one of the strongest decks in the game, by the way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Koi
quite
asked me if
enough,
I've
you
eaten.
know,
Now I'm
Inzaki
hungry.
having just
You've
the
triggered
right amount
my
of dice
stomach.
and cards and damage necessary. That -7 on Sino
My
is so
tum
brutal.
tum.
There he is cheering.
Yeah, exactly enough, you know. I mean, even if he wasn't 1 damage short, the summons at the end of round likely would have done it. So it was very close, but very decisive, I think, for the Electrocharge deck.
Yes, and so here we have the first 4 games of today. Of course, it's 2-2. And now with this 3rd win for Team Astra, it is 3-2. 3 games for Team Astra, 2 games for Team Carnival. So we will be going on to a game 6.
Yeah.
And potentially a game 7.
Potentially game 7. There's some very exciting things coming from
Stall
game 7.
versus stall.
6 is
Seems like Inzaghi also rolled well and Rev also. Yeah.
Game. I hope you guys, you buckle up, get ready.
Yeah, get
to
some
play.
snacks.
Yeah, get some snacks.
Get something to eat.
Get some refreshments. You just go stretch a little bit.
I need a snack.
It's, you know, it's Barbara Diona Shincho versus Noelle Kokomi Ito. We are in for a long game.
Yeah, both very famous for their stalling potential. I'm
Stall.
really not sure who is favored here. I would have given it to the Ito deck for sure before, but as some of you might be aware if you've been following the scene, you know, Ito has been dominant in the metagame for many patches, but he was recently nerfed. Even though it doesn't look like a lot on the surface, it actually was pretty significant. And in this matchup specifically, it can matter a lot.
It certainly can, but I think we're getting ready to get into our next game, so...
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Blep and Leah, as we are getting ready for what could potentially be the last game of the night. I sure hope it is not, of course, but luckily for you, even if it is, we've got some stall decks for you, so grab some popcorn. Tell your loved ones that you're doing something that is not this, watching Genshin Impact Invocation, as I do every night while my wife begs me to stop playing. Don't tell them the truth that you are watching right here for the next 4 hours. Let's go ahead and bring our first contestant up on the stage. You know him, you love him. Put those wings together once more. It's time for Birdie! Birdie, Birdie, Birdie! There you go. You see that? Your little chickadees over in the nest begging Daddy Birdie to bring them, you know, the worm. So excited.
I appreciate them very much. My teammates are my teammates are my strength.
Oh, wow. That
also luck.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. So, here against Robot Wizard. Now, Robot Wizard, a lot of people know, is kind of the man the beat, the captain, a very talented player, a player that has done a lot of mind games, a lot of tricking, a lot of, you know, pretending like he's not good. Will you be giving Robot the full respect?
Oh, absolutely. He's the single player here I'm most scared of.
All right, well, let's see if this bird can fly against the Robot Wizard. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain of Team Carnival! Come to the stage once more, Robot Wizard! The wizard himself, hoping to do some magic here today. I know, don't cringe when I make my puns, Robot Wizard. It's embarrassing. All right, how are you feeling about this match?
I hate this matchup.
Now, why is that? Can you delve into that for me?
Not only is it an unfair matchup for me, the game's gonna go on for 10 rounds, so I will be suffering the entire time.
Now, very interesting question that we got from
funny.
our viewers. Is there anything that you enjoy? At all?
I guess winning.
Winning! Well, let's see if he can get that enjoyment here today.
We love winning.
Gentlemen, please shake those hands for what could be the final match. Oh, they said good luck. Incredible. And I know that we are lucky here today to make it to one of these bonus rounds. Let's get ready for some stall v stall action as we throw it over to Blep and Leia once more.
I don't know which one of you asked that question, but thank you, sincerely. So,
I mean, he might act like it, but I know Robot Wizard enjoys a competition. You know, he likes a challenge, I'm sure, just like all of the competitive players here. And it was very challenging to build these decks and in the best configurator possible. But I mean, honestly, and obviously he's done a very good job, you know, bringing all of these decks together, working with his team as well to play decks that they're comfortable with as well as the best given the circumstances.
You know, he said he likes winning. He also said that this matchup is unfavored, but we know he's been kind of playing mind games with his opponent by saying he's not going to win a whole lot. Do you actually think that this matchup is not favored for him?
So definitely since the Ito nerf, I believe so. So the reason why is because Birdie's deck plays around a lot with freeze. You know, both of these are stall decks, but Birdie is able to freeze whatever character, hopefully, that Robot Wizard puts forward as the main damage dealer.
And here is Birdie's deck, you know, Barba, Diona, Xingqiu.
Yeah, and really Diona, unusually, is the star of this deck. I know there are many TCG players who love Diona. You know, she does not appear very much competitively, but this is the exact sort of format where a deck like this can really shine, where it's not as good as maybe the top picks, but it's going to be better than a lot of the medium-level decks that we've been seeing.
Yeah, this deck is very popular amongst the Genius Invocation community.
For sure.
So I'm excited to see it. We haven't seen it on the big stage, I think. And here is Robot Wizard's deck. It is Noelle, Kokomi, Sangonomiya Kokomi, and Ito. So the debate we were having up here is, do we call this one Kin or Sin?
Yeah, I mean, I've been calling it Kin because, of course, who is going to say Sangonomiya Kokomi as a full name? I mean, maybe to be respectful to her as the leader of, you know, that part of Natsumiii, but really, Kokomi is enough.
Raid boss Diona.
You know, where the cast is, we can decide.
I just like think about Diona's voice lines and I'm like, calling her a raid boss is so troll.
Should we call this one Sin or Kin?
Kin, because it's the power of family and Inazuma.
Or Sin because playing Ito is a sin.
Maybe. I mean, no longer. With his nerf, it's not that cringe anymore to be playing Ito.
So, of course, Team Astra is at 3 wins. If they take one more win,
so how did they nerf Ito?
Best of 7, taking home that 6,000.
What did he do before versus like what he does now?
Carnival is at 2 wins. If they take this win, we will be going on to a 7th game in a best of 7. Kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, I really don't know what I'm hoping for with this matchup. Mostly that it doesn't go long, but it obviously will.
They reduce his damage a bit, and his breakpoints are no longer consistent.
If you scan it, it will lead you to a survey.
Was a stronger Noelle.
About anything you see on the stream, any of the organization. Like, if you guys like us, if you guys hate us, you know, send us your thoughts.
And right away we see Birdie drawing not only Tenacity, but that Xingqiu talent card recently also buffed to go from 4 to 2.
Damn, they really just thonking.
I really like Chef Mao and Robot Wizard's starting hand, by the way. Oh, no, he's getting rid of it. Never mind. Ooh, he got the bell.
Yeah. So Chef Mao, you know, it's a card you really want to draw. He's running, of course, a Dunyazad Mao character package.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
It's a card you want to draw later when you have more food.
I'm gonna put something in the microwave really quickly.
And also being discounted by Dunyazad. So I like putting it away there. Drawing that weapon is pretty huge.
You know, I feel like, just as you said, drawing that weapon is really, really huge because one of the win conditions on Robot Wizard's side is to get either Noelle or Ito equipped. Most likely, it's always Ito, but with Ito's nerfs, you can go for Noelle now.
So,
it's more flexible.
Yeah, I do believe, I'm not 100% sure, because again, this is our first competitive setting with the new cards and the new changes, but I do believe Noelle is actually now the primary carry, the main person dealing damage in the setup. But having said that, in this specific matchup, where the game is a lot slower, you might have more time to build up Ito, and so we may be seeing Ito after all.
That's what I'm wondering, though. If you immediately draw the bell, like, aren't you already, like, halfway there?
Almost, yeah. And we see here, Robot Wizard starting on Noelle. You know, when drawing the... Noelle really does want the bell, and we could just see a rush to Noelle burst here to try and get in underneath Birdie before he can get his defenses up.
Meanwhile, on Birdie's side, he chose to keep those 3 Dendro dice, certainly to equip that 3-cost Tenacity of the Millilith he has in his hand. I feel like, who would that go on in this case? Who do you normally put it on first?
100% it's Diona. So Diona, again, is the primary kind of like serving a similar purpose to someone like Ito, but just a lot more defensive. Birdie's looking to draw that Diona talent at some point, and then use tenacity along with talent to just build a lot of shields on Diona. Diona's kind of like a Cryo Zhongli if you draw her talent.
Oh, and Robot Wizard acting so quickly, it knows exactly what to do, playing that Woven to bring him up to 3 unaligned dice, which
I will be in a little bit just because of the microwave, but I am
I'm a
here.
little surprised he actually used the Woven there. I was expecting him to actually save it and just let the 2 dice go over. This
Lieben
he's
play.
gonna go very aggressive. Noelle, even with the bell equipped, maybe looking just to do a lot of damage quickly.
And Kokomi is not a character that
He used to be able to do consistent 6 damage per hit with weapons, so 12 damage and 2 hits for kill, but now he's doing 5 and gets grief by hash rounds, which was kind of busted with him costing 2 dice per attack. 2 dice? Wait, that's actually pretty broken.
What are those rolls?
Wow, it's perfect. Wait, this is... Oh, no, he's got one down there that's not.
Whoa, look at all these Omni dice.
I can't see it.
I can't see it. It's different, but that is a very good roll. Both sides, actually. Actually, Birdie has perfect dice for his team, only rolling Hydro and Cryo.
Wow.
So,
that's kind of crazy. Good rolls. Very good rolls.
Both sides high rolling here just
very
means
good
we're
rolls.
Be in for a longer game, probably.
Why?
Well, it just means that both of them are going to have shields up and just delay the game even further. I mean, Diona already has talent, not talent, but tenacity equipped, ready with those 2 shields. Also, Xingqiu's shields that you can see at the bottom going to absorb 3 damage. Eventually.
So, I mean, we mentioned earlier that we have stall versus stall, right? I hope you guys have stretched, gotten some water, gotten some mushroom pizza, maybe.
This is really random, but basically I'm trying to heat up my food slowly instead of heating it up too much, because the last time I put it in for 3 minutes, it just exploded. So this time I'm just trying to do like 1 minute stir, 1 minute stir, 1 minute stir. Last time I freaking like exploded all over my microwave. I was like, no!
With Birdie, and now he might actually switch gears once again to go a little bit slower.
Not the explosion.
In a stall versus stall mirror matchup, if your opponent has tenacity and you don't quite have the tools to pressure them, so it's really painful to play for the long game.
Dude, this is...
As soon as he drew that tenacity, I think it's very much in his favor now, where he has 2 equipments to only 1 on the other side. Although, having said that, yeah, Xingqiu does get Aquila equipped.
And swapping onto Xingqiu, so if he takes any damage, he also heals 1.
Wow.
And...
That's
Robot
nice.
Wizard decided to equip Noelle with everything. I think, that aligns with what we were saying earlier. After the Ito nerfs, Noelle became like the main carry in this kind of core. And Kokomi's just kind of there to provide extra healing and stall and also crystallize reactions, right? So.
Yeah. But, with Noelle, even though she is still very good at dealing damage, she is a little less explosive than the pre-nerf Ito. And so isn't going to be able to punish as hard this opening. Birdie has spent a lot of dice equipping weapons, but if Robot Wizard doesn't do anything in the next couple of rounds,
the flow of these 2 decks are already slow, and then they take like extra time to think about each move.
Noelle composition is to stall at your opponents that they use all their resources before being able
Why don't they call this the life
sweep the board,
sentence?
so to say. It's less sweepy with the Ito nerfs, but I'm kind of wondering how that works against another stall deck whose goal is the same. You're trying to stall out your opponent and basically freeze them into oblivion, and then how does this matchup work?
Yeah, it's a good question. So the main difference here is the stall deck that Birdie is using doesn't have any combo potential, essentially meaning it can't deal a lot of damage in 1 round like Noelle or Ito can. So it's more of a traditional stall deck. It's going to have even more defensive tools. You see higher resonance in there as well. So it's going to be trying to whittle down the opponents, whereas Robot Wizard is looking to set up, in this case, Noelle, and then in 1 round, before Birdie can get a lot of healing out, deal a lot of damage. So Robot Wizard is probably going to try and play cards like Lieben and Paimon and generate a bunch of dice in 1 round, and then use that turn to deal all of his damage.
So the earlier you
what are all these terrible rolls?
The better, right? But I mean, even if this game goes on longer, I feel like the resources that Robot Wizard is going to be equipping onto Noelle and also...
Yo, is it just... is this scripted when I get really good rolls, or are they just really unlucky?
State as the game goes on longer,
I swear to God, my rolls are never
so
this
really
bad.
On when he decides to deal damage. The problem, for Robot Wizard's going to face, if he doesn't close out the game quick enough, then Birdie is going to be able to heal up any damage that Noelle or Ito do over time. But it takes a couple of rounds for, Tenacity Shields, Diona's Burst, to get characters back up to full health. So But if he misses that window, he's going to have spent a lot of dice dealing damage, whereas Birdie was able to mitigate and heal it a lot more efficiently. So it really, I mean, it kind of, it's hard to say that it depends, but right now it's really whoever has more ways to generate value over the long term. So for now, both
The rolls
have
are
tenacity,
okay, I
which
think.
of course gives 2 shields to the
Wow.
character equipped every round, but also generates 1 dice whenever they hit. Oh, he's going for it.
Natsumiii Resonance coming out converts all of those unusable dice into Omni, and Noel's burst swings down. Look at all those shield points. There's 5?
5, yeah.
4.
But, you know, honestly, Birdie in this case does not care about those shield points. His goal is that he will get through
That
those
was
shield
kinda
points eventually.
crazy.
His main concern is protecting Diona and Xingqiu.
Strategize.
I mean, with that Hydro application on Noelle, she's just
Skill
gonna get
talent
frozen.
cards.
That's one of the reasons why I think Robo Wizard said he is not favored in this matchup, because freeze is one of the best counters you have
I see pause.
against decks that try and stay on one character and deal a lot of damage.
And Bernie is able to get out both Diona
Frozen.
and Xingqiu's talent cards very quickly, like in the first couple rounds, without Storm Terrors.
Who's winning?
especially
Yeah,
since
we'll
he's
know
only
in
one
like
copy
30
each.
minutes.
Yeah, this is actually pretty scary for Robo Wizard. So his opponent, every weapon equipped is kind of a point kind of in Birdie's favor. Same with Robo Wizard. So they were on even footing with 1 artifact, 1 weapon on each side. But then Birdie suddenly now being able to equip both the talent card and a sacrificial bow is very much ahead.
Wait. Is there ever a point where the game ends, like if they draw all their cards, like how does the game end? Does someone actually have to beat the other person? Like
No, so we've never had this happen on stream, but 15 rounds and certain. You don't always find this out from most players,
minute
but
30,
if the
you'll
game
be
ever
ready to
goes
eat.
15 rounds, the game just ends in a loss for both
Literally
players.
been microwaving this
Will
forever.
we see, for the first time on Astra Carnival, after a year of casting TCG, the very first moment where that actually happens? Who knows?
they're both stall decks.
They are both stall
Kokomina's
decks.
healing.
It is a possibility. I would hate to root
Imagine
for
they
it,
go
but
to
I think
15 rounds and both of them lose. Wait, there's a limit?
A field day.
Is 15
if that
rounds a limit?
happens.
I didn't even know there was a
Sixth
limit.
game.
That's
Yeah, and game
troll.
number 6, no less.
Really?
Ushi coming out. I
No
feel
way.
like, you know,
Hi, Tree.
spreading
How are you
the
doing?
love.
I mean, Xingqiu's burst is very powerful to this deck. I mean, again, one of the main ways Birdie is going to be able to prevent the 1-turn kill is to freeze whatever character is dealing the damage. And so having that Hydro application before, you know, Robot Wizard is dealing damage is very crucial.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, every time a character uses normal attack, and of course it doesn't only have to be Xingqiu, it's just any active character,
Hello,
once his
Kiko.
burst is activated, it will be... Oh, that dice is spinning. Sorry. It will use up one of those 3 stacks you see below his card and deal Hydro damage, so you can go for some pretty neat freezes, but it has to be normal attack.
I can't wait for the amount of shields.
So
There's just
what
shield
round are
on
we in?
shield on
4?
shield on heal on heal on
Had a
shield.
total of 7
Like
damage
nobody
dealt,
takes any
across
damage
both sides.
and
Let's go,
people
and they
heal
can just heal
and
up.
it's just...
I mean, one thing you'll note in this matchup, you know, I was going to say, we haven't really seen Kokomi or Barbara take the field. You know, in a Stolver Stormira, you don't need to use your healing character quite as much.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no other way to heal up Ito without putting
Oh,
out
no.
Kokomi's summon, so I think that's what we're gonna see here.
Or we're just going to see a swap stall, the infamous swap stall, where basically 2 players are just constantly swapping back and forth between 2 characters, because neither of them wants to be the one that makes a move first, and so they're trying to preserve the dice for the important
I mean, how would you swap stall here, though, if you're a Robot Wizard? Because I don't think you want Noelle to be taking
No,
Hydro application,
you would-
right? You would have to go back on to
You would
Ito.
probably go back to Ito, because that's where he started. I think that might be the correct play, as frustrating as it is for casting. But I mean, this is, you know, as weird as it is to
Not sure
watch,
why
to
Birdie
be in the
hasn't
seat
just played
playing these
Tenshukaku. I
Stormiras
guess they're waiting for
is
Tubby.
very difficult. There's so many decisions to be made at any given time, and really making, with 2 decks with so similar game plans, making the wrong decision at the wrong
My
moment can
sustenance.
cost you quite a bit.
This is really interesting. Robot Wizard choosing to swap onto Noelle, and I do think it's because he's trying to bait the Hydro application out of Birdie to use his
Yeah.
dice.
I mean, it will have to happen regardless anyway, and Noelle does have tenacity, so you want to be using those shields
Effectively
to generate value.
generates an
You also have
Omni
Noelle's
every
burst
round.
ups and the bells.
That's
so
pretty good.
It is in your best interest, even if you get that Cryon, just to at least use Noelle every turn.
Now the question is, do you swap? No, he's just going
Is
for
it
normal
worth
attack.
waiting for
-1
Tubby to like use it for
Birdie will be forced to
free?
swap off, but I mean, it could quick swap and free.
Isn't it better to use it early?
Quick swap. I mean,
If
I
that's
think
what
he
the
really wants
usage
to
is?
save those quick swaps
Yeah,
for the
true.
important rounds.
For crucial moments. So we see a
Or maybe
slow
he doesn't
swap
want to
on
waste the
Diona.
2 dice yet.
2 shield points. She's
Well, it's not really a
effectively at
waste,
full
but
health right now.
it's like an investment, right?
Yeah, Robot Wizard gonna have to decide, does he want to use another normal attack here? Probably. You will trigger your opponent's tenacity, but because Birdie has a Vanarana out, of course, Vanarana able to store unused dice at the end of the round. No matter how he plays it, usually you can maybe manufacture a situation where if you hit your opponent at the very end of the round when they've already ended, that dice from tenacity will get generated but lost immediately because they have no way to use it. But with Vanarana, you're pretty much guaranteed to capture that dice no matter what.
Yeah, Vanarana is, you know, really good utility card. Of course, Noelle with her burst still up for one more round. This round does swing again, leaving Diona at 5 HP. Birdie responds with Diona's skill, freezing Noelle and giving her another 2 shield points.
Yeah.
Diona's talent.
Diona's talent there coming into
Hi,
play.
Riser.
Of course, normally Diona's skill only
How you doing?
does 2 damage, only applies 1 shield
How's your
point.
weekend
the
so
talent
far?
for no additional cost is able to generate additional shield points. One of the ways that the deck is able to outlast the opponent.
Wondering if Birdie even wants to play something like Tenchikaku here.
will be ours.
Yeah, Tenchikaku.
Hi.
I mean, the earlier Birdie plays Tenchikaku, the better it is for him. So I think I really like that
God, I
play.
want-
You're not really threatened anymore. Noelle's burst is down, and you'll be going first next round, so it's pretty safe. Oh, a second Vanarana. Oh, I see. And then
Yeah, that makes sense because you want to play them in that order even if you're not intending on using it. Because
weekend
like,
has been
in the
fine.
case
How
that you
about
want
you?
to pass over 4 dice to the next turn,
My
Vanarana
weekend
will
has
pick
been
up
alright,
all
but
4 of those dice, and then
I feel like I
Tenchikaku
didn't
will
really
proc
get time
after
off
Vanarana
because I had to
takes them out,
stream, so
exactly. So this almost guarantees
I will be taking
that
tomorrow
Birdie now
off.
has Tenchikaku every single round. So, you know, Robot Wizard hasn't drawn any of his own, like Dunyazad or Paimon, any of those cards just yet, which is... Oh, there's Dunyazad. Never mind.
Oh,
About to
there
draw
it
out
is.
the card, but it's
Ooh, the chef, another chef Mao.
Yeah, we're definitely playing it this round to make use of Dunyazad. I think he would have
True.
liked to see Paimon, but Chef Mao will be good. He's kind of his hand is starting to get set up to, especially with Noelle's burst active, that I think he's thinking about maybe going for it into the next 1 or 2 rounds. You know, Noelle has lost that Hydra aura on. Ooh.
Covenant.
Okay, just gonna feed it to Liben probably.
Yep, probably, most likely. Or
I
there's
finally
zero
found a
cost
place
card.
that is spicy enough.
That's pretty risky.
But
if,
it's too
you know, of course,
salty.
you know, Robot
Need
Wizard
the
could have
time
zero
off
option,
too,
playing
yeah.
the zero cost
Feel
food
that.
in order to
Feel
trigger
that,
Chef Mao,
Riser.
but I think that zero cost.
Oh, he's doing it.
chicken.
Okay, so he uses Northern Smoked Chicken. This will generate another random dice for a wizard and another food card.
That was a risky play. 'cause
That
if
was
he
a
had
risky
generated something.
Dude, why do
that
I feel like
wasn't-
Noelle
that was
is like a
different
raid
die,
boss?
He wouldn't have been able to feed
Ooh,
it to Liben.
gamblers.
Well, I mean, if it was another Hydra, we could tune and use Kokomi's skill. So, I mean, there's that too. But
I think you want to be using Kokomi's skill in this matchup. It's just not. No, not only is it going to apply Hydra to Kokomi to get frozen, but a healing. You really don't care about healing if you're in Robot Wizard seats. You're the one
I
that needs to
know.
finish the game sooner rather than later.
There's a new hot chicken place that opened up here, but I need to go back when it's not really busy.
The skills should definitely not be underestimated here, but there is an RNG element, of course, with the dice rolls and card draw. So he went for it.
You did go for it.
He went for it, and he won.
I mean, sometimes you just have to go for these plays, you know, roll the dice and see what you get. But Birdie here, I'm really curious to see how many cards are really left in their deck at this point. That's
I
something
know.
that the players have to consider as well. Obviously, you don't lose the game when you run out of cards, but it means you're not getting any more fresh things to work with anymore, and you're just left with whatever you have in your hand.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of how many cards they've used, but it's definitely been a lot. What round are we on, by the way?
Oh, I've lost count. I think we're on round 7, 6 maybe?
Something like that. So we're almost halfway to
No,
double
we're not.
up.
We are very far away from halfway.
7 out of 15. It's almost halfway.
Almost. But I think the turns will get progressively longer as more and more things pile onto the board. More and more shields get played.
I mean, Diona's
More and more
burst is
shields.
almost up.
It is, yeah.
Where's
And
my
that's, of
skull
course, gonna
emoji?
heal her team
my
up
God.
quite a lot.
But he does have 2 quick swaps at his disposal,
Step
which
aside.
are certain to
Ito's
come in
back in
clutch.
town.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, a lot of players here, the professional ones, like to compare Genius Invocation to something like chess, and a Storm vs. Storm Mirror is probably the closest thing you'll get to it. There's so many decisions at any one point. You can think of them like pieces. Any move you can make at any given time, and here we go.
Swap stalling.
Yeah.
Swap to Ito, swap to Kokomi.
Swap, swap, shield, swap, heal, swap.
He does. Yeah, he has 8 dice to Birdie's 4. So Birdie needs to be thinking if Robot Wizard can use those dice to sweep him in one round. And that's the risk of using something like a Dino skill here.
Mike!
Yeah, but what do you do? Do you swap to
Welcome
Barbara
back for 18 months. Thank you so much for the
Sure.
sub.
You might actually want to.
Oh,
How are you doing? How's your
opting for
weekend?
the skill. That's really interesting. I feel like it's kind of dangerous, but it does produce another dice for him.
It does, but you know, Diona already had the 2 shields up from the previous Icy Pause, so you're not making the full use of a skill. And maybe this is the window Robot Wizard has been looking for.
It might be.
I mean, gonna go to Noelle now.
I think you do.
I mean, he has a lot of cards in his hand. He has 2 chef. So remember, those 2 chef mouths, they generate an extra die when you play a food. So Robot Wizard is effectively at 10 dice.
10 dice right now.
Yeah.
Well, has to use 1 in order to generate 2, so it's more like 9. But yeah.
Yeah, and he does have that Gamblers in hand. 1 copy of Gamblers in the deck, and that's going to be very important. He needs to time that just right. If he plays it too early, he's going to lose his tenacity effect. Ooh.
Choosing a swap
Noelle
to
plus
Ito,
Gambler.
I'm wondering if... I actually don't know why.
We could see a belt equip on Ito. You know, he might be trying to go for the value, the long-term game. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
It was a swap stall.
It was a swap stall.
Of course
so
it was.
just trying to make sure that Birdie...
Pizza.
Oh, mushroom pizza on Diona. I see. Making sure that Birdie doesn't have anything up his sleeve to generate, you know, some response, right?
Yeah. Can Robot Wizard take out Barbara here? I think he might be able to.
Hash Brown coming onto
2
Noelle.
dice.
Shooting
her
foliage,
for 2
that's
HP, and
cool.
also generating 2 more dice using Chef Mao. I think we will be seeing
Sounds like a
Noelle's
chill time.
first
Oh,
refresh.
okay.
And here it comes, swinging down on Barbara.
But only 2 damage.
Eating through, well, it has to eat through those shields
It does.
first, to be fair.
True.
And it's doing a decent job at it, but still not great.
Yeah, so what do you do now? Do you just play Paimon?
No,
Go
you
for
just,
normal.
of course. So with the way Noelle's burst works, you know, it infuses your normal attacks, makes them do more damage, but more importantly, it reduces the cost of that first normal attack every round by 1. So you want to make sure you at least hit someone once with Noelle.
Step aside. Ito's back in town.
Was able to chunk out a lot of Birdie's health, but of course I'm looking at Diona's burst right now.
Yeah, Diona's burst is up, and of course that mushroom pizza is going to heal her too.
Oh my god.
Also, Birdie has Hydro Resonance in hand, which is going to heal for a lot as well.
Yeah, and of course, Hydro Resonance able to heal your entire team for a total of 4 health, but of course you want to spread out as much damage. So Barbara taking damage there is actually good for Birdie.
Yes, absolutely. Because if one of your side characters is at 10 health, you effectively lose the health that would go to them, right?
Yeah.
Double Junior Zod for
Still very close.
Paimons.
I mean, Birdie has been the one that's being careful here. Robot Wizard has more threats. You know, he is the one able to do a lot of damage in one round. So Birdie kind of has the pressure on him to make the correct decision.
Oh my god, the Paimons cost 1.
The characters as he's got, you know, manages elemental.
Would he
auras more
replace
than
the
anything
Chef
else.
Mouse?
Oh man, I'm looking at the double Junior Zod having an effect on Paimon. Robot Wizard could play Paimon for 1 cost. That is certainly something. You know, I feel like this is one of the downsides too to having Kokomi in this deck. Which is
you were
why,
replaced on
like,
your
you
job.
don't normally build an Ito deck with Kokomi. Barbara's always like, well, unless you can go for Dia or Barbara, but they're normally the safer picks because Barbara can cleanse elemental reactions. And I mean, against freeze, I guess it doesn't matter too much.
It doesn't matter too much, yeah. You're almost always Hydro is the one that is the more threatening aura. You know, Diona really wants to follow up Hydro with Cryo and not the other way around.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, not able to cleanse anything, right?
Yeah,
so.
and we're seeing the classic swap stall strategy. You know, if Birdie puts out a character that can threaten Hydro, then of course, oh, here comes a quick swap.
Oh, quick swap. Wait, but he has no. He has no cryo. He's gonna have a tune.
Yeah, I mean, send-off is not required.
Okay.
Tuning Warp is actually okay. So Tuning Warp is okay because you're going to draw your... I mean, you can kind of look at the graphic to see what the cards left are. The way that the cards are stacked on Birdie's side, because it's missing that extra card, it means he's running low.
Birdie's Tenshukaku
So
didn't
Warp
proc this
probably
round.
not going to be that great, but freezing no weather, just delaying her by a turn, you know, wasting the burst for this round.
We're in a similar position to last round where Robot Wizard is sitting on a lot of dice and Birdie is really
1
low.
hour
I feel
game,
like,
veg.
you know, as this game goes on, the differences in the decks are becoming more apparent. It's kind of as we were talking about earlier, where, you know, the bottom deck with Noelle, Ito, and Kokomi ramps up a lot more into later in the game. Meanwhile, I mean, Birdie is efficiently stalling out the game, right? But to what end?
Yeah,
No,
well,
not
I mean,
yet,
eventually you're
Rosin.
gonna run your opponents out of cards.
Go
and-
back to
and
bed.
dice effect, right? Chef Mao isn't
Go back
infinite,
to bed.
like,
That's true.
Once you run out of food, there'll be no more Chef Mao's or way to generate dice from Chef Mao. Once your Paimons run out, there's no extra ways to generate dice. And so, as long as you don't make it to round 50, the thing that Birdie has to really avoid here, which as
Oh my
awful
god.
as just to say, he needs to just not lose at round 15 and tie the game. What does happen if there's a tie? I mean,
I don't know.
this game's-
We're gonna have to ask the tournament organizers.
Oh,
What round is it right now?
this is intense. But you know, Birdie's really again managing the freeze there. You know, able to shut down.
Wait.
Yeah, double Paimon.
Ooh, double ramps. He's gonna go for it next round.
Not next round, but probably the round
Hi,
after.
Ansama.
Need to spend. So I think Robot Wizard needs to spend one more round setting up Noelle, get her burst back up, and then the round after that is going to be when we're probably going to see a lot of swap stalling on that specific round.
Another Hydro Resonance for Birdie. That's just gonna delay the game more.
It is, but at the same time, you know, the main healing effects to be afraid of are, you know, the recurring ones like Tenacity,
Only
you know,
round
Icy Pulse from
7.
Fiona and her burst. But Hydro Resonance, obviously very powerful, but at the same time, still costing a die there is going to be very important.
Oh, the support cards on Robot Wizard's side are so satisfying to look at.
They are. That Gambler is going to be so important, right?
really
like,
will
he needs
be.
to choose the right... I mean, I
Yes.
think it's going to be next round. I believe this round, he is going to set up Noelle,
Yep.
and
so,
then he needs to avoid getting Noelle frozen next round.
So maybe if the strategy is to get her frozen this round, then she has no more elemental
It
application.
could be,
on her.
but, you know, it's really up to Birdie. He has full control now over, you know,
Dude.
what elemental auras are being applied.
Watching this fight is like action, action. Did anything happen? No. Action, action. Did anything happen? No.
An additional 2 turns.
Not really.
It's the third time we've seen it.
Yeah, and here we go. The normal attack
It's
from
all
Birdie,
the
obviously,
freaking
to
shields and
trigger the
heals.
from Shinchu.
And just
Nothing's nobody's health is going down. Literally, not really.
No frozen Barbara means here, only frozen Noelle. But Robot Wizard was, so again, he was able to set up
Yeah.
Noelle
It's like
with
an
her burst up
inaction.
into the next round. And
Nothing's
Noelle currently has
happening.
no aura application. So next round is going to be crucial.
I feel like if you're Birdie, would you be swapping Xingqiu to cast his burst again? Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, refreshing the burst is a pretty reasonable play here.
Swapping to Ito makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure what you do if you're on Robot Wizard side. You don't really have a great way of using up your dice. You probably just skill on Ito here.
Yep, and that's exactly what Robot Wizard does. Ushi coming out, giving some more shields to Ito, but I mean, we're in a stall versus stall.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Diona's burst. It's going to freeze Ito. Provide some extra healing to Birdie's side.
Yeah, not really anything that Robot Wizard cares about. We might see a swap to Kokomi. We might still see Robot Wizard favoring wanting to go first next round.
I actually feel like Birdie might end first and just send those 2 dice in Fun Arena.
Almost certainly, yeah. I mean, with your opponent having 2 Paimons going off next turn. So
Oh
next
my
turn's a
god, the
critical
2
turn. Robot
Paimons
Wizard, I
next
think,
turn
does
is gonna
need
be
to close out the
crazy.
game with this next turn. So Birdie needs to conserve as much dice on his turn, this turn into the next one as possible, because what he doesn't want to end up in a situation is if Robot Wizard has a significant number of dice more than Birdie does and force Birdie to end turn first and then let Noelle sweep.
This match is certainly something to watch. I
It
mean,
is
this
something.
is something very different from anything we've seen so far these past 2 days.
Yeah.
This is a true stall versus
It
stall
is
does.
the
match.
truest of them all. I mean, one thing to be aware of as well, both the players and teams have access to each other's decks and lists. If you've noticed them sometimes occasionally glancing down in front of them, what they're doing is, based on what the opponent's cards are playing, they're starting to cross out the cards in the opponent's deck. So at some point, they will know exactly what the opponent has in their hand based on what cards have been played.
Interesting that Birdie is opting to play Tenshikaku here instead of sending the 2 Hydro just to the next round for... I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's okay, but
It's definitely the highest value play, but I think with the 2 Paimons, I mean, we'll see if it ends up mattering, but that it's 1 less die than you would have had, and I think that 1 die for next round is more important than having more dice from Tenshikaku.
Definitely gonna have to see. It's really, really neck and neck. Like, for those of you watching at home, if you're not familiar with these 2 decks, like,
step aside.
This is
Ito's back in town.
It's so hard to measure who is ahead.
I mean, so it won't be after the next round. I believe if those 2 Paimons get used up, without Robot Wizard being able to at least take out Diona. I think Diona is the primary character.
Has Robot Wizard counting with
Xingqiu and
fingers
Barbara
right now?
will be there mostly to soak up damage, but if you can't take out Diona by next round, or run your opponent out of Rain Swords
We'll need a strategy.
Before Xingqiu can refresh, then... Huh? Was that just 2 swaps?
It was. I wonder if he's just using his time to think.
Oh, oh my god.
Because
only in a stall matchup could you have the audacity to use precious dice to swap twice just so you have time to think.
And if you notice, Robot Wizard drew the only copy of Quick Swap, Leave It to Me.
Leave It to Me.
In a Noelle deck that he has, so.
I mean, he is leaving it to Noelle.
Certainly is.
Oh, this is gonna be...
Here we go.
That might be just what he needs.
I think he was waiting for that. I don't know if he counted his cards as no, so it's 10 dice to 12. Although Chef Mao, of course, Robot Wizard at an effective 14, plus a woven in hand, plus the gamblers. This is the big turn.
This is
Here
the
we
big
go.
turn. And
Let's
I
see
feel
the
like
action.
Birdie
Let's
must
go.
know it, but,
Guys,
I mean,
wake up.
Does Noelle do 5
Something's
damage towards her normal right
happening.
Yes, I believe with the bell equipped, Noelle does 5
Guys,
damage. So
wake
if you
up.
fell asleep
Hey.
in the first 8 rounds of
Hey,
this
wake
game,
up.
now is the time to wake up.
Wake
Now
up,
is where
see, even
things
the casters
actually
are
get
saying wake up.
interesting.
I wonder if we're gonna see Hydro Resonance. No, we're
Well,
just
we're gonna see swap stalls.
Okay, swap stalls. Okay, this is fine.
This is fine.
This is fine.
Action.
This is a totally
Surely.
fun game.
Instead
to
of
play.
burning, we're freezing, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's so close. You know, any wrong decision, every dice matters for both sides, right? Robot Wizard needs to make use of every dice. Birdie also needs to not make the wrong move here, and I think the wrong move is using dice, as weird as it sounds.
Oh, and just to think, you know, I'm looking
Never
at
mind,
those
go back to
scores
sleep.
again
I'll tell you guys
between
when
these
something's
two
happening.
teams. If Birdie can manage to pull off a win against Robot Wizard, the North American Prince Cup winner from the summer, he will also be winning the entire tournament for his team.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
I thought he was gonna go ham right now. Hold.
Okay, so
Wake
Robot Wizard's
up.
going for it. He's gonna
Noelle
stay
is hacked.
on Noelle.
And
We'll
it
have to see
did
how Birdie responds here.
damage.
Both sides
Hey.
generating shields. Birdie getting a
Look.
dice up. So I think Robot Wizard specifically chose that timing. You know, Birdie was at 8 dice. The tenacity would have put him up to another, I think 8 or 9 to give him an extra use. So that single swap stall is going to deny Birdie a 1 action.
Now, the only thing is that you don't have to swap to Barbara or Xingqiu to apply Hydro onto Noelle. Because Diona has the 1 Rain Swords left. I know that Robot Wizard is going to have to swap away from Noelle in this case, but
Wait, what if Noelle is bait this whole time?
For Ito?
Because Ito's at 2 energy.
Wait, and there's a weapon there.
There isn't. Oh, so it might be a little bit too late for the bell. I think Robot Wizard trying to calculate, does he need to equip the weapon to Ito? Unfortunately, Barbara bringing at 5
Okay, go back
is
to
the
sleep,
worst
thinking.
possible number here. Of course, Ito, before his nerf, would have done 5 damage on each hit without a weapon, but now only does 4.
You know what? That's a really good point. You know, with the nerfs, Ito's no longer.
Oh.
the
Wait,
carry,
hold on.
right? But now you have to worry about both.
Hold.
Of them. It's a more flexible deck.
Hold.
Yeah.
Hold.
Although, you know, Ipto, without having any equipment,
Can you
is
be
less
half
scary.
awake? Hold.
Does have tenacity though.
Does have tenacity, and also, I mean, the bell is in hand if Robot Wizard chooses to use it. But I mean, this is the turn where he has the dice advantage the most.
He does. I believe we'll probably see Robot Wizard try and swap until his opponent is down to just 2 dice. At 2 dice,
one
we know,
eye.
of course,
Give me
Birdie
the
has
one
no
eye.
more dice left in hand, no more wovens. If Robot Wizard has been keeping track, and I'm sure he has, he should know exactly how many wovens his opponent has played. And based on that, he knows if he's safe to being frozen this round or not.
Woven coming out. Normal attack. We'll take Barbara down to 4 health. Ito's burst is up.
It is up. And he has enough stacks.
Oh,
I
the
think.
eel.
Resident's going to heal everyone.
Oh, this is crucial. Bodhi only has one. Oh, it's going to be Lotus Crisp.
Lotus Crisp.
Okay. And he's
ending.
going to end. Oh.
Let's see. Let's see if Robot Wizard can pull it off this round. This is going to be
This is it.
determining round. This is it.
Yeah, I believe if Robot Wizard doesn't close out the game in this round, if Birdie gets to set up another round of Xingqiu's Burst with Diona, there'll just be no more gas left for Robot Wizard. He used up both his Paimons. You know, even with all those equipments, he will get whittled down. He'll probably take... You know, I'm really rooting for Robot Wizard, just so we don't have to sit here and watch Birdie slowly defeat Robot Wizard over the next 8 rounds, because that's what's going to happen.
I mean, if Robot Wizard wins, we go into game 7.
We do. I think everyone at home, and here we go.
Oh, the hash brown coming in. We're not going for Ito's Burst, so that hash brown did generate 2 dice for Robot Wizard.
Yeah, just using that as a dice generation tool.
Okay.
Not even, not dice to equip gamblers. Okay, is able to take out one character.
Barbara does fall here. I wonder
I think
if
that's
Robot
fine.
Wizard is kind of playing like the long con, because it looks like he's saving Ito's Burst almost. He's like conserving
You want this to end
resources
in a
some
draw?
ways. Barbara is gone, so
You're
swap
chaotic
side's gonna be a
evil,
little
sure
bit harder
shot.
for Birdie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's only down to Xingqiu and Diona, but Xingqiu and Diona are the 2 most important characters for the deck. So Robot Wizard not finishing the game there. I think Birdie playing very well to conserve his own dice, not playing into the bait of using any skills to allow Robot Wizard to sweep. But now he just enter into the dance.
Look at
once
all
again.
of those Omni for Birdie.
Yeah.
He did pass 2
I'm
through,
eating
and then
some
Tenchikaku
kanji
also
that my mom made.
gave him 2. Those Tenchikaku play really coming into clutcher.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the Tenchikakus are going to start taking over in more than the
Kanji.
Chef Mouths and the Paimons. You know, Robot Wizard also conserve his food. He only has 2 food left. And unfortunately, you know, Lotus is not the
If
best
Birdie pulls a
against a deck
Tavon
like
fried
Birdie that
egg.
isn't doing a lot of damage at once. It's just pecking away at you.
Bring
with
back
all of the incremental damage.
What
Babra.
round are we on?
Babra.
It's a good trivia question.
High
Who can remember?
execution.
Twitch chat, what round are we
Touchable.
on?
I feel like we've been here for days.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I mean,
to see.
so
You just can't.
Robot Wizard still has that 1 gamblers left.
He does.
Saving it, it was not
But he-
the moment that we thought it was.
Oh, actually, Robot Wizard is out of cards, notably enough.
Wait,
So Birdie should now know exactly what is in Robot Wizard's hand.
wait, Birdie also, I think, only has 1 card. Is that what?
I believe it might show that with 1 or like 2 or 3 left. Like, it's not clear. But they are getting very low. Both sides have almost perfect information here.
All right, that Rain Sword is going to be used
Okay.
up to freeze Noel, one of the main damage
Step
dealers
aside.
that
Is the
Robot
last-
Wizard.
Okay,
Back
to
in
Ito.
That is the last Rain Sword, though.
It's the last Rain Sword, but Xingqiu's Burst is up.
Xingqiu's Burst is up, so Birdie has the option of refreshing the burst. I think he'll certainly want to.
Bonk.
Yep, there's Diona's Burst coming down, applying Cryo onto Ito and
Okay.
healing Diona up to full.
Holy.
See if Ito is
Burst?
going to burst here. He is.
4.
Here is Ito's Burst. I wonder if we're gonna see a quick swap.
Okay.
Yep, here we go. Leave it to me coming
Oh.
out. Xingqiu.
Yeah, but Robot Wizard has to know, you know, that was in this deck. But
Rain
most
Cutter.
importantly, his opponent
Frozen
is now out
as
of quick
well.
swaps as well.
Indeed. But
Finally starting to see
both,
some damage.
both of his damage dealers are frozen. He's going to use those last 3 dice to equip the
Interesting.
bell onto Ito and end his
Ooh.
turn.
Very interesting move there. You know, you would have thought you wanted to equip that earlier just for more damage, but I guess is really trying to make sure that
Damn,
you know,
the
if he makes it quick there,
healing.
Birdie may not freeze immediately in that
So
round. maybe something
ridiculous.
different. So really just playing around his opponent's cards.
Joseon.
Now they're both out of cards.
Now they are both out of cards.
believe-
Birdie drawing the
禮
last
拜
copy
未
of
有咩
Tenacity
搞啊？
Noel.
搞
We're
咗
not
啲
at
咩
the
啊？有
round
咩
15
玩
goal
啊
yet, but I believe this is still an Astro Carnival first. We have
This is an Astro
2
Carnival
players
first.
out of cards, which again means if they've been keeping track, which they almost certainly have, they know exactly what the other player has.
They've definitely been keeping track.
We've
Only
so usually
OT.
TCGs is
Oh man.
air of randomness here, but we've pretty much entered the phase where it's back to something like chess again, where they have perfect information. They know exactly is. Unfortunately, a lot of the cards in both players' hands are pretty useless. Those Georeses though could come in pretty handy. But if Birdie can outlast
I didn't even know it was possible to be out of cards.
Then it will really be not that much problem for Diona to clean up with the help of those 2 Tenshikakus.
Definitely. That Lotus coming down.
Most expensive 2 months. Wait, why? Oh, you mean because of like Christmas and stuff?
Swap in his hand. And as you were saying, these players.
I mean, they've been playing for like what? This is like round 9 or 10 now, so. Hopefully it ends before 15, right? Because 15 would be a draw
Lotus is
somehow.
going to protect him from any quick swap to Noelle.
Exactly.
No, I don't think you take damage if you have no cards. Not in this game. Not in this game.
Is able to freeze Ito here.
Well, Robot Wizard already went.
Oh, yeah.
Use Ito's burst.
Yeah, Ito's burst came down. Okay. So we'll see if he decides to use that quick swap.
I don't think so. I don't think you do, because it's not gonna take out Xingqiu. He used Lotus. Use Lotus. I think you swapped to Kokomi maybe.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. You know, you force your opponents to either go off of Xingqiu and waste the burst. Although if you go to Kokomi, then your next best move is to go back onto Noelle, and then Diona can just use Icy Paws, refresh those shields as well.
You know what I think the saddest part is? I'm looking at Birdie's hand. I see Liu Worf from Lieben. It's like you can get the dice generation from Lieben if you have really, really bad dice, but you just feed it to Fanarana anyway, right? Like,
Yeah, you wouldn't
tuning fodder at this point.
You wouldn't replace any. I mean, again,
Yeah, tuning
a lot
fodder.
of those cards are built with other matchups in mind. This is definitely not the one where you really need them. It's probably good.
Do I go hang my laundry or is something big gonna happen? You know, I wish I could tell you. I've been pausers hyping for 9 rounds, so.
What is going to happen here?
Why don't you bring me on your phone or
wait,
something,
do
Mike?
Are we gonna see?
Go hang your
a
laundry
skill?
and bring me on your phone.
That makes sense. You know, Xingqiu's burst is gonna be up and ready to go
Bop.
for next time.
Although I really don't know that the game is gonna go long or like matter with Xingqiu's burst another time, but still, if you have the dice for it, I get there's no reason. You have so many cards in your hand to tune. We'll just hope he doesn't regret it later, where that could have just been a normal attack with rain swords.
And this is
Yeah, it's close.
this is something. What do you do here if you're a Robot Wizard? Do you just go? Do you swing or do you?
I think you have to swing.
Or do you swap?
There's really no point swapping. Your opponent doesn't really have any cryo application on Xingqiu, so yeah, a hit here makes the most sense.
Geo Res coming down to give Noelle 4 shield points.
A million.
Also, that crystallized reaction giving additional
A
shield
million
points.
shield, that is
Effectively at
accurate.
full HP right now, but she does have the cryo application on her. Diona is going to be able to freeze her if Birdie wishes.
I ordered food delivery half an hour ago and it arrived. And the game hasn't ended. That's funny.
Oh, this is quite...
Very good. At least you'll still... Now you can enjoy your food and watch the
with getting
game.
Frozen, but Birdie not going to play into it. Leaving Noelle with that Hydra
Look at
application.
me.
Oh, interesting. Swapping off here. I would have expected Robot Wizard to take that cryo hit
Bop.
on Noelle, but I guess wanting to preserve Noelle's health total a little bit, keep her at 5.
Oh man, how many rounds have we been going on now,
I guess
Gleb?
let's quickly look at the begin. It tells you like right at the beginning after the dice rolls. Let's pay attention.
Yeah, it says like, this is the beginning of round, blah, blah, blah.
Oh. Let's see.
Round. Waiting for it?
Hold.
Oh man, there's so many effects.
There it is.
Here we go. Action phase. Opponents.
Huh?
Oh, it doesn't show it on.
It doesn't show us.
Okay. I mean, we're gonna be getting close.
It shows on the
have to be
player
close.
side, I
It's
think.
Okay, we've had some confirmation that it is round 11.
So 4 more rounds and it ends
Rounds
in a tie.
11.
4 more rounds, and yeah, we'll have to see what happens after that. I'm hoping that we do get an eventual winner without. Oh, here we go.
Frozen.
Okay, so Birdie here starting to use the dice that he has as an event. You know, with those Tenchikakus and the Vanaranas, he's working with more dice, so is able to just make that attack without too much issue. But this is where that quick swap, lingering in Robot Wizard's hand, the one of, can he use that this round to finish the game?
You would have to swap onto Ito, right?
I think, even if you swap onto Ito though, Xingqiu, because of that barrier, actually no, I think it is a swap to Ito right
Because Noelle already has Hydro application on her. It would take Birdie 2
Pizza.
turns to effectively freeze Ito, right? So it looks like going for the heal, also 2 dice
My
generation
God.
from using that food.
Step aside.
Chef Mao.
Ito's back in town.
Very kind in refunding the dice cost.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow swap onto
Slow
Ito.
swap.
I think I think that makes sense. Even if Ito takes the Hydro damage here, you have that quick swap. Your opponent is lower on dice, but you want to make sure you get that tenacity. Every dice is so important for Robot Wizard right now.
Now the question is, do you let Ito be frozen? do you swing right now?
Herm
Like,
hum.
I think you have to swing,
it's so hard.
right? Otherwise, you can go to Kokomi. Maybe if you go to Kokomi, you can run your opponent one more dice down, and that denies them another skill usage. Although we do know, and Robot Wizard should know, that Birdie has a Woven left in hand, so he is effectively sitting at 7 dice, not 6.
Take heart.
So
Victory will be ours.
So it is a switch.
swap onto a frozen Kokomi. Of course, Robot Wizard is not going to be able to do anything with that Kokomi, but it does, you know, it's swap stalling. Gives him some time. We see swap back onto Xingqiu.
So we'll probably see a swap over to Noel here. Noel, of course, with Hydro application already, not under threat of Xingqiu at all. Actually, this is a very interesting play. So this has basically allowed Robot Wizard to swap onto Noel for free to oppose Diona without having to use that quick swap.
You know, this is like one of the effects of having, you know, Barbara out already. You can't swap stall in the same way as your opponent. So Robot Wizard has a little bit more at his disposal right now. But ultimately, this is still a stall versus stall match.
Swap this, swap that.
Unfortunately, Noel's burst is not up, and you might be too many dice in order to use her burst. I think Ito is really the one character you want to focus on the most.
So for those of you watching on Twitch chat at home, please type in the chat who you think is going to win the stall match. You've been watching along with us. Who is currently in the lead?
I wish I could tell you, but I've never played a stall deck.
I mean, when you're watching a stall mirror, there are no winners.
Against a stall.
There are only people who are watching stall.
That's us, the people watching stall.
Is that according to the judgment of the Oratris Mechanics
yes.
Cardinal?
I think, you know,
the play here is stall.
Cardinal would break down right now. It would not survive this mirror.
I'm just gonna say, add Astra Abyssosque. Team Astra reps, type in chat. Add Astra Abyssosque.
Add
I think Robot has to switch over to Kokomi here, because I don't think doing anything on Noelle makes sense without her burst up, and using her burst would just use up all of your die.
Yeah, because it's a 4 cost instead of a 3. I mean, go for...
Yeah, but unfortunately going to Ito, I think leaves him with not enough dice.
And the time, too.
We'll have to see. His time is running out.
Time is running out. We are, once again, on round 11.
Yeah, I think Robot was trying to find a way to win this game. He said from the very beginning that it is an unfavored matchup, and I think this is really why the freeze is just so potent. And you know, his opponent with 2 Vanaranas out is able to conserve those 2 die into the next round.
-0. Let's go, Ito.
Amazing.
Make no mistake, both of these players are playing impeccably. That is why this game is going on for so long. This is what a true stall versus stall should look like.
Attack -0. Attack -0.
We'll have to see. Oh, there it is, round 12. Okay,
come back in 20 years,
down
guys.
To, I think, the last
3 rounds.
4 rounds for these players.
So, I mean, a lot of Genius Invocation games end in like the first 3 or 4 rounds. So we've essentially been watching
like 5
game
games.
that's gone on as long as 3
13
games.
dice
but look
for
at all
Birdie.
those dice on Birdie's side.
Is,
you know, this
fun.
is why Vanarana and Tenshikaku way more powerful. You know, in this specific matchup, able to.
I'm from the future. Has anyone won yet? No, not yet. Rosin, go back to sleep.
Into this matchup was,
he come out of the hyperbolic time chamber.
With how Noelle and Ito scale with their weapons, I figured they would have the advantage later on in the game. But I mean, I failed to consider the support cards. So, like you noted earlier, Chef Mao is a temporary bonus, right?
Exactly.
If you run out of food, which Robot Wizard has, you can no longer get those dice refresh. Chef Mao is just kind of sitting there, all shiny and pretty. Same thing with Paimon. Robot Wizard did play double Paimon and has already reaped the benefits from that, and now is just kind of stalling out the rest of the game, hoping we get to round 15 or catch Birdie off guard.
I don't think that's going to happen. You know, the deck does eventually get enough damage to overpower the opponent. You know, your opponent is going to run out of food, going to run out of Geo Resonances. And yeah, with the current auras and applications, I think it's just too much.
Tenshikaku and Vanarana as a combination never runs out of its usefulness, essentially. It's always the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. I mean, it is almost perfectly built for this kind of matchup where, you know, your opponent isn't putting on a lot of pressure, isn't threatening your characters all that much, and you have the time to build up all of those resources.
We should have kept a tally of how many times this player swap star.
That would be counting a lot. I don't know if I can count that high.
TCG players only need to count to like 20.
Yeah, and we can see here, now Birdie is turning the corner here, aggressively using his dice to start dealing damage instead of just swap stalling, and that's very much, you know, the ball is in his court. He's able to use his dice to deal damage, whereas Robot Wizard needs to carefully still use his dice in a way that still lets him win. Oh!
Ooh, choosing to freeze himself using Kokomi's skill. This will heal up his other characters. I think he's just sacrificing Kokomi here at this point.
It might be.
Oh.
There we go. Dionna's
Oh my
Burst coming
god,
out. That
finally.
will be enough to take out Kokomi. Someone else has finally been eliminated.
That doesn't lock the I haven't lost yet in Robot Wizard's hands, but I don't think it will matter. Like,
does not matter.
Diona is effectively at 15 health, I think, and there's just not enough skills that Robot Wizard can apply.
The other Inazuma Resonance coming out to convert all of those unusable Pyro into Omni. Geo Resonance coming out to give Noelle additional shield points with that Geo damage, and her burst swings.
So one good thing here for Robot Wizard is at the end of turn that Cryo application will eat up the Hydro, but I believe Birdie here is probably just going to freeze Noelle so that the burst will reapply Cryo.
Now, if you're Robot Wizard, do you swap at all? Do you bother swapping?
I think you really want to end first.
-0.
You probably just don't swap.
Love that.
Here. Unfortunately, Ito's burst has run out though, so maybe you do swap.
We're gonna be going on to round 13.
13. That's a record.
That is
setting
a
records
record.
here in Astro
We
Carnival
are setting
Winter
records. You guys are
Invitational.
watching along with us.
Or maybe not. Okay.
All right, Robo Wizard ending. How will Birdie respond? Also ending, gonna send those 2 Hydro and 1 Electro into Vanarana. This might be the round for Birdie.
I think it is. I mean, Birdie's in a very dominant position. I don't know what Robo Wizard can do. Again, when you run out of cards, there's nothing new that you can bring in to turn the tide here. And Robo Wizard down to like the last couple of cards. Not only is he running low on cards to protect himself, he doesn't have enough cards to, mitigate any kind of bad dice roll.
Definitely.
Oh.
All the tenacity of the Milivus giving shield points.
Yeah. And then
Normal
Robot
attack
Wizard
coming down from Robot Wizard's side, swinging on Diona with Noel's burst.
Yeah, Robot Wizard's still going to try as hard as he can to win this matchup, but I think it's going to be still slow. I think we're still in for another round. I don't know if Buddy has enough damage this round to finish it. Maybe he does.
14 dice at his disposal, and also a Wolfen.
Yeah, that's true, being at 15. So
And also, no more Inazuma Resonance. There are 2 Pyro and 2 Gendro on Robot Wizard's side. I'm starting to see what he meant when he said that this matchup was not favored for him. Of course, the tenacity of the Milith is going to generate another Geo dice as Noelle takes damage there, but she is frozen.
The man!
And here we go, Ito taking the field for probably the last time this round.
Xingqiu's Rain Swords are out, so Birdie is going to have to swap onto Xingqiu to freeze Ito. This kind of gives Robot Wizard some time, I guess.
It does, but I mean, if that last card in Birdie's hand is something like a Lotus, it will protect Xingqiu. Also, Ito's burst is not up right now.
Yes.
Which is a huge downside. We might see Robot Wizard finally equip Gamblers here just to bring himself to even dice, but even then, it's so hard. You know, this iteration of the Ito deck doesn't run cards like Heavy Strike, you know, damage cards that can just come out of nowhere and deal extra damage. I think that's one of the main pain points in this matchup. If he had had a card like that and hasn't played it, Birdie has to play around that card the entire game. But with these open deck lists, with the full knowledge of what your opponent has, you don't have to be afraid of a card that's not in your opponent's deck.
I mean, you could go for Ushi or normal here if you're Robot Wizard. And that's exactly what it is. Do a normal attack onto Diona, breaks through her shields -1, and then Birdie's forced a slow swap onto Xingqiu.
Oh my god, damage!
Yeah, but it
Mom, wake up!
But yeah, Ito having his burst now, you can see that
someone's dishing out damage.
Down to only 5 damage is 1 short here.
Yeah, but he can swap back onto Noelle,
right? Oh my god. Help.
He could, but with, like, you have so few dice remaining, your opponent, like, you can't be swap stalling if your opponent is the one with more dice. So he's really even using his burst here, he's short. I think it's it.
You think this is it? Is this the moment of truth?
I think Robo Wizard is just getting basically strangled here very slowly as his characters lose health and his opponent's characters are not.
There is Ito's burst.
Yeah.
It is not enough to take out Xingqiu, leaving Xingqiu at 1 HP. Then Aquila Favonia, of course, gives him another HP.
Oh,
Xingqiu's
oh
burst
my
is
god.
just enough to take out Ito, and now
Here it
Noelle
is.
Frozen is the only one left
Hi,
in
Kit.
next round.
But with
I haven't lost yet.
No, with that Woven in hand, Birdie was going to be able to get 2 more hits off with Xingqiu. This is going to do it. 2 is not even needed. 1 is enough.
That's it! Wait, Birdie wins! Team
Oh
Astra
my
takes
god!
the 4th win in this best of 7. Congratulations to Team Astra!
And that is going to be us from the caster set. We're going to throw it back to say this has been Blep at Blep the Cat.
And Leah, aka Windflower Leah, thank you guys so much!
I can't believe it. Well done, Birdie. Nobody can say you didn't earn that one. Congratulations with that. You have won.
Oh my
Team
god.
Astra, come
Nice.
on. Let's have your teammates come on stage.
Team
Congratulations,
Astra
guys.
win.
You have won the Prince Cup Winter Invitational. We must do our winner's interview here.
That's the Team
Birdie,
Astra. Ole.
I felt your pain in that one. How did you feel?
Well, I wasn't actually in any pain. It's just that at one point I felt myself getting too greedy, and I was just
So
barely able
troll.
to rein it in. There were so many points where if I'd played a little bit differently, I would have given my opponent an opening.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have absolutely earned it through all of your wins yesterday, your big challenges, and now in the try-hard day. You guys absolutely did it. Please put your hands together in the chat for every member of Team Astra. They have won. Congratulations, guys.
Nice.
Woo! Feeling it. Yeah, the champions have arrived. Doom, Jifu, and Joggy and Birdie are your champions.
Yay.
Prince congratulates you, as do I. The greatest Genshin Impact Genius invocations here today. Unbelievable job. Soak it in, gentlemen. You have done it. Well done. And so many wonderful moments that we had for these last 2 days. Congratulations once again. I will shake all of your hands.
Who won?
before I let you
Blue
go.
team.
Thank you so much, and thank
Team
you, of course, to
Astra.
our viewers that were watching in the entirety of the Genshin Impact Genius Invocation community. So,
Dude, it's not. It's
wonderful
actually a
job,
real
wonderful
set.
job, everyone. And thank you, too, to our other team.
It's
They
actually a
both
crazy
came in
set.
so hard. They did amazing. So thank you. Any last words to your fans out there?
Thank you for sitting through all of that.
Thank you, everybody,
Of course,
for
when I go to the
watching, and we will
bathroom,
see
it's
you
over.
next time on another Prince cover. Don't forget, if you enjoyed it, scan your QR code. Let us know what you thought about our
QR
show.
code on the
and we
top
will
right.
see you again here at the
And it's
Prince
bottom
Cup
left.
Winter Invitational. Thank you, and goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Wave goodbye. Yay! Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Woo!
Wow, look at Prince. Look at the Mau Mau. Look at the Mau Mau at the cat's tail. Cute. The QR code brought me to a what now? Okay, just click the link that's pinned. I don't know what scan you got. That sounds interesting. Thanks for watching. Yay! Okay, cool. I think that is all for the event. I believe. Hold on, let me just... Okay. Quick shout out. Thank you to Genshin Impact for sponsoring the past 2 days of watch party for the Genius Invocation TCG Prince Cup Winter Invitational. That was part of the Astra Carnival event. If you guys... Sorry, let me swap back. Here we go. If you guys enjoyed the event or have any comments about the event, make sure you fill out the survey. It's the second link pinned to the top of my chat. Also, if you are interested in downloading Genshin Impact, which is where you will find the TCG, that is also there for you for download. And also, if you guys want to follow and check out Astra Carnival on YouTube, it is at Astra_Carnival and twitch.tv/Astra Carnival. Oh my gosh. I don't know why. Every day I've been getting like a weird allergic reaction, but all right, cool. So let's see what I got planned for the next couple of days or for the next week. Let me swap back. Okay, so yeah, of course. Okay, so tomorrow I'm taking off because I didn't get any off days this weekend. But on Tuesday we will wait. Tomorrow I'm doing a sub movie since I'm not streaming, and it'll be at 10 p.m. EST. So I'll be doing that. If you guys are subbed or want to sub now, want to join, that is what I'll be doing off stream and on Discord. So if you're a sub, feel free to join the movie. It is at 10 p.m. EST tomorrow on Monday. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on stream for Tuesday. I'm going to do a bunch of sub games. I posted the list of games that we may or may not be playing in Discord as well, so you can do that. And then on Wednesday, I actually have a cool Choice Matters game that I wanted to check out. It's called This Bed We Made. Orpheus. Sorry, yeah, the past 2 days, the events are kind of early, and I know you guys are used to like late streams, but yeah, the past 2 days streams have been a bit early because that's when the events are actually happening, and had to do a watch party for it. So but yeah, in the upcoming month you'll probably see a lot less Genshin. I'm gonna be back on the variety grind, so I'm really excited for that because I'll get to explore a lot of the games that I haven't had a chance to. I'll probably play some TCG here and there. Wait, you got rid of Discord? How come? Never mind. Don't worry, you don't have to answer. But yeah, we will be playing a lot of different games in this upcoming month. Hopefully I can do some fun holiday stuff at some point too, just kind of thinking about what I want to do. Maybe a bit more cam streams. I'm gonna set up my lights. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, I'll have some time tomorrow to set up some lights and all the pretty things around in my house, make it feel a little bit more festive. Matto, thank you for the 34 months. Welcome back. But yeah, that's the plans for the rest of the month. I feel bad about like September and November. I know I didn't get as much sub stuff done because I just wasn't feeling very good. And I think in general, I'm still up and down, but we'll try to make up for it this month with more sub events like movies and game days and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's all for today. I am taking tomorrow off, so I'll see you guys on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and then I'm taking Saturday off. But yeah, as always, my schedule is posted on Discord. A lot of things are on my Discord. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting. Don't forget to check out all the links that are pinned to the chat. And once again, thank you for Genshin for such cool opportunities and the sponsorships that they've been giving me the past few months. So it's awesome. We love Genius Invocation TCG. Alright, see you guys tomorrow for the sub movie. If not, I'll see you guys on Tuesday for stream at the usual time. Actually, wait, I'm starting earlier. So instead of 10:30 EST, I'm starting at 9:30 now. But I'll try to still stream late. But yeah, 9:30 EST. Okay. Bye. See you guys soon. Bye bye.